One day, the sky suddenly darkened as if the apocalypse had arrived. That very day, countless strange stone pillars fell from above. Immediately after, a gigantic barrier was deployed, covering the entire world. Humanity watched in horror as towering stone columns shot up toward the heavens. Then the monsters known as calamity spirits broke through the barrier and invaded the human world. A gigantic world-destroying demon appeared, casually trampling living beings beneath its feet. Behind it came countless other demons, swarming like ants. They massacred humanity brutally. The air resounded with terrified screams. Many people were killed instantly. Some struggled to flee from their claws. The major intersection had lost its former look, reduced to ruins, with corpses strewn everywhere, blood splattered and savage monsters roaming. They seemed granted destructive power, sweeping everywhere, unleashing waves of energy toward any survivors they spotted. A mother ran while clutching her child. In a moment of dire danger, she pushed her child forward to protect them. Suddenly, a voice called Itsuki's name, Itsuki. Itsuki startled and turned to Seiya standing beside him. She asked curiously, "What's wrong? You just zoned out." He replied, "Nothing." Seiya eyed Itsuki suspiciously. "Really? Look at your tear-streaked face." Then she asked, "So why are you crying?" Rimuru stepped up from behind and put a friendly arm around Itsuki's shoulders. "You're sleepy, right? You'd usually be asleep by now. Today there's this sudden whole school assembly, and that teacher, he does dress pretty oddly." On stage, teacher Th1ED Fong, clad head to toe in a tight outfit, announced, "After the spirits appeared, individuals with powers to oppose them emerged within the community. They are called Awakened. 10 years ago, when the largest spirit assault occurred at the north bank of the Lam River, Awakened from around the world gathered, crossed the river, and pushed them back. That battle became known as the Crossing River War. Since then, attacks have waned, but recently the number of falling stone pillars has surged. A large-scale assault similar to the Crossing River War is likely to occur in the near future." Rimuru looked at him in surprise. That man is the supreme commander of the northern continent, Nento. Itsuki mentally noted the name. "Nento, I definitely heard this name before. I thought he'd be an old hunched man with a long beard, but he looks stranger than I imagined." Rimuru continued, "Despite his appearance, he's the first Awakened. Thanks to him, we learned about the stone pillars and the spirits. Moreover, he's the strongest Awakened. Even Jin Taewa, the one known as the Light of Humanity, was once his student." Nento announced, "Recent research indicates that even ordinary, unawakened people can become awakened with some probability by touching the stone pillars. We are here today for all of you to do just that. Become awakened and devote yourselves to the fight against the spirits." As soon as he finished speaking, energy emanated from his palm, enveloping the stage. From it, a massive stone pillar rose up, surging out of the ground. The students shouted excitedly, "A stone pillar? Is that magic? What's so surprising about this? This feels like a dream. Please make me an Awakened." Rimuru asked Itsuki happily, "Did you hear that? We finally have a chance to become awakened." Itsuki lowered his head and murmured in a low voice, "Finally." As Itsuki began to walk away, Rimuru called after him from behind, "Hey, don't leave me." Seiya stepped in front and blocked him. "Wait, Itsuki, wait your turn." But Itsuki ignored her and brushed past. His eyes flashed a sinister red and his voice betrayed excitement. "Finally, the day has come." On stage, people took turns placing their hands on the pillar to test it. A guard beside it announced, "Not good, next." Classmates voiced their worries. "That guy set a record in his first year. Even an athlete like him couldn't do it. How could I possibly succeed?" A girl advised, "Maybe athletic ability has nothing to do with it. It's too early to give up." The guard's calm voice rang out, "Next," but calls of failure continued one after another. The friend group murmured, "No one has awakened yet. I thought it would be easy. Is our school going to fail completely?" The next name was called, "Next, Hikaru Oishi." A girl said, "I really don't want that guy to become awakened." The girl beside her agreed, "He's already a bully. If he awakens, it'll be a nightmare." A boy pointed at the stage in panic. "Look, the pillar is changing." Lightning crackled around the pillar, and Hikaru Oishi. He smugly thought, "After this, Nento and the beauty beside him will have to pay attention to me." The info board displayed, Hikaru Oishi, Humanity rank 0, Class Elementalist Lightning, Talent Private rank 2, Stats Attack 5, Speed 3, Defense 2, Mana 2, Total 12. Aja said irritably, "Finally someone at rank 0. The total stat is usually 5, but he has 12. That's probably better than normal, right?" Hikaru Oishi boasted, "Didn't old man Nento want to speak to me? The first Awakened is here." But he was shoved aside when Itsuki stepped forward. Hikaru Oishi, furious veins bulging on his face, snarled, What do you think you're doing? Touching me with your filthy hands. Want to die? Students below whispered, who is that? He's just cutting in line. Someone recognized him. That's Itsuki from class 5. He's done for once Hikaru Oishi targets you. There's no escape. Ageha whispered, I sense an incredibly intense emotion from that student. Itsuki raised his hand and touched the pillar. In his mind, he thought, I have engraved every detail of that day into my memory so I never forget my hatred of the spirits. My resolve is completely different from everyone else's. A look of astonishment appeared in Nento's eyes. Behind Itsuki, a guardian deity of extraordinary presence seemed to manifest. The energy around the pillar shifted violently, and the space seemed to freeze. A tremendous power like a giant blossoming flower covered the stage and spread across the school. The students covered their mouths in fear. Some collapsed to the ground. Amazing, this looks even more spectacular than Hikaru Oishi's awakening. That flower is hundreds of meters tall. Rimuru shared the joy. Itsuki, you did it. Ageha couldn't hide her amazement. This phenomenon only occurs when the rarest class, Void Eradicator, appears. Nento, intrigued. I wonder how strong he will be. I'm very much looking forward to this young man. Hikaru Oishi was indignant, veins standing out on his face as his aura was stolen. Itsuki was even more shocked. Where am I? Have I awakened? His consciousness sat cross-legged inside a blooming flower. Notification appeared that astonished Itsuki. Itsuki, humanity rank undefined. Class Void Eradicator. Talent Nirvana special grade. Level fixed. Stats increase when acquiring new skills. Remove all negative effects and fully recover. Skill Super Simulation Rank Z analyzes enemy attacks and allows assimilation of counter skills. Stats Attack 0, Speed 0, Defense 0, Mana 0, Total 0. Itsuki scowled, everything is 0. A flurry of new notifications erupted. Learned Z rank skill, Super Simulation. Talent Special Grade Nirvana activated, all stats increased by 200. He rejoiced inwardly, I get it. If I learn skills through Super Simulation, I'll gain stats via Nirvana. Even if I can't level up, I can still grow stronger in my own way. This filled Itsuki with fierce confidence. I don't know what level this makes me equivalent to, but I'm definitely an awakened. I'll annihilate all the calamity spirits. Light from the blossoming flower radiated in all directions, prompting exclamations. So bright, my eyes. In that blinding light, Itsuki's silhouette appeared, proud and commanding. Hikaru Oishi couldn't accept it. He became furious, eyes blazing red. This can't be. He unleashed lightning through the students. A loser like you should know your place. The electric current slipped from behind and shot toward Itsuki on the stage. Hikaru Oishi swore, I'll wipe you out with the skill I just learned, Silver Serpent. As the first bolt of lightning reached him, Itsuki's info board appeared. Detected C-rank skill, Silver Serpent. Super Simulation activated. Analysis progress, 27%, 57%, 69%. In an instant, Itsuki transformed into a streak of white electricity and vanished from the stage. The students gasped, where did Itsuki go? There was lightning and he disappeared. When progress hit 88%, Itsuki materialized like death itself behind Hikaru Oishi. He broke into a cold sweat. He's behind me. Damn it, I can't move. Itsuki's cold voice whispered in his ear, consider yourself lucky you're human. If you were a spirit, I'd have killed you 100 times over. After regaining his senses, Hikaru Oishi collapsed to the ground in fear. Rumors spread. Since when was Itsuki there? Did Hikaru Oishi faint from fear? When the progress reached 100%, Itsuki thought, since it's only a C-rank skill, the analysis speed is really fast. Silver Serpent analysis complete. Acquired C-rank skill, Thunderquell III. Thunderquell III level 1 activated. Can absorb lightning type attacks of C-rank or lower and increases speed by 50% when releasing absorbed energy. Uses 0-3. Passive plus 5% speed for each absorbed C-rank lightning attack, currently 0%. Learn Thunderquell III level 1. All stats plus 10. Removes all negative effects and fully restores. Itsuki appeared before everyone, surrounded by lightning and blooming petals. The students marveled. Itsuki is now shrouded in thunder. His light is even brighter than Hikaru Oishi's. Hikaru Oishi panicked. How the hell did that guy learn such a skill? His stats increased again. Suddenly, the sky darkened and heavy raindrops poured down. The students were surprised. It was bright just now, rain, something's falling. In the heavy downpour, a massive stone pillar fell from the sky. Ageha exclaimed, a stone pillar, why now all of a sudden? Nento continued, and right here, the whole school assembly is suspended. Evacuate the campus immediately according to the drill plan, he thought to himself. No doubt about it, I'm their target. Ageha advised, run, fighting isn't our forte. Nento shook his head, if we all run, it'll only cause more panic. Look, that young man is braver than we are. While the students panicked and ran the other way, only Itsuki courageously moved forward toward the pillar crashing onto the stage. Ageha couldn't believe it. Why aren't you running away? The stone pillar crashed down, creating a significant shockwave. Dust billowed up everywhere. Rimuru called out in fear, "Hey, a spirit is coming, get out of here." Itsuki declared calmly, "I'll wipe them all out." Rimuru worried, "What are you saying? If you don't run, you'll die." Seiya agreed, "Rimuru's right, you just awakened, you can't fight it, leave it to the other awakened." But Itsuki refused to listen. His voice reassured everyone, "Trust me." Seiya dragged Rimuru away, "Fine, if you die, don't blame me." Rimuru remained worried. "Is he serious? That's a spirit, a walking killing machine." No one knew that Itsuki was actually ecstatic at this moment. Of all things, the first enemy to appear after awakening is the same kind that killed my parents. I'm so lucky. The spirit's info panel displayed. Bone Soldier 10,369, rank 8. Talent, rank 2, plus 100% defense, nullified if the attacker's attack exceeds its defense. Skill, Bone Flame, B rank. Stats, attack 15, speed 10, defense 120 plus 120, mana 30, total 295. It stood towering before Itsuki, ready for the first battle. Itsuki hesitated. Should I test the skill I just learned? Lightning flared around him. At lightning speed, Itsuki charged straight at the Bone Soldier. He vowed inwardly, "I won't let anyone die anymore." A punch crackling with electricity hurtled toward the Bone Soldier. A thunderous boom reverberated across the stage, and dust rose in a thick cloud. From afar, classmates looked back in astonishment and cried, "Oh my god, this Itsuki is so strong, maybe we don't have to run anymore." "I didn't expect him to blow it away with one punch," Lan Lam thought silently. A rookie who just awakened can knock away an rank 8 Calamity Spirit. Niso praised Itsuki's courage and power are on a completely different level from the other rank 0s, but even so, defeating a Bone Soldier seems impossible. They possess two troublesome abilities. First, a talent that massively increases their defense. Second is the Bone Flame skill, the fire that can burn anything. On stage, Itsuki was being attacked by Bone Flame. The Bone Soldier's undying blue flames engulfed him. His two close friends called out anxiously, "Itsuki." Meanwhile, Hikaru Oishi sneered, "Know your place. When Bone Flame touches you, you'll be nothing but ash." A notification appeared, detected B rank skill, Bone Flame. Super simulation activated, progress, 1%, 25%. Itsuki realized. The analysis speed increases whenever an enemy uses a skill directly on him. Ajaha worried, even a rank 10 awakened wouldn't stand a chance if hit directly by that move. But seeing that Itsuki was completely unharmed, she marveled. "I didn't expect a newly emerged genius to be able to kill a Calamity Spirit before it even matures." Analysis progress, 77%, 81%. Itsuki tore off his outer shirt. Beneath, white bones like the Bone Soldiers were revealed. He thought, so this is what being burned feels like. It must hurt. His mother's familiar face appeared in his mind, half of her face charred by Bone Flame. Nento watched and realized, Itsuki hasn't used his full strength yet. He declared coldly, "Right, once the analysis finishes, you'll die." Notification update, analysis progress 100%. The group was losing faith. Isn't this asking too much of someone who just awakened? I was a fool to put my trust in that guy. But one boy still held onto a shred of hope. "Look, that lotus flower has appeared again. If it's Itsuki, he'll perform another miracle." Itsuki grew impatient. "So what skill will I learn this time?" System update, Bone Flame analysis complete. Acquired, Black Eye Secret rank 2. Activation effect, consumes mana to continuously form ice over the body's surface. Can block fire-type skills of rank B or lower. Passive effect, plus 10% defense when blocking rank B or lower fire-type skills, currently 0%. Receive Black Eye Secret rank 2. All stats plus 20%. Removes all negative effects and fully restores. New stats, attack 230 plus 21, speed 230 plus 21, defense 230 plus 210, mana 230 plus 210, total 920 plus 840. Itsuki was certain even when I used full force earlier, I couldn't break its defense. But now my attack has risen so much, I'll succeed. His body returned to perfect condition, without a single wound. Itsuki stood enveloped in the radiant blue flower. The classmates cheered joyfully, "My goodness, he's alive." "Yeah, I knew he could do it. That full recovery is nothing short of a miracle." Ajaha wondered, does he have a healing skill? But didn't he just use a lightning skill? Nento pondered. It said exterminators are the most mysterious vocation, yet Itsuki is an exception. Unexpected that he would recover so perfectly. Could he even recover if his vital limbs were severed or his brain destroyed? I'm curious about the limits of this skill. The Bone Soldier continued to launch Bone Flame, aiming to kill Itsuki. The blue fire surged forward fiercely. The blue flower enveloped Itsuki's entire body, radiating intense heat. A layer of ice armor formed around him, revealing only eyes that flashed a dangerous red. Just as the Bone Flame slashed down, Itsuki, as fast as lightning, teleported behind it. A gigantic arm towering high, crackling with lightning, was raised. He had transformed into a combat form, a taller body wrapped in full armor. Itsuki unleashed a second attack, a heavenly lightning blade that sliced across the bone soldier. The onlookers were stunned. He popped up behind the spirit in the blink of an eye, like teleporting. Only awakened can perceive his movements. Hikaru Oishi horrified. I can't see anything, just like before, Aja had doubted. Is this guy really a rookie? He not only has solid armor protecting his body, but can also form weapons in any shape. That's a god-tier skill for both defense and offense. Suddenly a voice called out, making Itsuki freeze. Rimuru rushed over and hugged him. Itsuki, I'm so glad you won. I was so worried, he asked with concern. Where's Seiya? Only then did Itsuki realize she wasn't beside him. Wait, she's not here, seeing his face as if about to cry. Rimuru comforted him. She probably went to the memorial because she was afraid of being left behind. Itsuki thought, is she mad? Ajaha marveled. I didn't expect that guy to defeat a bone soldier that even a rank 10 awakened would struggle with. Nento reminded Ajaha, stay here to help with cleanup, and inform the principal. I'll take that young man with me. Rimuru patted Itsuki's shoulder. Seiya won't be mad that you won. Suddenly a voice from behind called out, you're Itsuki, right? He turned around and saw Nento approaching. From afar, the group of students buzzed. Look, Nento is talking to him. Maybe he's going to take him as an apprentice? No way, his only apprentice is Kazunari Satsumi, the strongest in history. Rimuru made a graceful exit. Then I'll go find Seiya. With only the two of them left, Nento evaluated, you're quite special. Itsuki was surprised to hear those two words. He continued, I sense your heart is shrouded in rage and hatred. That's what piques my curiosity. I want to know why. Itsuki bowed his head, his voice distant. 10 years ago, my parents were killed by a spirit while trying to protect me. At that time, I was just a boy, staring helplessly at the horrific scene. He recounted, I was nearly killed too, but an awakened saved me at the last moment. I watched my mother burn to death, then she said, you must walk the rest of the way on your own. At that moment, I could only blurt out in daze, mother. I blamed myself. My father and mother died because of me. Nento retorted, you're wrong. The cause of everything that happened to you then was that cruel spirit. Rage surged up. Itsuki snarled, I swore I'd wipe out all the spirits, not leaving a single one alive. Nento, curious, you still shed tears even though your heart is consumed by hatred. Itsuki put a hand over his right eye. Since I gained the T letter 1EBI, my tears stopped flowing. But now, tears have started falling from my right eye again. Because of that, I'll never forget my hatred for the calamity spirits. Nento proactively offered, do you want to become my disciple? I'll bring you into the Salvation Alliance and grant you overwhelming power to carry out your revenge. Itsuki, surprised, the Salvation Alliance. Nento explained, it's an organization established by the South Continent government, gathering powerful awakened from around the world. Its purpose is to combat the calamity spirits more effectively and scientifically. You can think of it as a regular army. Members are called saviors, provided with dedicated training grounds, extremely powerful weapons, and high salaries. Even recruits in training receive 10,000 gold per month. Itsuki thought in amazement, 10,000 gold, with that you could even buy a car. Nento reminded him, of course, generous benefits don't come for free. Saviors must always fight on the front lines and protect the people. Itsuki pondered, honestly, I'm not interested in high pay or resources. The most important thing is being able to fight spirits on the front lines. He decided, I also want to become a savior. Nento revealed, every February, the Salvation Alliance holds a competition called the National Salvation Alliance Tournament with over 10,000 participants. Contestants are scored based on performance. Only the top 100 qualify. Itsuki immediately asked, what's the highest score on record? Nento hesitated, it isn't very useful as a reference. But the record is 15,000 points, set by Kazunari Satsumi 11 years ago. If you reach 30% of that number, you'll pass. At 50%, you could top the rankings. Itsuki was surprised. Kazunari Satsumi, is that the awakened they call the light of humanity that Rimuru mentioned? Nento assessed, Kazunari Satsumi is extraordinary. Comparing yourself to him will only lead to despair. But be confident with your talent, you can stand alongside him. Itsuki vowed, I will surpass Kazunari Satsumi. The confident promise shook Nento. He placed his trust, you will surely become famous. All young people are striving to follow in your footsteps. Merely following behind won't win the war against the spirits. One day, someone will appear like the morning sun rising to replace the setting sun. I eagerly await that future. Nento thought to himself, the morning sun I've long awaited has finally appeared. When Nento led Itsuki to a strangely shaped building, he exclaimed, what's that? Nento revealed, the stone pillars are like pathways connecting this world to the spirit's world. That's why if you only kill the monsters but leave the pillars, more will keep appearing. This building isolates the indestructible pillars. Awakened periodically sweep spirits out from the pillars. That way, the scale of the barrier is kept in check, and it's also used for training. Itsuki understood, so this is the training area, Nento confirmed. Yes, we call them level stages. The number of spirits that appear is uncontrollable, so it's very dangerous inside. In particular, the stage right before us has the highest mortality rate for rookies. It's also known as the Rookie Graveyard. He recounted back then Kazunari Satsumi, when he was still a fledgling awakened, cleared it in just 3 minutes 14 seconds. Itsuki said, I want to beat him. Let me finish it in 3 minutes. Nento set the condition, if you clear it in 3 minutes, I'll take you as my disciple. The story pauses here with a great challenge awaiting Itsuki ahead. Nento's appearance made everyone gasp and whisper, look, it's Lord Nento. Is that the rumored rookie beside him? No way. Unless he's an awakened on Kazunari Satsumi's level, he couldn't possibly stand next to Lord Nento. Itsuki glanced at the man beside him, thinking, is this person really that famous? On the gate ahead, a sign read clearly, level 10, 2 levels higher than a bone soldier. Itsuki wondered, how strong could it be? He sensed something unusual. No one here intended to enter the stage. Behind him, the crowd murmured, that guy's going into the stage even though he's just a rookie. That calmness must mean a high-level awakened is with him. I wish they'd take me in too. One sneered, no way, he's just here to hit on the pretty receptionist. So delusional just because he's a bit good-looking. Facing the receptionist, Itsuki announced, I want to enter the stage. She agreed, all right, how many challengers? Itsuki nonchalantly, just me. His words fell into dead silence, no one spoke. Out of goodwill, the receptionist advised, don't joke around, this isn't funny. Are you just here to watch? Or if you're here to flirt, it's pointless. This is an artificial stage, but it's dangerous, you could be injured or even die. She thought to herself, what is this guy even talking about? Laughter and jeering rose from the crowd behind. Sure enough, he came to flirt. Some people treat the stage like a date spot. They usually get scolded and slink away. Itsuki repeated, you seem to be misunderstanding. I'm not interested in you at all. I'm really here only to challenge this stage. She exasperated, you don't have to act tough just to save face. I'll give you my contact info, so please just go home. Itsuki's demeanor turned threatening. Don't make me repeat myself. I don't care about your contact info. Just let me in. That's all I want. The receptionist, frightened, handed him the wristband. Fine, if you die, I won't be held responsible. Itsuki thought irritably. They should have just let me in from the start. No need to make me say it again. Those watching looked down on him for putting on the band. What an idiot. He was going to ask for her contact info. This is not the time to act tough. A level 0 rookie challenging a level 10 stage is suicide. They began betting. I bet he'll run out in less than a minute. But he's pretty confident. He has a special grade talent, so maybe he actually. Someone read his info board. Itsuki, human, unfixed rank, profession, exterminator, talent, private special grade, skills, private, stats, private. The person beside him dismissed it. For an awakened, talent is only a secondary factor. The most important thing is level. If your level is low, even a special grade talent becomes meaningless. Itsuki stood before the gate, curiously eyeing the wristband. His personal information had been registered on it. So can I enter by scanning the code? A notification appeared. The request of awakened Itsuki has been approved. He stretched his limbs. The deal is 3 minutes. Let's begin. The countdown started. Time began to run. Itsuki shed his earlier casual air, turned intensely dangerous, and dashed inside. He ran while assessing. The interior was more spacious than he'd expected. Even if artificial, this was his first time entering a stage. Itsuki's steps halted as he sensed, they're coming. Ahead stood a spirit beast. Info displayed, Wood Spirit 1307, Wood Spirit Tribe, Rank B Talent, None. Stats, Attack 48, Speed 48, Defense 53, Mana 24, Total 174. Without hesitation, he unleashed a damaging strike. After defeating the Wood Spirit, Itsuki pleasantly looked at his arm transformed into an axe. The tree-chopping axe had merged. He sneered, how does it feel to watch your comrade get chopped in half? A swarm of stubby wood spirits surrounded him. Itsuki scoffed, rotten pieces of wood. Outside, Ageha anxiously asked Nento, Father, there are many other rookie stages. Why did you bring him here? He explained. He said he'd surpass Kazunari Satsumi, so I only brought him to the place Kazunari Satsumi first challenged. You already assume it's impossible to surpass Kazunari Satsumi unless he transcends human limits. He admonished, that way of speaking, Ageha. Do you think Kazunari Satsumi has transcended humanity? She bowed her head. I used to think Kazunari Satsumi was kind and easy to talk to, but I watched him kill a rank 97 spirit beast in an instant. His gaze then, cold, lonely, detached, that look no longer seemed human. Nento, you deified him. It looked like the eye of a god. He believed that boy also has the potential to defeat Kazunari Satsumi. Right now he's just an unpolished stone, if Kazunari Satsumi is likened to a savior god. Then Itsuki is a demon swallowed by hatred, a completely opposite existence. Inside the stage, after eliminating all the wood spirits, Itsuki realized the super simulation would not activate for spirits of this level. Behind him, a giant spirit beast appeared. Itsuki spun and delivered a clean slash, sending the wood spirit crashing to the ground. He was disappointed. Is that it? He went on high alert. A rank 10 spirit beast only that strong? No, if so, this can't be the rookie graveyard. Something must be off. Info board, skill detected, rank B, self-regeneration. Super simulation activated. Analysis progress 5%. A sound rang in Itsuki's ear. The wood spirit he just struck regenerated. Branch appendages around its body wove together like silk to form a new body. Itsuki's body was ensnared by it. He was astonished. It can still regenerate even after I cut off half its head. Notification: Wood Spirit Reborn 520. Wood Spirit Tribe rank 10. Second rank talent. Defense minus 50%. Greatly increased regeneration. Stats: attack 110, speed 100, defense 60, mana 180, total 450. Itsuki activated Dark Ice Secret, a gauntleted punch of ice armor that pierced through the wood spirit's torso. He accelerated like an arrow. I must deal massive damage in an instant so it can't regenerate. When the progress reached 19%, he smashed the wood spirit to pieces. At 21%, a sharp axe strike swung out. Its body was severed in two. Itsuki, not yet. I'll chop you until you can't regenerate anymore. Countless slashes rained down on it. The wood spirit's body hacked into flying fragments. Itsuki exhaled, sheathing Dark Ice Secret. That should do it. My mana's running low from using Dark Ice Secret so long. But the wood spirit's body reconnected, becoming whole again. When the progress hit 60%, branches wrapped around Itsuki's whole body. He dodged while thinking, after all those blows and it's still not dead? What a headache. Good news, each time it regenerates, the super simulation's analysis speed increases. Itsuki struggled to evade, canceling Dark Ice Secret to conserve mana and using Thunder Restraint 3 to keep his distance. Maintaining this until the analysis completes is the strategy to win, but when a branch stabbed his back, Itsuki ran out of options. Time was running short. 75%. He activated Thunder Restraint 3 and Dark Ice Secret simultaneously to maximize damage, forcing it to regenerate continuously, speeding up the analysis. Dark Ice Secret covered his body with ice armor and lightning. Itsuki tore the wood spirit apart into pieces, because he knew that if he didn't trigger the super simulation while mana depleted, he'd die here. Progress reached 80%. Itsuki decided to go all out, but if I die that means this is as far as I get. At 85%, he leapt down from above. His arm transformed into a sharp spearhead. The wood spirit was stunned to see its opponent so close. At that moment, Itsuki spat blood. Damn it. Spiky branches pierced his body. He realized his mana was depleted. However, the simulation hit 99%. Itsuki was restored just as I thought. Activating the super simulation doesn't cost mana. I won this fight. Analysis progress 100%. System self-regeneration analysis complete. Acquired Lotus Fury rank 2. Activation effect: spend mana to deal explosive damage to enemies within a 5m radius. Power scales with mana consumed. Passive: each time a creature of rank 1 or higher is killed by Lotus Fury, the skill radius increases by 1%. Received Lotus Fury rank 2, all stats plus 20, removes all negative effects and heals all wounds. Activated Lotus Fury. Itsuki clapped in celebration. Flames erupted like a waterfall of fire over the wood spirit. Its body was engulfed by merciless flames. He murmured approvingly, Lotus Fury's not bad. Standing amid the charred space shrouded in thick smoke, Itsuki said, with even 1/3 of my mana, clearing those weak spirit beasts will be much easier from now on. But I didn't expect the super simulation could restore mana even when it reaches 0. He paused when he saw a glittering green karma stone on the ground. What's that? Outside, the receptionist worried. It's been nearly 3 minutes since that rookie entered, but he hasn't shown up. We should call the rescue team immediately. The system displayed a red alert, challenging stage level 10. Challenger, Itsuki. Challenge time 2 minutes 9 seconds. Ajaha exclaimed, I didn't think he'd lose to a rank 10 spirit beast, but killing it within 3 minutes is impossible. The notification turned green, new record achieved. Everyone present was shaken. Impossible. He defeated it, but it's not even been 3 minutes. Notification update. Challenge successful. Stage level 10. Challenger Itsuki. Challenge time 2 minutes 14 seconds. New clear record updated. Itsuki stepped out of the spatial gate, ragged after a deadly struggle. Those who had looked down on him now rubbed their eyes. He's actually alive. Is that green fluid the spirit beast's blood? He was a full minute faster than Kazunari Satsumi. That was a rank 10 spirit beast. What the hell, and that rookie is level 0. Are you kidding me? Itsuki approached Nento. Nento-san, will you officially teach me? He smiled confidently and bowed as a disciple. Master. Nento beamed with pride. Well done, truly my disciple. Ageha thought in surprise. Father is happy. I haven't seen him like this in a long time. Whispers rose. He's Nento's disciple. No wonder he could break Kazunari Satsumi's record. One jealous voice sneered. Even if he's that man's disciple, if he can't level up, he's still trash. The receptionist offered a wooden box, her face flushed. This is a gift for breaking the record. Please accept it, and I'm sorry for being rude earlier. Itsuki was surprised. A gift? He didn't care and took the box. It's fine. Letting a level 0 rookie challenge a stage like that, anyone would call it reckless. Even if a complete stranger like me died, it wouldn't be your fault. But you trying to stop me shows you cared, thank you. Her face reddened further. It's nothing. Ageha warned, hey Itsuki, we're going to leave you here. You seem excited, don't get hyped just because you're my father's disciple. Itsuki wondered. Yes, it seems this level was only a match for me. Should we raise the difficulty? Nento revealed. With your current ability, you can try high-level stages now. Itsuki exclaimed, high-level stages. He explained as he walked, level isn't the only factor that determines a spirit beast's strength. The most important factor is the species. Species without intelligence that act on instinct are easy to deal with. But there are species with intelligence equal to or surpassing humans. They're troublesome beings incomparable to ordinary spirit beasts. Ageha added, basically, awakened and spirit beasts are almost the same kind of creature. But it said that currently only humans possess professions. In other words, stats vary by species. A high-level stage contains such powerful or intelligent spirit beasts. The difficulty is several times that of a normal stage, and since most high-level stages on the northern continent are in North District B, that's your next destination. Any other questions? Itsuki frowned, thinking, so the one I just beat had no intelligence, and it didn't cry out when attacked. Does that mean it didn't feel pain? He asked. If a spirit beast is intelligent, it would feel pain, right? Ageha beside him sensed killing intent and thought, what terrifying aura is this? What on earth is he thinking? News of Itsuki spread quickly. People discussed. Did you hear? Nento-san plans to let him challenge high-level stages. If he's the one who broke Kazunari Satsumi's record, he'll be fine. High-level stages are completely different from normal ones. Besides, the stages in North District B are basically controlled by that man. Every awakened who enters high-level stages disappears. Rumor is they're killed by that man. Someone asked in surprise, you mean Kinoshita Ryuji? Another replied blankly, who's that? Does Kinoshita Ryuji think he's a king or something? The friend beside him panicked and clapped a hand over his mouth, signaling SHH. Quiet, if he hears, you'll be dead too. Who is he anyway? At this time, in a luxurious room, the son of the North District B leader, Kinoshita Ryuji, was sitting, with a servant carefully polishing the bodyguard's shoe heels at his feet. Someone behind asked, when will you depart? He replied contemptuously, all the stages in North District B are under my control. I go whenever I feel like it. Kinoshita Ryuji sneered, queuing as for commoners. Itsuki, together with Nento and his son, went to sit on a bench under the shade of a tree to rest. Curiously, he handed the karma stone to the man and recounted, this is from back then. Nento asked, you've seen a karma stone before? Itsuki didn't hide it and admitted, yes. After defeating a major spirit beast in a stage, this dropped, it's no different at all. He held the karma stone up for inspection. It was green then. Ageha glanced at the stone in Itsuki's hand in surprise. An intermediate karma stone, something like that appearing in a rookie stage. Itsuki, still vague from earlier, asked, exactly what is a karma stone? Ageha suddenly remembered, right, you're new, let me explain. She began to brief Itsuki. Another name for a karma stone is an experience stone. In short, when a major spirit beast or an awakened dies, an invisible substance called karma, or experience points, you could say, is released from the corpse. Absorbing that will level you up. Karma stones are the rocks that contain that karma inside them. Using a karma stone to absorb karma is one way to level up. Ageha was puzzled, but that's strange, karma stones don't drop often. Why did one appear in this stage? Nento had an answer. It seems to be due to Itsuki's innate talent. The other two exclaimed in surprise together, innate talent. He explained, normally the karma of the defeated is absorbed by the victor. However, even after defeating two major spirit beasts, Itsuki did not level up. In other words, he didn't absorb it. Yet once karma appears, it doesn't simply vanish without reason. If I'm not mistaken, the karma from the monster that attacked the school was absorbed by the awakened who were there, meaning it was absorbed by us. On the other hand, a stage is a sealed space. Itsuki couldn't absorb the karma generated, and there was no other container for it. That's why it condensed into a mass and became a karma stone. Ageha asked curiously. He really couldn't level up. If he didn't, then how did his stats increase? Itsuki hesitated. That. Nento's expression grew stern as he warned, Ageha, an awaken's innate talent is a secret. Do not reveal it to others. Have you forgotten? Ageha, realizing she'd crossed a taboo, quickly apologized. I'm sorry. Nento gave Itsuki full authority. I'll let you decide whether to sell that karma stone or keep it. I have a meeting with the Supreme Command of the 5 continents, so I'll be away for a while. In the meantime, Ageha will look after you. But before I go, there are a few things I want you to remember. Nento carefully instructed, first, keep our relationship secret. Second, don't tell anyone about your innate talent. Third, until I return, conquer at least 6 high-level dungeons. Fourth, if you believe something is right, give it your all. Whatever happens, I'll always support you from behind. Buoyed by his trust and support, Itsuki obediently replied, yes, master. In North District B, a dispute broke out. Both sides argued loudly. We arrived first, why won't you let us in? This dungeon was reserved by the son of the Kinoshita family. Go home. The other party didn't care. Who cares? Just because he has some money, he thinks he can do whatever he wants. That guy hasn't even shown up yet. At least let us in first. He kept nagging, unaware danger was near. I don't know how rich that brat is, but if you don't let me in, I'll report you to the Awakened Association. No sooner had he finished speaking than he was punched and sent flying far away. The one who struck was a tall, heavily muscled young man, Auga. His arm bulged with firm muscles. A sharp thorned branch shot forward. Auga tilted his body to dodge. The attacker froze. Impossible, my B-rank skill Earth Thorn has no effect. Auga snarled contemptuously, not even enough to scratch. He trembled in fear. Earth Thorn can pierce anything. This guy must be a monster. Both his hands were grabbed by Auga. Auga forced his strength to squeeze the other's wrists. The boy's face took a punch from Auga. Blood spurted from his nose and mouth. This terrified those around them. Those 2 level 7 and level 8 were killed instantly without being able to do anything. That big guy is crazily strong. Someone who knew his background said, he's one of the 4 pillars under Kinoshita Ryuji, a level 12 metal elementalist. Auga declared, I won't spare anyone who dares enter a dungeon without Ryuji's permission. If you resist on purpose, I'll make you meet the exact same end as these 2. His hand still tightening on the boy's throat. These ones will rot right here. Don't think about rescuing them. One of his cronies cautioned, Auga, don't go too far. The parents are watching us. If you beat up a weak student, I'll report you to the teacher. Auga let go, dropping the guy to the ground. The boy was just caught by Itsuki, covered in blood. Itsuki's presence made people curious. Who is that? He won't help them if they don't listen. A level 0, he's done for. A beautiful woman beside him felt, I feel like I've seen him somewhere before. Auga scowled, you new guy, I told you no one passes here without Ryuji's permission. If you don't want to end up like those 2, go home quietly. Itsuki exclaimed, I understand, so I have to defeat you to enter the dungeon. Ageha connected the call. I'll contact the North District B administrator. This kind of selfishness can't be allowed. Itsuki refused, no need. Master told me that if I think something is right, I must give it my all. He handed the injured to her care. Take care of those people. A killing intent emanated from Itsuki, making someone wary. This guy, what kind of freak is he? All information about him was hidden. Itsuki, human, level undefined, profession, annihilator, talent, special grades, skills, private, stats, private. Auga was surprised. Although he's level 0, he faces me without flinching. Is it because of a rare profession? He felt something off. Wait, why am I feeling pressured? Even with a rare profession, I'm still 12 levels above him. The stat gap shouldn't be bridgeable. Information about him appeared. Auga, human level 12, profession, metal elementalist, talent rank 2, effective metallization at rest, defense plus 50%. Skill, metalize, stats, attack 110, speed 100, defense 250, mana 145, total 605. Auga was stunned at the opponent's action. A look of astonishment showed on his face, barely concealed. Within his pupils reflected the image of Itsuki charging forward. A punch landed straight on him, both powerful and precise. Witnesses were horrified. So fast, is he really level 0? Even at level 8, I'm not sure I could catch up. Itsuki's fist smoked because his face had turned to metal. He was surprised. He blocked it with metalize. Auga's 2 arms were coated in metal, clanging together, quick. Both fists came down but lacked power. Itsuki dodged backward. Realized, to successfully ambush an enemy over level 10, he really needed to boost his speed with Thunderquake 3. Itsuki's info updated. Itsuki, human, level undefined, profession. Annihilator, talent, special grade Nirvana, skills. Super Simulation Z rank, Thunderquake 3 level 1, Dark Ice Secret level 2, Lotus Fury level 2. Stats, attack 250, speed 250, defense 250, mana 250, total 1000. Detected C-rank skill, Metalize. Activating super simulation, analysis progress, 1%. Itsuki was surprised, a skill threatening enough to trigger super simulation, I have to get serious. Itsuki charged again, normal attacks can't break Metalize's defense, so I'll just aim for the flesh. Auga stamped his foot hard into the ground as a brace. His body fully metalized, his tone full of contempt. The weak one has neither strength nor speed. Itsuki's plan succeeded halfway, he thought, that's my fastest speed. Auga was complacent. Itsuki accelerated with Thunder Quake 3, lightning enveloping his body. He raised his fist, see my new skill, Auga gasped. Lightning element, Itsuki vowed. I won't give you a chance to metalize. Simulation rose to 59%. Itsuki unleashed a flurry of punches at him. The others stood frozen. How can that guy use a skill from another profession? He's so fast my eyes can't follow. Can that level 0 really beat Auga? Auga ground his teeth, trying to suppress the pain. Damn, I have no chance to metalize. Even though he's level 0, why is he so fast? At this rate, I'll lose. Auga called for help. Damn it, I can't even shout. Don't just stand there, help me. With things already like this, he had no choice but to try that move. A tremendous surge of power erupted through him. His body fully metalized. Itsuki was surprised. This guy, he's metalized his whole body. Info updated, analysis progress of C-rank skill, metalize 88%. Auga growled, I'm thankful. I never succeeded in metalizing my entire body before, but thanks to you forcing me, I did it now. He smiled at his current result. A metalized part gains 50% defense, and my talent adds another 50% defense while I'm stationary. In other words, my defense now exceeds 500. I was going to cut you in half, but consider it a reward for helping me succeed with the new skill. I'll let you die gently. Two onlookers murmured, level 12 with defense over 500. No one of the same level can break his guard. He's a monster. I thought the level 0 would win. Itsuki smiled calmly and asked, if I'm not mistaken, fully metalizing the body consumes a huge amount of mana. If you put all your stat points into defense, your mana shouldn't be that high. Progress reached 99%. Auga snapped irritably, what nonsense are you talking? He had to admit Itsuki's intuition was sharp. The lotus covered his body. Itsuki reassured, don't worry, I won't use that boring tactic of draining your mana to 0. I'll end this now. Progress update, analysis progress 100%. Ageha glanced at the flower, it's here, that azure lotus. Itsuki is about to get stronger again. Those around, seeing the bud closed like a lotus, were surprised. A lotus? This is a level 0 skill. It doesn't look like an offensive skill, so how can he defeat Auga with something like that? Update notification. Metalize analysis complete. Skill obtained. Piercing sphere level 1. Activation effect. Fires a perfect sphere along a fixed trajectory. The sphere travels at 1 ms and pierces every enemy in its path, ignoring all defense stats. Passive effect. Each time the sphere defeats an enemy whose defense stat is higher than its own, its flight speed increases by 100%, current increase, 0%. Itsuki assessed. Ignores defense. If this skill hits, it will definitely deal damage. The problem is the flight speed is only 1 ms, even a normal person could dodge. Timing the cast is crucial. If my opponent is that stationary punching bag, I don't even need to bother timing it. He declared that absolute defense he prides himself on, I will crush it to pieces. System reminder, piercing sphere level 1 acquired. All stats plus 10. Remove all negative effects and fully heal wounds. New stats, attack 260 plus 10, speed 260 plus 10, defense 260 plus 10, mana 260 plus 10, total 1040 plus 40. Itsuki pointed at the piercing sphere hovering within the flower. He even taunted, try to dodge this. System announcement, piercing sphere activated. Those around murmured excitedly, that's a skill I've never seen before. So this is the Annihilator, dubbed the most mysterious profession among the four. Can a skill cast by a level 0 Annihilator pierce the defense of that level 12 defensive specialist? That confident look, it must be an incredibly terrifying move. The piercing sphere flashed, radiating an aura around it. It hovered in midair. The onlookers were stunned. There was no reaction from Auga. Someone curiously said, just a tiny little sphere, that's it. Are you kidding me? What a disappointment. Auga sneered, you think you can force me to move and nullify my talent just with a little sphere like that? How naive. He stepped toward the piercing sphere, confidently declaring, if this is your trump card, then you're about to die horribly. But he froze when he saw the sphere pass through his body. In an instant, fresh blood gushed from the wound. Itsuki coldly reminded, I told you to dodge. Because you're human, I only took your right arm. If you were a spirit beast, I'd have aimed for the neck. Auga writhed and fell, clutching his severed arm and screaming in pain. My arm. Itsuki glanced at the people behind him and called, what are you still standing there for? Get him to a hospital. Can't you hear me? When they took no action, Itsuki repeated in an icy voice, I said get lost. They were silent as they carried Auga away from the scene. Those who remained cheered in celebration. He won. He really won. Well done, serves him right. Immediately 2 people approached to recruit him. Do you want to team up with us? We have 3 people so we can clear dungeons quickly. No, team up with me. We're only 2, so there will be more experience to share. They began arguing over him. Another person interjected. All 3 of you are Auga's members. Are you really planning to challenge the flame lava trial field? The spirit beasts there have defenses comparable to that guy. The person beside him replied, we have brother healer. We can restore your mana and let you cast that sphere infinitely. Itsuki thought to himself in surprise, their defense is on par with Auga quotas, all the better. The purified spirit sphere pierces the void. Its flight speed increases each time it defeats an enemy with higher defense than itself. I can raise the piercing sphere's speed in this dungeon. The 2 groups eagerly looked at Itsuki. Come on, tell us which side will you choose. He refused both, accustomed to acting alone. I'll go alone. A few people behind couldn't believe their ears. Challenging a level 15 high-tier dungeon alone, he's become arrogant after beating Auga. The 2 who'd been rejected said disappointedly, I'll admit he's strong, but he's gotten too conceited. Someone left. It seems we don't meet his standards. We'll find others. Choha warned kindly, all the spirit beasts here have defenses comparable to Auga. We see you have the skill to beat them, but can you sustain the mana cost? Itsuki calmly reassured. It's fine, don't worry. She blushed with embarrassment and snapped softly, as if I'd be worried. I'm only asking because if you die here, my dad will blame me. I'm going to tend to the wounded. Do whatever you want. Choha, still uneasy, added, also, the Rock Clan aren't smart, but they move in groups, so be careful about your mana consumption. Itsuki replied, all right. Then he moved to the dungeon gate. A message appeared on the touchscreen as he connected his bracelet to the reader. Awaken at Itsuki's request approved. When he entered the dungeon, he had his answer. They were indeed more numerous than he'd expected. Inside was a barren desert strewn with gravel and rocks. Itsuki glanced at the spirit beasts inside. This is truly a high-tier dungeon. Their stats and levels were much higher than before. Update notice, Stone Golem 927, Rock Clan level 9. Second-tier talent, convert all mana into defense. Stats, attack 115, speed 50, defense 295, mana 0, total 460. He used Piercing Sphere against the first Stone Golem, charging in to see whether these met the skill's intrinsic condition. Piercing Sphere was activated. It bloomed like a flower with eye-catching colors. The sphere shot toward the Stone Golem, piercing straight through it. Notification displayed, defeated Stone Golem level 9. Piercing Sphere's speed increased by 100%. Itsuki breathed a sigh of relief, just as I thought. He continued as before, sweeping with the piercing sphere. 2 massive stone golems aggressively charged in succession. Itsuki handled them calmly. They were very slow and couldn't dodge. They were perfect sources for the piercing sphere. When the whole group fell, a notification displayed, defeated stone golem level 9. Piercing sphere's speed increased by 100%. Progress update, mana 110-260. Itsuki estimated 1 piercing sphere costs 50 mana, so I have about 2 more shots. Only 2 uses left and the boss hasn't appeared yet. So there are 3 left. If so, he decided, I have to take down 2 at once with a single piercing sphere. Itsuki launched himself high into the air, heading down toward the stone golem below. His body plunged forward as he threw the sphere ahead. His eyes flashed a dangerous red. Receiving the flower containing the piercing sphere as it bloomed, lightning shot from it, carrying the massive piercing sphere down. Before long, the remaining stone golem was slain. Notification displayed, defeated stone golem level 9. Piercing sphere's speed increased by 100%. Itsuki collapsed exhausted, panting, sweat pouring like rain, feeling drained just before his mana ran out. So tired, I hope someday I can get a healing skill. After resting enough, Itsuki sat up and checked the system. Now its speed is 5 ms, it can even catch up to those running. While he was absent-mindedly checking the info, a giant stone above him launched an ambush. One of its strikes slammed down, making the ground quake. It activated a B-rank skill, Colossification. Information displayed, Colossus Golem 28, Rock Clan level 15. Second tier talent, convert all mana into defense. Stats, attack 239, speed 60, defense 478, mana 0, total 777. The Colossus's size astonished Itsuki. It was enormous. He immediately activated Thunderquake III, gaining 50% speed. Like a flash, Itsuki climbed onto the Colossus. He felt a twinge of uncertainty. Could a single piercing sphere take something like this down? That's why he had to aim for its weak point. Maybe if I target the head. While the Colossus wasn't paying attention, Itsuki threw the piercing sphere at its exposed head. Seeing the Colossus turning toward him, he hurriedly backed away. Not good. The piercing sphere is too small. Even if it penetrates, it won't deal much damage. Its fist was closing in, nearly on top of Itsuki. He tensed. This is bad. I can't dodge midair. To withstand the blow, Itsuki activated the black ice shield. The collision set off a shockwave explosion. He was slammed into the cliff behind him, blood trickling from the corner of his mouth. He gritted his teeth and said, "This clumsy giant is tougher than I thought." New notification. Colossification skill detected. Super simulation activated. Analysis progress 1%. This made Itsuki glad, so it's that big because of a skill. That makes things easier. Over by Ryuji, his bodyguard Tanky received a call. He was stunned. What? Ryuji frowned and displeasedly admonished, "I told you not to make noise in front of me." He bowed his head in apology. "Sorry, this was completely unexpected, sir." Ryuji continued, "What happened?" Tanky reported, "It seems someone defeated Auga and forcibly entered the dungeon." The wineglass in Ryuji's hand was crushed as his voice rang with anger. What did he do? He'd always boasted that no one under level 30 could break through his defenses. Could a Awakener above level 30 have shown up? Tanky replied, "The number of fallen stone pillars has surged recently, so all Awakeners over level 30 are busy dealing with them. They don't have time to come. Also, the main challengers at the Flame Lava Trial Field are newcomers around level 10. Ryuji protested. "There's no way a level 0 could defeat Auga." He pleaded, "Yes, of course, if you give me more time, I'll investigate further." Ryuji stood up and calmly said, "That's unnecessary. Even if the opponent is level 30, you're still here, aren't you? The Flame Lava Trial Field is notorious for tenacious calamity beasts and takes a long time to conquer. Even if we depart now, we'll still make it in time, right?" Tanky hesitated. "But without knowing the opponent's identity, we should proceed cautiously." He scowled, annoyed, and warned, "I said we're leaving now, don't make me say it twice." That presence made him sweat with fear, and he obeyed, "Yes." While changing clothes, Ryuji said bitterly, "I'll make them regret crossing the Kinoshita family." Inside the dungeon, when progress reached 100%, Itsuki knew it was time for revenge. "Finally, I don't have to run around like a rat anymore." The lotus blossom enveloped his body into a tight bud without a gap. Notification displayed. Analysis complete for B rank skill, Colossification. Itsuki was surprised. No new skill received. Piercing Sphere leveled up to 2 stars. Let's see what new effects it has. System reminder. Piercing Sphere level 2 active effect. Fires a perfect sphere along a fixed trajectory. The sphere flies at 5 ms, pierces every enemy in its path, and ignores their defense. New feature after activation. The user can adjust the sphere's size by consuming additional mana. Passive effect. Each time Piercing Sphere kills an enemy with a defense stat higher than the user's, its flight speed increases by 200%. Maximum flight speed can increase up to 500%. He realized the passive had increased from 100% to 200%. Best of all, now I can adjust the Piercing Sphere's size with mana. Itsuki was eager. Let's try it now. New update. Acquired Piercing Sphere level 2. All stats plus 20. Removes all negative effects and heals all wounds. Stats: attack 280 plus 20, speed 280 plus 20, defense 280 plus 20, mana 280 plus 20, total 1120 plus 8. The lotus blossom that Itsuki funneled energy into grew enormous, incubating the largest piercing sphere he could currently form by consuming all his mana. The bud slowly opened, releasing a surge of immense energy. A pillar of energy pierced straight through the Colossus's body, shredding it into fragments of rock. Itsuki marveled, "Maybe I went a bit too far. Mana is now 0-280. After the Colossus was destroyed, a new notification appeared. Defeated Colossus Golem level 15. Piercing Sphere's speed increased by 200%. Itsuki was astonished. "I spent all my mana, never expected to unleash such a huge Piercing Sphere." He estimated, "The Piercing Sphere's flight speed is now 7 ms. If I clear this dungeon 2 more times, it'll be as fast as a vehicle." System display. Piercing Sphere level 2 active effect. Fires a perfect sphere along a fixed trajectory. The sphere flies at 5 ms, pierces every enemy in its path, and ignores their defense. After activation, the user can adjust the sphere's size by consuming additional mana. Passive effect. Each time Piercing Sphere kills an enemy with a defense stat higher than the user's, its flight speed increases by 200%. Flight speed has currently increased by 700%. Itsuki noticed, "Wait, the active effect is actually pretty useful, isn't it?" The Lotus Fury's innate effect expands the range of all skills, so that means the Piercing Sphere's travel distance will also increase. Lotus Fury info displayed. Passive effect. Each time a living creature level 1 or above is killed by Lotus Fury, the range of all the user's skills increases by 1%. Itsuki inferred, "So if I keep increasing Lotus Fury's passive, one day I'll be able to kill calamity beasts from thousands, even tens of thousands, of meters away." Outside the dungeon gate, the announcement board turned green. Challenge successful. Dungeon level 15. Challenger Itsuki, time 3 minutes 1 second. Clear record updated. Everyone present was stunned. 3 minutes 1 second. Impossible, even a 5-person team would take over 10 minutes. Did he kill the spirit beast in one strike? He broke Kazunari Satsumi*'s record of 3 minutes 19 seconds. What kind of monster is he? He's out. Seeing Itsuki still at the same level, they were even more shocked. Why is he still level 0? Is the announcement window bugged? He's not even hurt, his clothes just a little dirty. There's no way he truly cleared it. Ageha silently admired. He cleared it again without taking damage. I didn't expect he'd break Jin's record. She composed her expression and said seriously, too fast. Itsuki had no way to explain. It was pretty weak compared to mid-tier spirit beasts, so its defense was thin. I managed to defeat it. He noticed the green butterfly flying beside her. What's that butterfly? She introduced, its name is Jade Leaf. My vocation is a spirit god summoner. This child is my spirit god. Itsuki was surprised. Jade Leaf, this is the first time I've seen a spirit god. It's beautiful. He couldn't help asking, I've always wondered how many types of awakening vocations are there. Ageha was surprised. You don't know, that's common knowledge. She held up 3 fingers. Vocations are divided into 4 types. You've probably seen 3 of them already. Once more, Ageha explained to Itsuki, first are elementalists. They wield control over 7 elements: fire, water, wood, metal, earth, wind, and lightning. Elementalists are the most common vocation among awakeners. They also have the highest baseline combat power. She mentioned Hikaru Oishi. That guy from earlier is of that type too. Second are spirit god summoners. They can summon spirit gods that obey their commands absolutely. Information about the butterfly appeared. Jade Leaf, rank B, level 15. Skill hidden, stats hidden. Beside it was information about her. Ageha, human, level 6. Vocation, spirit god summoner. Second tier talent, hidden, spirit god hidden, stats hidden. She revealed, a spirit god will always stay by its master's side. Spirit god summoners from the moment they're born. After speaking, Ageha asked, anything else you want to ask? Itsuki realized her spirit god's level is higher than hers. Is she really a veteran awakener? She sighed, this person really has no sense of subtlety. Ageha admitted, that's right, spirit gods absorb experience and level up, so they generally have higher levels than their masters. Itsuki inferred, if so, when fighting a spirit god summoner, it's best to target their master. Ageha thought fearfully to herself, that dark aura is surging again. What the hell is that? Itsuki asked for more information. What about the other vocations? You've only introduced 2. She replied, the third is a mysterious vocation with very little information available currently. Ageha revealed, your vocation, Annihilator. She added, the reason it's mysterious is that each Annihilator has a different ability. But your Lotus Blade. Others can control their body size at will or create infinite clones. There are even Annihilators who can stretch their bodies like rubber. Normal vocation skills are ranked from C to S, however. Annihilators only possess Z-rank skills outside the standard classification system. The reason Annihilators are considered special is that they possess unique skills. If an enemy learns your skills, an Annihilator loses their greatest weapon. That's why my father scolded me for asking about your skills. Even so, you're an abnormal existence even among Annihilators. From what I've confirmed, you can use at least 3 skills, and 2 of them are abilities only elementalists normally have. Itsuki thought to himself, my master isn't here. It's not good for her to talk about me like this. He continued the topic, what about the last vocation? I've never seen it before. Ageha pondered. The last vocation is. I'll tell you after I see it. That's your punishment for not telling me anything about yourself. Itsuki didn't press her. Fine. Ageha suddenly remembered. Right, the student you rescued is okay now. By the way, what do you plan to do after this? He revealed, I plan to clear this dungeon a few more times. She warned, you really don't know, dungeons have cooldowns. This place resets slowly, so the earliest you can re-enter is in 2 days. Now Itsuki realized there's a cooldown. No wonder Kinoshita Ryoji monopolized this dungeon. If I can't strengthen the piercing sphere's innate effect, I'll level up Lotus Fury. He asked, is there any dungeon that contains a large number of spirit beasts? Ageha brought good news, a dungeon full of spirit beasts, there is one. The spirit beasts levels in that dungeon aren't very high, but they're extremely numerous. Even by the lowest estimate, there are about 100 grasshopper-type spirit beasts. Many awakeners have backed down at the sight of that number. She was curious, what are you going to do without any AoE skills? AoE is area of effect attack. He replied, of course I'll go. He thought to himself, speaking of which, I still haven't used Lotus Fury in front of her. Does she not know I have an area skill? Ageha gave up. Honestly, it'll be really hard for someone without AoE like you know. Itsuki calmed her. It's fine, don't worry. Those behind overhearing this were terrified. That guy, he's going to the grasshopper wilderness? Does he have no fear? Forget it, if Kinoshita Ryuji finds out about this, he'll definitely come. They decided, let's leave before we get dragged into the fight. When Ryuji arrived, the place was deserted. No one here. Tanky confirmed, yes, it seems the target has gone elsewhere. Ryuji scowled. Only 30 minutes since then and he already cleared the flame rock marching field. He worried, unbelievable, but it seems so. What do we do now? Ryuji could only curse. Damn it, he turned me into a joke. He ordered, if he used a skill, he must have left traces of magic. Contact the hunters and track him. From this moment, I have a grudge. We must capture him alive. I'll make him taste earthly hell. In a deserted alley, Charles was hiding there, thinking, I never heard Kinoshita Ryuji had someone this strong with him. Damn, I shouldn't have taken this assassination job. He panted, hiding behind a wall. If I didn't have the earth escape technique, he'd have killed me. Charles peeked out to look. Since I've gotten this far, I'm probably safe. Right behind him, a death hound lunged with its gruesome jaws open. It bit down on Charles's neck and wouldn't let go. Behind them, the death hound's master, Sackley, stepped forward and commanded, it seems you have something to say. Death hound, release a little. Charles whispered, how did you find me? Sackley revealed, letting him die with his eyes closed. My nose is very sharp. The scent of death you give off, I can smell it. Charles begged in fear, please don't kill me. Sackley refused, no, Lord Kinoshita will take his anger out on me. Besides, the death hound hasn't eaten human flesh in a long time, you know. He ordered the death hound, eat, it's meal time. It opened its jaws and lunged toward tonight's feast. After eating, the death hound broke through. Sackley happily stroked its thick fur, finally leveled up. System notification, death hound rank B level 16. Skills, Death Censoring C, detect all traces of magic in the area to identify and track the magic source. Death Aftereffect rank B, after a spirit god dies, its respawn time is significantly reduced. Stats, attack 250, speed 250, defense 150, mono 150. Then he made a phone call to report, this side is done. Sackley received new information, seriously wounded, that stubborn Auga, someone hit his weak point, got it, I'm on my way. He departed, let's go Reaper, a new prey has appeared. Itsuki was now in the grasshopper lands. He looked at the golden field before him and asked curiously, is it this place? Do the wheat fields stretching as far as the eye can see really have that many grasshoppers? Ajaha explained, spirit beasts tend to choose environments they prefer when invading this world. So deducing the type of spirit beast from the environment is an essential skill for an awakener. He confirmed, got it. Itsuki looked around, there's not even a reception desk here. She helplessly revealed, that's right, the danger level of this dungeon is so high that they even considered dismantling it. He was puzzled, but it's a lower level than the flame rock marching field. Why would they go so far as to dismantle the reception desk? Ajaha answered. In a normal dungeon, if you can't win, you can flee, but here, the calamity spirit beasts are unusually aggressive and numerous. If you are even a little complacent, you'll be swarmed by countless grasshoppers and eaten alive. She stated the outcome bluntly, down to the bone. Itsuki focused on one thing, so there really are a lot of spirit beasts here. Awesome. Ajaha was surprised. What, do you want to die that badly? He said seriously, I'm not desperate enough to let insects eat me alive. She watched Itsuki enter the dungeon, thinking, based on his attitude, he should be fine. Ajaha drooped her eyes and sadly exclaimed, he went into the dungeon on his own after I warned him thoroughly. If anything happens, it's his own responsibility. She suddenly remembered something important. Wait, what should I do? I forgot to tell him that the grasshoppers will keep spawning until he defeats the boss. I have to go inside and tell Itsuki. Suddenly she sensed someone approaching from behind. Charles and his death hound had arrived looking for them. He smirked and asked the girl, I'm looking for someone. Inside the dungeon, Itsuki looked at the wide, silent wheat field and judged, it's pretty deserted here. He clapped his hands to make a noise. Wake up, you pests, I'm here to wipe you out. The grasshoppers, hearing the sound, immediately flew out. Itsuki was unfazed. Their levels are surprisingly low. They meet the conditions for Lotus Fury, so it's fine. A swarm of grasshoppers poured in. They were grasshopper fiends, insect tribe, hidden stats, no talent. Itsuki exclaimed, they're really a lot. He formed a Lotus Fury of fire, but that's even better. If they cluster, it's less troublesome for me. Once they enter Lotus Fury's range, I'll crush them all at once. When the swarm had gathered densely, Itsuki decided, now activate Lotus Fury. A flash of light flickered in the dark space. A series of notifications popped up as the explosion incinerated them. Defeated Grasshopper Fiend LV1 with Lotus Fury. All skill ranges plus 1%. Itsuki stood amid thick smoke and dust, having defeated the first wave without breaking a sweat. Update notification. Lotus Fury level 2 active effect. Consume mana to deal explosive damage to enemies within a 10.5 m diameter. Power scales with mana consumed. Passive effect, each time a living creature LV1 or above is defeated by Lotus Fury, the range of all skills increases by 1%. He inferred it's currently 110%. 110% means I killed 110 at once. With spirit beasts at this level, spending 10% mana to gain 10% firepower is fine. Considering remaining mana and recovery speed during the fight, I can probably fire about 10 more times. Even if each time I kill 100 enemies, I can increase total skill range by 1000%. Looking at the mana upgrade notification, Itsuki assessed, mana 252-280. If this dungeon had no cooldown, things would be much smoother. He curiously looked at the ring on his wrist. Strange, the challenge success notification didn't appear. Reminder notification detected rank C skill, spawn host will. Super simulation activated, analysis progress, 1%. Itsuki turned around warily. Are there still enemies? Larger grasshoppers flew in and surrounded him. Itsuki hurriedly activated the black ice secret layer to protect himself, thinking in shock, spawn host will is the boss's skill here? I was complacent, I thought there was no boss. He cautioned himself, fortunately I can increase skill range with Lotus Fury again. But the problem is I don't know where the boss is. Itsuki activated Lotus Fury. If that's the case, I'll just wipe out the small fry until the boss reveals itself. A second explosion erupted as the grasshoppers were struck. Update notification, defeated grasshopper fiend LV1 with Lotus Fury. All skill ranges plus 1%, currently plus 220%. Itsuki inwardly rejoiced. Now Lotus Fury's range is 16m, the effect is great. He continued reading the notification. Lotus Fury LV, 2 active, consume mana to deal explosive damage to enemies within a 16m diameter. Power scales with mana consumed. Itsuki anxiously looked at the sea of grasshoppers before him. I've killed 110 small soldiers, but the boss still hasn't shown up. Another dense swarm of grasshoppers rushed in. Itsuki saw them emerge from a crack in the ground. They're back. Update notification, analysis progressed 27%. He realized I can only use Lotus Fury 9 more times. Current mana is 232-280. Itsuki kept using Lotus Fury, no matter how many times you appear. I will wipe you all out. Blazing fire roared up, heat radiating around. After the third attack, he accrued a string of cumulative gains, defeated Grasshopper Fiend LV1 with Lotus Fury. All skill ranges plus 1%. Itsuki increased Lotus Fury 7-fold to attack. The Inferno scorched across the area. New update, active effect. Consume mana to deal explosive damage to enemies within a 54.5m diameter. Power scales with mana consumed. Passive effect. Each time a living creature LV1 or above is defeated by Lotus Fury, all skill ranges increase by 1%. Currently plus 990%. Itsuki wondered, I've defeated swarms 9 times so far and increased Lotus Fury's range by 990%. But I only have enough mana for one more Lotus Fury. So why is my mana at 5280? Watching the grasshoppers storm toward him like a hurricane, he was astonished. Don't they ever stop? And the boss shows no sign of appearing. One option is to retreat from the dungeon and try again after the analysis completes. But Itsuki frowned contemptuously. Only the weak would do that. He continued to form Lotus Fury. No matter how many there are, I will destroy them all. Blazing fire surged fiercely from the giant lotus positioned at the center. Itsuki was nearly exhausted from using this move. Seeing them swarming in black masses, he panicked. Still more, and the numbers haven't decreased at all. When the progress reached 91%, Itsuki realized, what's going on? From the first wave, every spirit beast that appeared was LV1 and their bodies were tiny as if newly hatched. He suddenly understood, got it. The boss's ability is infinite reproduction. Information about the mother grasshopper displayed. Queen Grasshopper 279 Insect Tribe LV13 First tier talent lays a large quantity of grasshopper fiend eggs. Skill, spawn host will rank C, remotely control hatched grasshopper fiends up to 110. Itsuki grasped the principle, if it reproduces infinitely, no matter how hard I try it's pointless. Unless I kill the boss, I'm out of mana. But when the progress moved from 98% to 99%, Itsuki was confident it should finish analyzing soon. When the analysis reached 100%, a sphere formed around him. New update, analysis of spawn host will complete. Received mana sense level 1. Mana sense level 1 active effect. After activation, continuously consume mana to sense mana flow within a 100m diameter. Effective range is extended to 1100m thanks to Lotus Fury's passive effect. Passive effect. When an enemy unit is detected, restore 10% of own mana. Itsuki was astonished, a scouting skill tied to Lotus Fury. The effective range is now over 1000m. Moreover, I can restore mana each time I sense an enemy. He couldn't hide the joy welling up inside. This passive is perfect for this dungeon. Ignoring the boss and just continuing to hunt the small fry isn't bad either. But I left Ajaha waiting, so I have to finish this dungeon now. System reminder, received Mana Sense level 1. All stats increased. Remove all negative effects and fully heal wounds. New stats: attack 290 plus 10, speed 290 plus 10, defense 290 plus 10, mana 290 plus 10, total 1160 plus 40. Itsuki placed his hand on the shield. The lotus blaze turned red. Locate the boss using mana sensation. The wave of sensation radiated outward in concentric circles. At last, the location of Mother Moth was discovered. Itsuki's eyes snapped open as he exclaimed, "There you are." He formed the true piercer sphere to destroy it. A sphere emanating dark energy spread out. Itsuki said calmly, trying to use your child as a shield. The lotus blaze violently unleashed a massive bolt of lightning toward the target. He was certain it would be useless. With Lotus Blaze's passive applied to the True Piercer Sphere, its flight distance would surely reach it. Notification alert, True Piercer Sphere range. 120 m. The True Piercer Sphere plunged straight toward the ground. Queen Moth hurriedly flew out of her hiding place. Itsuki charged in from behind, preventing her escape. He smiled coldly, checkmate. A strike pierced Mother Moth's body. Green slime splattered everywhere. The baby moths flew chaotically like a swarm. Itsuki noted, losing their queen threw them into disarray. He activated Dark Ice Secret. Firepower flared on his arm. Don't worry, I'll send you to meet your mother soon. After sweeping through, Itsuki estimated. With all skill ranges increased by 10%, Lotus Blaze's explosion radius is 65.5 m and the True Piercer Sphere's flight distance has also increased. The True Piercer Sphere's current range is 131 m. Reward update notification. Lotus Blaze Level 2. Active effect. Consume mana to deal explosive damage to enemies within a 65.5 m diameter. Power scales with mana consumed. Passive effect. Each time a living creature level 1 or higher is defeated by Lotus Blaze, all skill ranges increase by 1%. Currently plus 1210%. True Piercer Sphere flight distance, 131 m. Itsuki picked up a karmic stone. This is truly a bountiful season. Once the cooldown's up, I'll challenge it again. This time I'll push Lotus Blaze's passive into 5 digits. An announcement outside the gate displayed, new record achieved. Challenge time, 17 minutes 7 seconds. Itsuki was surprised. Took 17 minutes, Ageha must have been worried. Maybe she'll act cold when I return safely, but she's actually kind and considerate. Her feigned aloofness is kind of endearing, he thought. He cheerfully stepped out of the gate. I'm back, sorry for making you worry. Itsuki fell silent, a murderous glint flashing in his eyes as he took in the scene before him. Ageha was being held up by Charles, his hand tightly gripping her throat. The man asked with interest. Itsuki went in alone and came out of this dungeon safe. You're the one Kinoshita Ryoji is hunting, aren't you? He continued, perfect timing. I was about to make her reveal information about you. But even like this, she won't say a thing. She's more stubborn than most men. Itsuki said coldly, let go of that filthy hand. If you do, I'll beat you up and let you go. Charles sneered and laughed. Don't get cocky, you level 0 rookie. Itsuki moved with extreme speed, launching a punch straight at him. Charles hurriedly ordered, too fast, Death Hound attack, use your head to take one of his punches. System notification, detection of rank B Shikigami, Death Hound. Activating super simulation, analysis progress, 1%. From that, Itsuki deduced, this dog is a Shikigami, meaning the man with the hat is a Shikigami summoner. Charles had the answer in his head. There were no wasted movements and his speed was terrifying. No wonder even Auga lost. He probably didn't even have time to undergo metallization. He said casually, but I have the Death Hound and a hostage. Charles tightened his grip on Ageha's throat until it hurt. She let out a soft moan. Itsuki, worried for her safety, called out loudly, Ageha, analysis progress at 34%. The Death Hound broke free of Itsuki's restraint and lunged forward ferociously. Charles thought confidently, the Death Hound's bite can crush defenses under 300. The best he could hope for was maybe losing an arm. But reality was far from his expectations. Charles exclaimed in astonishment, what? Itsuki had activated Dark Ice Secret covering one arm, while his other hand formed the True Piercer Sphere. Lotus Blaze was placed right under the Death Hound's throat. The True Piercer Sphere shot straight through its head. He recalled the saying, without a Shikigami summoner is basically weak. Analysis progress reached 77%. Charles wondered, he's a rookie, so does he not know that Shikigami can revive? The Death Hound possessed a rank B skill, Death's Rest, which could shorten its resurrection time. Seeing the Death Hound from behind charging again, he jeered, be careless and become the Death Hound's meal. Itsuki had activated Mana Sensation. The waves of sensation expanded as analysis reached 89%. He thought, constantly activating Mana Sensation since acquiring it seems to have been the right choice. Progress rose to 91%. Itsuki spun and delivered a powerful kick to the Death Hound. He glanced at Charles behind him, thinking, analysis is almost done. If King Leon appears because of super simulation, he might get suspicious. His strength and speed surpass the Death Hound's, and he even has a scouting skill. I can't even ambush like this. He had taken Ajaha out as a threat. Resist anymore and this woman dies. Itsuki's plan was, I want to finish the analysis without King Leon appearing. Notification, analysis progress 100%. Death Hound analysis complete. Acquired Devour Shikigami level 2. Devourer Shikigami level 2 active effect. By touching a Shikigami of rank H or below directly, you can make it your own. Passive effect, number of usable Shikigami, 0-2. Itsuki was surprised, so I can steal a Shikigami. I finished the analysis without King Leon appearing. Notification, acquired Devourer Shikigami level 2, all stats plus 20. Because super simulation wasn't fully activated, debuff removal and wound recovery did not occur. New stats, attack 310 plus 20 speed, 310 plus 20 defense, 310 plus 20 mana, 310 plus 20. He guessed, so there's a price for skipping King Leon and losing the recovery effect. But since I healed from the dungeon earlier, even without recovery, I can still fight at near full strength. It seems this skill lets me steal others' Shikigami. Seeing the Death Hound lunging with its jaws open, Itsuki devised a new plan. The lotus flower bloomed in his palm. If that's the case, Itsuki slammed the flower onto the Death Hound's head. I'll take your dog. The Death Hound's whole body was seized by a controlling force. He tilted his body and raised his foot, kicking it hard. One kick sent the Death Hound crashing to the ground. Charles angrily cursed, useless dog, I fed you that pile of experience for what? He increased the pressure on Ajaha's neck. Hey, resist anymore and I'll slit this woman's throat. Ajaha, not wanting to affect Itsuki, said softly, don't worry about me. Itsuki raised both hands in surrender. All right, don't touch her. Charles admonished, if you'd behaved like this from the start, this woman wouldn't have had to suffer. Itsuki asked coldly, why are you targeting me? I don't recall making an enemy of you. He replied, you're still trying to dig up information? I suppose I can tell you, since you'll be meeting him anyway. Kinoshita Ryoji is furious with you for entering the North District without permission. I'm the Houndman Charles, and I'm here to capture you on his orders. Itsuki vowed, so that's Kinoshita Ryoji. I need to meet him personally and settle this. Charles warned, you'll meet him soon enough. As soon as your body is torn apart, the Death Hound will rip your legs off. If you value this woman's life, don't use that strange layer of ice to protect yourself this time. He ordered Death Hound bite his legs to pieces. Itsuki issued a command. Death, prove you deserve to be my Shikigami. The Death Hound immediately sank its teeth into the arm choking Ajaha. Itsuki rushed forward and cradled the nearly lifeless woman in his arms. Charles screamed in pain, damn it, why did you attack me, your master? A lotus seal appeared on the Death Hound's forehead. Itsuki gently stroked it. Good. He declared formally, I will return the pain Aja has suffered 100-fold. No, I'll repay it 1,000-fold. Charles, now fearful, stammered, wait, listen to me. I was only following Ryoji's orders. I had no choice. Yes, form a team. I'll lure Ryoji out for you. Itsuki replied, that's a good suggestion. He inwardly rejoiced at buying time. I've tricked him. Charles lunged a spear straight at his opponent. Die, brat. Itsuki dodged by leaning aside. But I prefer to kill Kinoshita Ryoji myself. He commanded Death make him feel Ajaha's pain. Charles, frightened to tears, begged, I slipped up, I'm sorry, give me another chance. The Death Hound bared its fangs and slowly advanced toward him. Charles tried to rouse it. Death, have you forgotten? I'm your master, I fed you so much. The Death Hound opened its jaws wide toward him. After it dealt with Charles, Itsuki asked in a low voice, you've been tailing me since I left the dungeon, haven't you? Itsuki turned to look back. How long were you planning to hide? Why not show yourself? There, someone was hiding carefully. Iberia stepped out sheepishly and asked, you noticed me? Itsuki's voice was as cold as ever. Are you an ally of that guy from earlier? He flinched at being misunderstood. No, I'm not an enemy. Please hear me out. Itsuki didn't bother. Fine, I don't have time to talk. Death, once you've finished eating, follow me. Seeing the Death Hound obey Itsuki so readily, Iberia clung to a hope. If he can command even such a mad dog, this person might save me. He followed outside, walking beside Itsuki and introducing himself. My name is Iberia, and you, that fight earlier was amazing, though you had a few close calls. Itsuki didn't respond. Iberia continued, you're the mysterious guy who defeated that Auga, right? He asked a favor, can you help me with something? I'll pay you if you want. I can pay with mana stones or weapons. But Itsuki ignored him and walked on, leaving Iberia surprised. What the hell? Wouldn't everyone be happy if I paid them properly? Did the old man trick me? His father once said, just like in a desert, a simple cup of water can be worth more than treasure. Rewards must be given with tact. Give a sword to the one who thirsts for revenge. Give medicine to the wounded. To them, that's a fitting reward. This principle woke Iberia up. I understand now. He followed behind, calling out, you walked here, right? You can't move quickly while carrying an injured person, and the nearest hospital is tens of kilometers away. If you keep dawdling like this, that woman will die. Iberia produced a roll of bandages. I also have a healing bandage. Seeing Itsuki stop, he felt halfway successful and added, I can save her. Itsuki turned back, urgently asking, really? He answered, I can't fully heal her, but I can save her life. Itsuki laid Ajaha on the ground for Iberia to bandage. He worried, is it okay to use it over her clothes? He explained. This isn't an ordinary bandage. It's a rare tool made from the ice strips of the Shadow Tribe and the hide of the Kodama. Itsuki didn't understand. What do you mean by tool? Iberia realized he'd used an obscure term. At your level, you're probably newly awakened. It's understandable you don't know. He explained, modern weapons are ineffective against spirit beasts, which is why you can't fight them with firearms. But armorsmiths can craft special tools against spirit beasts using parts from the beasts themselves. Tools are divided into 4 tiers depending on the smith's skill and materials: common, rare, exceptional, and unique. Common tools, much like ordinary weapons, except they can harm spirit beasts and awakened. Rare tools boost some stats for the wielder. Example, rare sea sword increases mana speed. Exceptional tools not only raise stats but also grant special abilities. Example, exceptional blood sword increases attack power. Special effect, life drain heats the blade and reduces the enemy's self-healing by 50%. Unique tools, the ultimate goal every armorsmith covets: massive stat boosts and powerful effects. There are currently only 102 unique tools. Example, unique holy sword increases attack and speed. Unique effect, stores an infinite amount of mana, allowing unlimited skill use. Armorsmiths themselves don't have much combat power and are few in number, but because they can forge tools, they are respected by all awakened. Itsuki asked curiously, so your father is an armorsmith? He replied proudly, not an ordinary one. Many smiths never produce a single unique tool in their lifetime. There are only 10 such items across the 5 continents, and 3 of them were made by my old man. That's why people call him the Armorsmith King of the Northern Continent. Seeing Itsuki turn his back, Iberia wondered, are you even listening? Hey, I put a lot into that explanation, don't ignore me. Itsuki was pulling out an item. This is the crossbow that Charles used earlier. He stepped forward to examine it. He wasn't surprised to hear his father's name. Any awakened would cling to him immediately. With this, I can reduce how often I use the true piercer sphere and lower the risk of exposing myself. Iberia assessed the item in Itsuki's hands. It's a rare tool, he said disappointedly. Too bad it has no bolts, he revealed, but ranged weapons like this can assimilate ordinary ammunition into tool-grade bolts, so you don't need to worry about bolts. Item info displayed, Hunter's crossbow, rare, speed +50. Watching it vanish from his hand, Itsuki was surprised. It disappeared. Iberia, seeing the skeptical look, explained, that's another function of the tool. Once it bonds with its owner, it is stored away and you can summon it whenever needed. Itsuki politely said, quite convenient, thanks for treating her. If you need any help, tell me. Once I'm done here, I have to find Kinoshita. Iberia chatted, when I heard that name just now, I thought I misheard. Daring to pick a fight with Kinoshita Ryuji in North District B, that's bold. Itsuki sighed and asked, what, you want me to give up? Iberia denied it. No, if it's Kinoshita Ryuji, we have a common goal. Itsuki wondered, you angered him too. He circled to another point, not exactly, but I want you to team up with me to enter the preliminaries of the National Salvation League tournament the day after tomorrow. Itsuki was surprised and thought, preliminaries? He mentioned that. I heard only the top 10 advance to the main tournament. I've been too busy these past few days to prepare for that. He asked suspiciously, how do the preliminaries relate to Kinoshita Ryuji? He confirmed. The preliminaries are held by continent, and for the Northern Continent, the venue is North District B. As the son of the regional administrator Kinoshita Ryuji, he's clearly aiming for the main tournament. In fact, his older brother is also a savior, so if he fails to make the top 10, it would be a humiliation for the Kinoshita family. That's why he's monopolizing all the dungeons in North District B to level up. Itsuki didn't understand. Why team up with someone like me? He explained simply, because you're strong. My instinct says if we team up, we'll definitely get through the preliminaries. Itsuki reminded him, you're younger than me, right? You'll have many chances in the future, so why must it be this year? He hesitated. Why? Iberia recounted, since I was a child, I watched my old man craft tools. Each finished piece was like a perfect work of art, and my admiration for him grew. So I've always dreamed that one day I'd become an awakened and fight spirit beasts with equipment made by my own father. Then a month ago, I finally awakened, excited. I asked my father to make a tool for me, but he refused, saying only saviors can use his tools. He continued, even so, I begged. Finally, he set a condition. If you pass this year's preliminaries, I'll give you a masterpiece. That's why I absolutely must win the preliminaries this year. Itsuki, curious, with such a great father, many should want to team with you. You don't need to team with a level 0 like me. Iberia replied, my father thought the same. That's why before I left he said, listen, pass the preliminaries on your own. If you rely on a powerful teammate, I won't give it to you. Itsuki admired, your father is strict. He helplessly added, from my information, most promising candidates have already been bribed by Kinoshita. The others are lone wolves who don't like teaming or already have teams, so there's no one left to ask. But 2 days ago I heard about someone who beat one of the 4 pillars and even broke a record. I searched and that's how I found you. Itsuki interrupted, all right, I don't care about forming a team, but first I want to take her to a hospital. Iberia understood. I'll go with you. From now on we're teammates. He babbled on about names. We should think of a team name. You're Itsuki and I'm Iberia. How about Ibaton? Sounds like a shop name. eBay is no good. Maybe Tenria. Itsuki carried Ageha in his arms, exasperated. God, this guy talks more than Rimu. He only then remembered, speaking of which, what about Riger and Seo? They've both become awakened, right? Are they entering the preliminaries? Behind them, Iberia kept enthusiastically talking. Since both our names have an I, how about double I? The person he remembered was currently training. Seo on the opposite side frowned and asked, are you sick? Rimu denied it. No, maybe someone's talking about me, probably Itsuki. Seo worried, how long has it been since that attack on Itsuki? I didn't think we'd be apart this long. I wonder if he's okay. Rimu teased, making her blush. You're such a weirdo. If you worry about Itsuki that much, why didn't you go see him after he defeated the spirit beast? Seo, too embarrassed, suddenly pounced on him. Rimu retorted, surprise attacks are dirty play. Seo didn't care about dirty or not. We're training combat, right? You were careless, weren't you? Someone approached, they greeted happily. Master, he sternly reminded them. The preliminaries of the national tournament start the day after tomorrow. There's no time to fool around. Seo rejoiced. Finally another awakened to spar with. I'm so tired of fighting Rimu. Her info displayed, Seo Hisaragi, human level 11 class, elementalist, water air rank 1, hidden stats, attack 110, speed 160, defense 125, mono 160, total 555. Rimu replied, I've never been to North District B. I heard it's a bustling city. I'm excited to see it in person. His info appeared, Horino Rimu, human level 10, class, elementalist, air, rank 2, hidden stats, attack 100, speed 100, defense 100, mono 183, total 483. Over with Ryuji, he was inspecting the bag of karma stones before him. Then casually asked, where's that hound? It's unlike him to be this late. Tanky worried, did something happen? Ryuji flew into a rage when he heard this. Again, those useless lackeys. He crushed a karma stone in his hand and gained experience. He awaited orders, should we send men to look for him? The reply, forget him. The preliminaries are the top priority. If we lose, the old man will lock me in the isolation room. By the way, what about the task we requested? Tanky reported. Out of 3,113 applicants on the northern continent, we've convinced 887. As requested, all of them are level 5 or higher. He praised, good, you truly are a reliable subordinate. Tanky looked at Ryuji absorbing the karma stone's power and said, this is the last mana stone. He was leveling up, lightning crackling around him. Ryuji confidently said, this is more than enough to crush the commoners. His info displayed, Kinoshita Ryuji, human level 12 class, elementalist, lightning air rank 2, hidden stats, attack 135, speed 168, defense 130, mono 170, total 603. On Itsuki's side, he had just stepped out and teleportation was performed. When he met Nento, Itsuki remorsefully said, I'm sorry, master, for putting Ageha in such danger. He replied, what could we have done? I can eliminate him if you want. He declined the offer, no, let me handle it. Nento, pleased that Itsuki was independent, said, very good, tell me the whole story later. Iberia beside them was happy, thinking, so the supreme commander of the northern continent is his master. No wonder he wasn't surprised when I mentioned my father. Nento is an enigmatic person. I should ask for his autograph later. They were now in the infirmary. Ageha had been treated and was resting on the bed. Itsuki announced, and that's why I've decided to enter the preliminaries of the national tournament of the Salvation League with Iberia, so I won't stop him. He inquired about her condition. I understand. How do you feel, Ageha? She glanced at the butterfly resting on her finger. Bitch deep healed me, so I'm recovered. This is thanks to Iberia treating me with a rare tool. Nento, surprised, turned and asked, you possess the Mokulin bandage tool made by Aiden, so you're his son, right? Iberia thought in surprise, he not only knows about the tool but also knows my father. I should behave properly as the eldest son of the armorsmith king. He proudly pointed at himself and introduced, "That's right, I'm Aiden's father." Itsuki reminded him, "You're saying it backwards." Iberia blushed with embarrassment and hurriedly corrected, "Sorry, Aiden is my father." Nento paid no mind to the awkward moment, cleared his throat and said, "Anyway, thank you for saving my daughter. After the preliminaries, let me take Itsuki to greet Aiden with you. You two should prepare for the tournament, right? You may leave. Ageha and I will watch tomorrow." Itsuki replied, "Yes." Iberia swore, "Rest assured. I'll make sure everyone sees that we can get through the preliminaries." Ageha could tell that her father truly liked Itsuki. When he was Kazunari and she was a child, her father always took her to meetings. He explained the reason: Itsuki has a strong self-destructive urge when facing spirit beasts due to psychological trauma from childhood. But that urge weakens when there are people he wants to protect by his side. That's why I placed you next to him. Ageha pondered this: become his close friend, become his weakness, and then become the person he wants to protect. The one Itsuki wants to protect. Before leaving, Nento warned, "By the way, regarding the spirit beast attack at the school, it's been determined not to be an accident but a planned operation." "What did you say?" "The number of traitors siding with the spirit beasts is increasing. Though varying in scale, there have also been attacks targeting commanders on other continents. As of now, the future of humanity looks dark." He was convinced Itsuki will surely destroy it and become a light of hope. The next day, in North District B, the preliminaries of the National Salvation League tournament. Itsuki entered the arena, looked at the crowded people around him, and was quite surprised. "There are more people than I thought," Iberia replied. "I heard that as soon as news that Nento would come to watch spread, people who hadn't planned to join suddenly changed their minds." The number of participants jumped from around 3,000 to nearly 5,000. Riji frowned upon hearing the news. "Nento, that old man, he introduces too many variables." Tanki reassured him, "Don't worry, they're just a motley crowd who decided at the last minute. They won't have time to form teams, so we still have a numerical advantage. Have those we've recruited wear a red armband on their right arm so we know they're on our side." By coincidence, Rimuru and Seiya were also present. Rimuru asked, "Are red armbands in fashion? Should I wear one too, since Nento is coming to observe?" Seiyo added, "Maybe Itsuki will too." Saoryu Fujiwara, the host of the preliminaries, stood up to announce, "Everyone will explain the rules before the preliminaries begin." He outlined the rules. The preliminaries venue is divided into two areas, the inner region and the outer region. In the first stage of the preliminaries, you'll start from the four main directions of the outer region. First, you'll compete based on the amount of time needed to enter the inner region. The moment you enter the inner region, your ranking will be recorded on your bracelet, and only the top 300 will advance to the second round. Rimuru looked in surprise at what was on his wrist. "Does the bracelet have that function?" Seiyo nervously thought. "It's brutal to eliminate thousands in the first round." Saoryu Fujiwara continued, "You're allowed to bring two tools, team up with anyone, and use whatever you like. The results are what matter. After round 1 ends, rankings will be announced and the rules for round 2 will be revealed." Iberia suddenly shouted, "Itsuki, look there." He and his cronies drew everyone's attention. It was Kinoshita Ryoji. He ordered, "Understand, anyone who runs in front of me blocks my path, kill them." Iberia whispered, "Those beside him are probably candidates he bribed. For now, just get into the inner region as fast as you can. Once Kinoshita enters the inner region and lets his guard down, we'll ambush him." He gasped, eyes wide in astonishment, when he saw Itsuki's next action. "You stepped up to them and warned, I heard everything." Two guys in the group spoke up. "Who are you? Be careful, this guy isn't wearing a red armband." Saoryu Fujiwara announced, "Then round 1 begins." The number of young people wanting to join the Salvation League is increasing, which is encouraging. But numbers mean nothing without quality. Height Nakira murmured beside him, "In our day there were far fewer candidates above level 15. He continued, "Quite few." His info displayed Height Nakira, Red Sky Starstone. Other details are hidden. Saoryu Fujiwara recalled, "The year you joined there were only 2 people, right?" He replied, "That's why I said it would be boring without newcomers like Kazunari Satsumi. Hopefully there are some." He said casually, "Don't be silly. A once-in-a-century genius doesn't just appear out of nowhere." Height Nakira turned to ask Nento, "I heard on the northern continent there's a student who, right after awakening, defeated an A-rank bone soldier and became your disciple. Is that true?" Saoryu Fujiwara was stunned. "Defeated a rank 8 right after awakening? Impossible." Yet Nento confirmed, "It truly is so." He asked with interest, "Is that person among them too?" Saoryu Fujiwara thought, "The second disciple acknowledged by Nento after Kazunari Satsumi, he must have extraordinary talent." He pondered, looking at the screen, and asked curiously, Who is it? Then he examined each person. Rimuru level 10, Golden Elementalist, second tier talent, ordinary, it's not him. Seo level 11 holds a first tier talent, but she's a water elementalist with a support orientation, so probably not. It must be this girl, Habin Hana, a wood elementalist, but she has an unusually high level of 16. Seeing Nento still motionless, Saoryu Fujiwara doubted, could it be? But Hana is the highest level candidate. Heitan Akira said in surprise, this time there's a level 0 candidate. He added, every year there are people who join out of curiosity but get crushed immediately and withdraw. Over by Ryuji they sneered, a level 0 candidate, really? Tanky nearby asked contemptuously, lost your way, kid. You drew his weapon and strapped it to your arm. Ryuji's smile gradually became strained. That's Charles's. Who the hell are you? Itsuki asked calmly, you're looking for me, aren't you? He realized this low-level bastard is the one who defeated Aoga. You must be kidding me. I get it, you're here on someone's orders to provoke me, right? Ryuji ordered his subordinates, drive him out. Tanky obeyed, leave it to us, we'll make him regret insulting you. They surrounded Itsuki in the center, intending to gang up on the weak. But you teleported away, I don't have time to talk to trash like you. You then landed in front of Heitan Akira, silently assessing 2 level 6s and 2 level 7s, no need to look to know the outcome. If you beg for your life now, you might survive. Iberia braced himself. I can take down 1, but no matter how strong Itsuki is, taking down 4 at once. He touched the box at his hip, meaning he had no choice but to use that thing. Honda stepped forward to you and sneered. I thought there'd be some tough opponents waiting, but it turns out it's just a level 0 piece of trash. Itsuki stepped forward gloomily and ordered him, step aside. At first the guy froze, he'd never been treated like that before. Then Honda burst out laughing, and the others joined in. Heitan Akira inwardly rejoiced, good, I like that attitude. He declared, if you're going to die, I'll save you. Honda reached toward his head, I'll smash your skull to see what's inside. A straight punch to the face knocked out a few of the guy's teeth. Itsuki repeated one last time, I said step aside. Heitan Akira was astonished, a foe higher level than him, and he was defeated in an instant. The thug's comrades were shocked. Honda is level 7, how did that new guy? The man beside him reassured. He condensed a fire orb in his hand. Don't panic, he just got careless. He activated a rank B skill, full power fire launch, and declared, I'll burn you to ashes. Seeing the oncoming blaze, Iberia was terrified. Too fast, I don't even have time to use my tool. Someone in their group worried, isn't that a bit much for a level 0? Tamu wasn't afraid. Preliminaries always see casualties. If you want to blame someone, blame yourself for acting tough at level 0. When the flame in his hand died down, one of them spoke up, hey, something's off. The others were stunned. In the blazing fire, his black ice shield shattered the flames into fragments. They were shocked. What is that? Iberia, amazed and delighted. No way, he blocked that wide-range fire attack. Incredible. Itsuki coldly warned them, stay away from me. System notice. Black ice shield defended against a rank B fire skill with black ice shield, increasing defense by 10%. Attack 310, speed 310, defense 341, mana 310, total 1240 plus 31. He thought to himself, defense increased by 33. Need to confirm whether Black Ice Shield's passive still activates when defending against the same skill from the same target multiple times. Tamu panicked seeing Itsuki unharmed. Is that his ice skill? There's no water elementalist here, how can he use an ice skill? He challenged the opponent, try that move again, this time I won't block it. He continued to form a fire orb, you insulting me, a real man never speaks twice. Itsuki replied calmly, yeah, I promise. He unleashed a stronger move, rank B skill, overheat fire barrage. This time I'll finish you with my strongest attack. A torrent of fire descended where he stood. The heat surged, and Itsuki realized this firepower was stronger than before but still a fire skill. Amid the raging flames, his figure vanished. The gang warned, you went too far. Tamu, confident in this firepower, it could even take down a level 8. He privately lamented he'd spent all his mana. This was the finishing blow, somewhat wasted on a level 0 opponent, but the act is over. Not long after his smugness, Tamu recoiled in terror. What the? You appeared before him, so if it's the same skill from the same person, Black Ice Shield's passive doesn't trigger anymore. Got it. Itsuki said leisurely, confirmed, time to finish this. Tamu fell back in terror onto the ground. He blocked my ultimate that easily? Impossible. Sama behind him was generating fire to counter. Yeah, that ice skill is strong, but I've found its weakness. He poured more firepower to counter Itsuki. This guy's rank B skill is continuous fire when attacked by those fire orbs. Itsuki realized trying to overwhelm by numbers activates Black Ice Shield. Where you stood, the firepower erupted violently into an explosion. Sama believed even if he has a powerful skill, a level 0's mana pool is limited. If we can drain his mana until he can't form that ice barrier anymore, we'll win. However, Itsuki's hand gripped his, snuffing out the flame. Sama broke out in a cold sweat, unbelieving. What? He closed the distance in an instant. You wrapped your body in the Black Ice Shield and warned, even after blocking so many fire orbs, the passive only activates once. Every muscle on the guy tensed. If your advantage is speed, ours is strength. Itsuki sneered and asked, are you even using strength? First he gave Sama an uppercut to the throat. You look like you're suffering, so I'll make it easier for you. As the guy collapsed, Itsuki calculated, an increase of 33 defense, not 234. So it's calculated based on defense value before enhancement. System update. Black Ice Shield defended against a rank B fire skill with Black Ice Shield, increasing defense by 10%. Defense 310 plus 62 from Black Ice Shield. Itsuki glanced at the two elementalists left. Rush in, I'll use you to boost the passive of Thunder Ward 3. They assumed the other two were down without question. This guy's faking his stats. Let's get out of here. You taunted, you think I'll let you go. The two of them charged at once. Damn it, then I'll take you down. This isn't fire attribute, don't think that trick will work. They used a rank C skill, Silver Serpent, sending Roiling Lightning. System update. Absorbed a rank C lightning element skill with Thunder Ward 3, increasing speed by 5%. Attack 310, speed 341, defense 372, mana 310, total 1333. Heighten Akira was astonished. He's defeating awakening candidates higher level than himself as if it's a joke. He pondered, who is he? Itsuki thought, so Thunder Ward 3's passive is like Black Ice Shields. It doesn't stack further for skills from the same target. Iberia looked at the fallen and said dazedly, they're all down. He admired, I thought this would be a tough fight, didn't expect Itsuki to be this strong. What ability are you using? Tamu behind doubted, what the hell are you? You can't be level 0. Iberia sneered coldly, you ask who are we? Itsuki surprised, we. He formally introduced, we are Duo. Remember that name, because one day we'll be the strongest pair on the northern continent. You dragged Iberia by the collar, forget that, go after Kinoshita. He shouted triumphantly, we're in the groove now. Tama was speechless at that name, Duo ridiculous. Ryuji thought, quite noisy, that level 0 must have been beaten down. But that crossbow is definitely Charles's, I'll have to investigate it later. No one on the northern continent could catch Charles except a savior. He was brooding, veins bulging on his face, when he saw someone dart past. Kana just passed, Ryuji smugly thought, past another one. Unlike those meatheads, I'm switching to speed. While he was elated, his whole body was struck by lightning. Kan fell to the ground, struggling to look up. Attacking us at top speed, what the hell? Ryuji landed just above his head. He arrogantly announced, that's what happens when you run in front of me. Ryuji turned to the people behind him and reminded them, stay alert. I need to conserve my stamina for round 2. Don't waste my time with trash like this. Nento, observing the situation, asked, is that the son of the North B administrator Kinoshita Ryuji? Saoryu Fujiwara judged. So arrogant, I wonder how he was raised. He was at a loss, but he didn't break any rules, so we can't do anything. Ryuji was recovering his strength. Thanks to them handling the trouble, my stamina is almost back. No one in the crowd behind dared to step forward. Ryuji looked at the building ahead, confident. With this, I can get through round 2 easily. So this is the inner area, too easy. Behind him, lightning thundered down. Someone called out, Kinoshita. He startled and glanced back unexpectedly. A variable appeared at a critical moment. Ryuji turned to the crowd behind and asked, who dares call my name directly? They panicked. Not me, don't look at me like that, I didn't do anything. Someone in the back recognized him. It's him, that new level 0 kid. They formed 2 lines and made way for him to step forward. Ryuji had a bad feeling. Level 0, don't tell me. Seeing him approach, he had his answer. It really is him. Ryuji was annoyed at his subordinates' competence. Seriously, he beat them all? No way, a level 6 and a level 7 and they couldn't handle him. He assumed, I see, he must have bribed them. Ryuji said, how long have you been following me? Trash level 0. Itsuki got straight to the point, you'll stay here until we're done. Iberia silently felt lucky. Basically, Itsuki brought me here and every opponent we faced was defeated instantly. Without Itsuki, I'd have been eliminated halfway through. He turned away, not bothering to look at him. I'm busy, no time to tangle with you, but I've prepared a few opponents for you. He ordered his subordinates, deal with him. They sneered, what, just because of a brat level 0? Calling Kinishida's name directly? Wake up, we'll teach you some manners. Don't worry, I'll show those two what hell is like. Iberia miscounted, 80, 78, 79. They have over 100 people. What should we do? Itsuki grabbed him by the nape and ordered, hold your head. With that, he instantly teleported away from the spot. Ryuji's collar was also yanked back by Itsuki. The man was thrown outside, while Iberia was hurled inward. Ryuji was caught by his subordinates, while he was left utterly astonished. You faced the man, it seems you didn't understand my words. Let me say it again, until we're finished, you are not allowed to go anywhere. Seo and Rimuru wearily entered the inner area. A notification displayed, you're ranked 4th and he's ranked 5th. Rimuru sat down to rest. Those red-banded restrainers joined in too. They still haven't learned and keep trying to block us. Seo added, if we hadn't stuck together, we probably would have been defeated before reaching here. He was disappointed, but I thought we were the fastest. Didn't expect someone faster than us. Here, Gakuge ranked 3rd, dissatisfied. He couldn't believe he was only 3rd. Shin Akagami, ranked 2nd, teased the opponent. Are you hungry? You just ate. She turned her gaze to the first-place finisher. Above all, look at the winner, Kana Hanyu. She's level 16. Seo thought Itsuki must be acting alone, and if he's hindered like we were. Rimuru gasped in shock. Look, someone's flying this way. She frowned and looked over. He fell with a thud to the ground. System notice, Iberia has reached inner area rank 6. At that moment, Iberia anxiously called out, Itsuki. Rimuru froze. Did that person just say Itsuki? Seo confirmed. Yes, I heard it too. They looked into the distance and saw his proud back facing hundreds of people. Rimuru thought, that back is definitely Itsuki's. In the heavy rain, he repeated, when we're done, I won't let you go anywhere. Saoryu Fujiwara wondered, that rookie is one step from the inner area. Why is he clinging to Kinoshita Ryuji? Ageha sighed sadly as he watched the scene. He suggested to heighten Akira, help him if he gets into trouble. He thought to himself, Itsuki just unleashed incredible speed. I wonder if I could do that at his age. Over there, Ryuji said gloomily, you keep getting in my way time and again. Prepare yourself. What's about to start won't just be a fight, but a complete humiliation for you. In other words, this is a 100 versus 1 gang up. Itsuki didn't care about rankings. Getting past preliminaries could wait. Avenging Ageha was his top priority now. Ryuji shouted orders, kill him for me. Everyone, activate your abilities. They surged toward him with momentum, while Itsuki stood calmly, the rain and wind billowing his coat. A fire class guy lunged. I won't let anyone take the prize. I'll take your head. Skill rank C, flame fist. Seeing Itsuki block his strike with one hand, he was astonished. What? You countered, punching straight into the opponent's face. The fire class man collapsed with a thud, teeth and lip a bloody mess. The charging group halted. He knocked him out with one punch. Someone reassured them. Don't panic, we outnumber them. We can't lose to a common level 0. They regained their momentum. Right, everyone rush in. Itsuki said nonchalantly, all the better. Black Ice Shield defended against a rank B fire skill with Black Ice Shield, increasing defense by 10%. He generated area damage with Lotus Blaze. Let's end this show quickly. Activate Lotus Blaze. Waves of fire radiated, the heat unnaturally intense, coiling around Itsuki's arm. A blast shot toward the crowd, blowing them backward in explosions. Rimuru, long separated from him, was astonished. That's Itsuki's skill. Seo and Iberia were speechless. Gakuge noticed the commotion there. What the hell was that explosion? Shin stroked the cat in her hand, unfazed. An explosion of this scale is just a mosquito to me. Kana hugged her sword alone in a corner, seeming lost in thought. Saoryu Fujiwara looked at the shock there and exclaimed in horror. That explosion was cast by a level 0 boy. Firepower aside, how can he use a skill outside his profession? Heighten Akira fell silent before that shocking sight. Ageha thought, I didn't expect Itsuki to possess an area skill. That's why he was so confident in the grassland region. How many trump cards is he hiding? Itsuki calculated 30% firepower should be enough. His opponents are human, so he must hold back to avoid killing them. Ryuji stared at the devastation before him. Our side is dead, the enemy's intact. He coldly settled the score with the man. Next is you. Ryuji staggered. We had over 100 people and you took them all out in an instant. What are you? Why are you obsessed with me like this? Itsuki found it ridiculous. Obsessed? You were the one who targeted me first and left my friend badly injured. Today I'll make you feel the pain she suffered. The man unleashed his power. I am the son of the prestigious Kinoshita family from North B. All the nearby sub-dungeons belong to me. I don't need to struggle against calamity spirit beasts. By using the fate stones provided by my family, I can easily reach levels ordinary people never dare dream of. Our foundation is different. I'll kill you. I will definitely win. Skill rank B, Thunder Artillery of purple hue activated. System notice detected skill rank B, Thunder Artillery of purple hue. Activating super simulation analysis progress, 1%. He charged straight at Ryuji, ramming into him. Ryuji clutched his abdomen, trembling with pain, thinking, he dodged. That speed, is he really level 0? This match is unwinnable. The man called for help. What are you doing? Come help me. Tanky understood clearly. It was illegal, but he no longer cared about saving face. He was confident Tanky is an Awaken a level 35. Prepare to go to hell. Nento's side was ready. Heighten Akira excitedly cracked his knuckles to warm up. Understood. He sensed someone approaching from behind. Anti-magic, his mana sense was reacting. Someone was closing in at high speed. System notice, analysis progress, 19%. Of course Itsuki could see that, and there was more than one. A not insignificant shock came from ahead. Itsuki calmly glanced at the situation over there. He quickly pinned Tanky beneath him. Reminder. Keep going. Itsuki resumed what he'd been doing, a murderous aura enveloping him. He glanced at Ryuji at his feet. Seems your underling couldn't make it. The man, terrified, blurted out his identity. Wait, my father is the administrator of North District B, and he's a member of the Salvation Alliance. Do you know what happens if you dare touch me? He didn't care. Whoever your father is, one punch and Ryuji's out cold. Itsuki felt relieved. With that, Ageha had been avenged. She knew everything he did today was for her, and her face flushed with excitement. Saori Fujiwara was astonished. That guy actually beat Kinoshita Ryuji. Why is he looking this way? Itsuki calculated silently. If I stop analysis at 99% now, I can recover stamina when entering round 2 with simulation at 99%. System notice, analysis stop. A call came from behind him from Seo. Itsuki. He was surprised to hear that voice. Itsuki turned and saw Seo. She had been standing there waiting for him for some time. Get inside quickly. You'll be disqualified. Seo's voice was exceptionally gentle. He stepped inside and greeted her. Long time no see. System notice, Itsuki has entered the rank 7 inner area. Iberia and Rimuru rushed forward and hugged him. Itsuki, I missed you. You bastard, glad you're okay. The two of them glanced at each other, sparks flying. Rimuru, displeased, asked. Who are you? Why are you crying over Itsuki? He replied nonchalantly. Me. He proudly introduced himself. I'm Itsuki's teammate, Iberia. Rimuru angrily snapped at Itsuki. I never heard you were teaming up with someone else, traitor. Seo was surprised. It's rare for Itsuki to make friends, Iberia retorted. Itsuki, a traitor, are you two a thing? What's your team name? He answered. Team name, who cares about that? We're not kids. Don't you? Iberia boasted. Of course. He coaxed. Tell me. Itsuki had to stop them. Stop before this gets worse. But it was too late, Iberia revealed proudly. We're Team E, we really racked our brains for that name. That name made Rimuru burst into laughter. Team E, how bland. He snapped. What's there to laugh at? It's a good name, Saori Fujiwara announced. The number of people entering the inner area has reached 500. Those who haven't arrived will be eliminated. Round 2 will begin soon. In round 2, you'll each fight a spirit beast alone in the testing area for 1 hour. Rimuru was surprised. Alone? Iberia became serious. Finally, round 2 has come. Heighten Akira had been waiting for this moment. It's finally here, I've been waiting. He really looked forward to it. Let's see what you've got that's special. They moved to the venue for round 2. The area around the arena was packed. Rimuru curiously asked. Round 2 takes place here, right? Iberia couldn't contain his trembling. It's so dark and scary in here. Rimuru teased. It's been a long time, but you're really still at level 0. Is your level fixed? Itsuki admitted it. He wondered. So your stats don't increase either, right? How do you get stronger? Iberia continued. I'm curious how Itsuki got so strong while he's still level 0. Itsuki replied. About that, my master told me not to tell anyone. Seo intervened. We were taught that the exterminator's skills are classified at the national security level. Seo turned to Itsuki. Itsuki, you don't need to pay them any mind. Saori Fujiwara appeared and asked. Is everyone ready? Iberia was astonished to see him step forward. The crowd murmured as they looked up at them. That's Saori Fujiwara. He organizes the national tournament every year. Beside him stood Heighten Akira, a veteran of the River Ice War with the strongest physique, and that masked person, is that the legendary Nento? A gathering of legends. He spoke. Now I will explain the rules for round 2. Listen carefully. Many calamity beasts will appear in the trial area. Defeat points are based on difficulty. Notice displayed: defeat beast, difficult 1000 defeat points. Defeat points by difficulty. Beginner 100. Normal 500. Difficult 1000. Nightmare 5000. Saori Fujiwara continued to explain the rules. There is a 1-minute rest after defeating a beast. Afterwards, you'll be forcibly moved to the next difficulty. Remaining rest time 56 seconds. Gakuge confidently said, "I'll go straight to nightmare difficulty." Information displayed about him: Gakuge, a human level 13 profession, Earth Elementalist, 2nd rank, hidden stats, hidden. Itsuki suddenly blurted out, "I have a question." Others whispered and speculated. This guy's level 0, how did he pass round 1? Must have been carried. Did he realize round 2 is solo and start to chicken out? Definitely. Saori Fujiwara permitted. "What's the matter?" asked freely. He didn't beat around the bush. Is nightmare difficulty the highest level? Height Akira laughed at that, while the other man stood with his mouth agape. The others sneered immediately. What bragging? A level 0 has no chance against a nightmare tier beast. I think he couldn't even beat a beginner, let alone a nightmare. Gaku joined in. He's probably just trash who talks big, Saori announced seriously. In theory, the difficulty of calamity beasts is limitless. You'll understand once you actually try to defeat a nightmare tier beast. Itsuki replied. No limit. Rimuru reminded him. Thinking about that is pointless. Nightmare tier starts at least at level 10. Beating a difficult tier is already lucky for us. Saori continued. Points accumulated in the qualifiers can be added to the official national tournament. In other words, whether you can join the Salvation Alliance later depends greatly on your performance today. Rimuru was delighted. Points earned here count toward the main tournament too. Itsuki made a quiet decision. I have to use that. Kazunari Satsumi's record is 115,000 points. I must take this chance to surpass him. A reminder announcement rang out. Everyone enter the trial area. The second qualifier begins. He stepped inside and felt, so this is the trial area. It's not much different from a regular dungeon. In the darkness, countless glowing red eyes stared at Itsuki. He stepped forward. System reminder: beginner beast, calamity dog level 1, 10 creatures defeat points, 100. Itsuki was quietly glad. Finally, I get to fight beasts. System notice: activated black ice banner. He intended to finish quickly. I can't raise my stats with these guys, so I'll end it fast. Itsuki's image was shown on the big screen. Saori asked Height Akira with interest. You're watching him again? He replied. I also want to see that girl Kana Hanyu fight. Height Akira. This guy is more interesting. His eyes didn't leave the screen. Here it comes. He was curious. Is there really something surprising? Inside, Itsuki single-handedly slaughtered the pack of calamity dogs. System display: duration 1 second, points earned 100. Saori was stunned. 1 second, it usually takes several minutes. He said happily. Told you so, right? Height Akira. This guy is more interesting. I didn't think in level 8 Fire Dragon would be a threat. Nento stepped forward to ask about the other candidates. He apologetically said, Sorry, we were too focused. I'll switch to multi-screen mode. That way we can observe the top 10 candidates simultaneously. Aja saw Nento's intention. Dad, he's trying to divert attention from Itsuki, isn't he? Saori glanced over. It seems most of the other candidates are still fighting at the beginner level. Seo used water-based telekinesis to attack the beasts. Gakuge fought up close, swinging his mace to kill them one by one. Kana used wood-based ability to strangle the beasts to death. Saori compared. Kana Hanyu is the only one keeping up with Itsuki. Aja exclaimed anxiously. Oh no, Itsuki's about to. He's being scorched by the fire dragon's flames. Saori moved to step in. He used up his stamina fighting the calamity dogs and has no energy left to dodge. He'll be seriously injured if he directly takes that fire. Call the medical team. Height Akira stopped them. Wait, observe a bit longer. He was convinced. With his previous speed, dodging an attack like this will be a piece of cake. System notice: activated black ice banner. His entire body was enveloped by the black ice banner, without a single wound. One slash bisected the fire dragon's body. As it fell, the system updated. Duration 5 seconds, points earned 500. Saori was shocked. No damage at all. That ice armor covered his entire body. He could have killed it instantly. But why did he bother taking the hit like that? System reminder: Black Ice Banner resisted a C-rank fire skill with Black Ice Banner, increasing defense by 10%. Itsuki thought to himself, I must use every opportunity to raise my stats. He checked his stats, his defense was now 434. His information refreshed: Itsuki, human, undefined level profession, exterminator talent, nirvana, special rank skills. Super simulation Z rank. Thunder restraint 3 level 1. Black ice banner level 2. Lotus rage level 2. Pure step sphere level 2. Mana sense level 1. Soul devour level 1 stats. Attack 310. Speed 341, increased 30% by thunder restraint 3. Defense 434, increased 40% by black ice banner. Mana 310. Total 1395. The screen displayed. Remaining rest time 58 seconds. Skip rest. He pressed yes, silently hopping. Let me test my defense against the next calamity beast. Height Nakira knew. At this difficulty they test candidates' speed and combat senses. Saoryu confirmed. That's right. When a thunder toth attacks, it conducts electricity through its horn, unleashing a two-part strike combining physical and lightning damage. If he is hit by that attack, his body will be pierced due to low defense and he'll be paralyzed and unable to move due to low lightning resistance. To defeat a thunder toth, he must use his speed to dodge and strike when it is exhausted. Seeing Itsuki's next action, he gasped in astonishment. Wait, what is he planning to do? Itsuki was now touching the Thunder Toth's horn. He tapped it lightly, testing. This horn is perfect for trying out his defense. Lightning crackled around the horn. Veins stood out on the Thunder Toth's face as it exhaled smoke. It used its horn to fling Itsuki backward, sending his whole body soaring into the air. Ajaha anxiously shouted his name. Itsuki. Height Nakira couldn't predict his moves. This boy, everything about him is hard to read, and each time he produces results far beyond imagination. The place where he hovered suddenly exploded. System Notice resisted a C-rank lightning skill with Thunder Restrain 3, increasing speed by 5%. He realized the test was over. Attacks from beasts of level 10 or lower apparently couldn't harm him. Itsuki was no longer interested in toying with it. Time to finish this. He activated Thunder Restrain 3, gaining 50% speed, and lunged at the Thunder Toth. It arrogantly lifted its head, ready to meet the attack. Itsuki dove down from above like a projectile. One hand wrapped in black ice banner stabbed straight into the Thunder Toth's head. System report duration 7 seconds. Points earned 1000. Height Nakira smiled and commented. So far his total time hasn't even reached 15 seconds. He's not only faster than I was in my youth, it feels like he hasn't even used his full power. Saoryu worried aloud. But next is those swift hand movements and razor claws that shred foes in an instant. A giant maw that spews iron chains to devour everything. And a massive body covered in armor-like plating. It possessed all those traits, the strongest, most ferocious calamity beast in the qualifiers, the ultimate target for every candidate. Itsuki was facing a nightmare tier beast. Infernal Colossus level 15 defeat points, 5000. Itsuki activated Pure Step Sphere. The sphere pierced through its head. System update defeated Infernal Colossus level 15. Pure Step Sphere's flight speed increased by 200%. Viewers who saw this were stunned. He read the info. Pure Step Sphere flight speed, 9 ms total increase, 900%. Itsuki was intrigued. On to the next one. Saoryu had to change his view of the youth. Even a nightmare tier Infernal Colossus, he killed it in seconds. System display duration 3 seconds. Points earned 5000. Kataseo's position. The beast opened its mouth and unleashed a stream of psychic energy. Seo activated a C-rank skill, Water Bullet. She calculated, if I kill the other two, I'll get through normal. System update beginner 1 completion 80%. Gakuge confidently thought, I skipped the rest, I'll be the first to reach normal for sure. On the display, normal completion, 0%. She estimated, I'll recover the mana I've used before proceeding. Until normal reaches 100% completion. An announcement rang out, Nightmare Tier conquered, duration 21 seconds, rank 1. Seo joyfully shouted. That must be Itsuki. Gaku was astonished. Someone faster than me, is it Kana? The one mentioned, Kana, fell silent upon hearing the result. Itsuki had finished handling that beast. Shall we move to the next floor? Even now Saoryu Fujiwara couldn't believe it. He killed the Infernal Colossus in the blink of an eye, pierced its armor. What is that dark sphere? Height Nakira ordered. Raise the difficulty, let's see how far that brat can go. System reminder, Nightmare Stage 2, Infernal Colossus level 15, 2 of them. Defeat points, 10,000. He looked at the surrounding beasts in disappointment. I was wondering what they'd do, but they only increased the numbers. The ferocious beast roared, each sound wave reverberating with force. Itsuki calculated, while it's roaring, I'll take one out first. System reminder, activated Pierce Step Sphere. The sphere pierced through one head, accompanied by the notice, defeated Infernal Colossus level 15. Pierce Step Sphere flight speed increased 200%. Pierce Step Sphere flight speed, 11 ms flight speed increase value, 1100%. Saori Fujiwara was puzzled. In one strike, what is that sphere? Is there no limit to its use? Nakira assessed. It's certainly powerful, but that skill has a critical weakness. He didn't fully understand. A weakness. Currently, Itsuki was facing the last beast. He frowned, comparing this speed, it's faster than any beast I've faced. Outside, Nakira offered a rational explanation. Because of their massive bodies, people often mistake them for being very slow. But Saori Fujiwara was not convinced. What are you trying to say? Inside, Itsuki was condensing the sphere. System reminder, activated Pierce Step Sphere. The sphere was indeed negligible compared to the beast's colossal size. Nakira continued. As a racial trait, they don't possess mana, but in exchange, their other stats are greatly enhanced. Despite that gigantic body, they actually belong to the speed category. Just as you predicted, it dodged the Pierce Step Sphere. Beast info displayed, Infernal Colossus 1008, Colossus race, level 15. Second tier talent, cannot use magic, but all stats increased by 25%. Skills, none. Stats. Attack 320. Speed 300. Defense 320. Mana 0. Total 940. Only then did Itsuki realize the situation had become dangerous. It dodged, Nakira admitted. That dark sphere does deal a huge amount of damage, but its flight speed isn't that fast. He exploited its habit of roaring before attacking to strike first. That brat, his combat intuition is really good. But if he can't increase the flight speed of that black sphere, he probably won't get past this stage. A single punch from the beast sent Itsuki flying far away. He was slammed into the rocky cliff behind him, causing a shockwave. Thick dust billowed up and the cliff face caved in. Itsuki tried to drag his aching body. It can dodge at mid-range. Saori outside guessed. Knowing it won't hit, yet still using it, means he's hiding another trump card. He thought to himself, could it really be so? They saw an odd expression on Itsuki's face. Why was he smiling? Because he now had a solution. Quickly, if so, I'll close the distance. Immediately, Itsuki activated Thunder Restrain 3. He was no longer where he had been, but was streaking toward the beast. It aggressively raised its massive fist, preparing to smash down. One blow sent a shockwave across the area, cracking the ground dozens of meters away. Ageha covered her mouth in horror. She was genuinely worried for him. Saori hurriedly grabbed his phone. This attack is completely different from the Thunder Toths. If it lands directly, even he won't come out unscathed. Call the medical team immediately. This time Nento blocked him. Wait, Nakira also realized. Indeed, the power of that punch is terrifying, but it's meaningless if it doesn't land. When the beast's fist rose, thick smoke obscured their view. Finally, when the smoke cleared, it bent down in alarm to look at the deep hole in the ground and saw no one. Itsuki's voice came from behind. Over here. It instinctively snapped its head back to look. A Pierce Step Sphere had shot straight through the beast's head. Itsuki himself had ambushed from behind to deliver the blow. Its colossal body crashed down to the ground. System notice, defeated Infernal Colossus level 15. Pierce Step Sphere flight speed increased 200%. Pierce Step Sphere flight speed, 13 ms flight speed increase value, 1300%. Duration 12 seconds. Points received, 10,000. Saori teased Ageha. It's rare to see you so worked up. She bashfully looked away. I'm just praying for everyone's safety. Listen, if a young person bearing humanity's future were to die, it would be a huge loss for us. His family would be devastated. I only want everyone to be safe, that's all. I don't at all mean that Itsuki looks cool defeating those infernal colossi or anything. Because Itsuki would react the same way, don't misunderstand. It's not like that. Saori reminded her. Ageha, you're more talkative than when we last met. Nento was left speechless hearing his daughter's remark. Saori turned to ask Nakira. By the way, how did you know Itsuki could dodge that attack? Nakira replied. That brat, his speed isn't that different from an infernal colossus. But when electricity runs through his body, his speed increases significantly. When that happens, the infernal colossi can't hit him. He mused. He managed to defeat two, but there were some quite dangerous moments. With his current points, he's sure to take first place. If it were me, I'd stop here. But Itsuki had a goal. If I want to surpass Kazunari Satsumi, the strongest of humanity, I must keep attacking. I can't rest for even a second. System update on the beasts attacking Itsuki. Nightmare Stage 3, Infernal Colossus level 15, 3 of them. Defeat points, 15,000. As usual, he activated Pure Step Sphere. One was beheaded. Itsuki counted silently. One down, Hinekira praised. He chose to continue again, truly the one I bet on. Saori Fujiwara suddenly remembered. Now that you mention it, he went straight to Stage 3. He added, so did you. He compared. Even for you, the one with the strongest body, Stage 3 was the limit. I don't know how Itsuki will handle it. Inside, Itsuki was facing the ferocious beast. Its fist reached out to grab him, but Itsuki shot away. He was currently teleporting to its crown. I'll boost speed with Thunder, Restrain 3, and close the distance as I jump off behind it. When the Pure Step Sphere was launched, Itsuki counted. That's the second one. System update defeated Infernal Colossus level 15. Pure Step Sphere flight speed increased 200%. Pure Step Sphere flight speed, 17 ms flight speed increase value, 1700%. Itsuki consider how to deal with the next beast. The third one is, he was now inside its mouth. Its razor teeth were about to clamp down. The beast's jaws clamped shut with no gap, but its head had instantly flown off. Inside, Itsuki calculated. Let's see, I'll gut you. Activate Lotus Fury at full power. The creature's mouth began to glow with fire. Flames burst outward from within, and its body exploded into fragments. System notice defeated Infernal Colossus level 15 with Lotus Fury. Overall skill range increased by 1%, now at 1101%. Duration 13 seconds. Points received 15,000. Saori Fujiwara couldn't believe his eyes. That is the skill that blew away many candidates in Stage 1. Itsuki thought to himself as he saw the notice. Mana capacity over 310. My mana is completely depleted, but as long as these calamity beasts keep appearing, the passive of Mana Resonance will replenish my mana. System display Mana Resonance level 1 passive effect. When sensing one enemy unit, recover 10% mana. Facing Itsuki were high-level beasts. Nightmare Stage 4, Infernal Colossus level 15, 4 of them. Defeat points, 20,000 current mana, 124 310 sensing 4 enemy units, recover 40% mana. Saori Fujiwara commented. Stage 4 has begun. If he clears this, he'll surpass his past self. Hinekira admitted. That's right, only Kazunari has cleared Stage 4 so far, no one else has. I'm curious how far this brat can go. Inside the qualifying arena, he was tumbling to dodge the beast's attacks. Each time the Pure Step Sphere's flight speed increased, Itsuki noticed a pattern. The hit rate also rose. At this rate, if I push the speed a bit more, I can hit them without closing in. My mana has limits. I can't afford to waste a single Pure Step Sphere. These beasts were linked together by iron chains. He frowned when he discovered this. Chains. The other beast tilted its head and pulled the chain, meaning the Pure Step Sphere thrown at the other one's head had missed. Its hand reached out and grabbed Itsuki. When caught, he thought, no, I can't find any foothold in this position. The beast's hand tightened, aiming to crush Itsuki to death. The bones inside him were compressed. The pain made him cough up blood as his joints cracked. Having finished, it hurled Itsuki far away. He was covered in blood, collapsing to the ground. Saori Fujiwara worried. Akira, go help him now. He was astonished, incredulous. Only this far. Akira recalled his own appearance back then, just like me before. The moment you move in, I'll go save him. Nento again intervened. Wait, he was utterly confident. Itsuki hasn't given up yet. Saori Fujiwara protested. Nento, this is not the time to talk about whether he's given up or not. Ajaha chimed in. Exactly, if we don't rescue him, Itsuki will die. Hinekira added. He's in a desperate situation. Nento stood calmly amid everyone's criticism. But I know he still has an ace up his sleeve. Saori Fujiwara astonished. An ace up his sleeve, how do you know? He emphasized. That's not the look of someone who has accepted their fate. Itsuki doesn't give up easily. To kill it, I did everything I could to train myself. System display, super simulation activated, continuing analysis. He recalled that in the battle with Kinoshita Ryuji, super simulation had activated that man's skill, but he decided to cancel it at the last moment. Analysis progress, 99%. The analysis was cancelled to prepare for situations like this. When progress reached 100%, the system reminded, analysis complete for a B rank skill, Thunder Artillery Crimson. Acquired Thunder Art Level 2. Ijaha cried out joyfully. Look, that Azure Lotus. Saori Fujiwara, seeing this for the first time, couldn't help but be curious. That's one of his skills too, but how does that Azure Lotus help in this situation? Akira glanced at her suspiciously. Ajaha is very excited. Does she know something? Notification updated for Itsuki. Thunder Art Level 2 active effect. Can absorb lightning type attacks of B rank or lower into the body. When releasing absorbed lightning energy, self-speed increases by 100%. Absorption capacity 0.5. Passive effect. Each time a B rank lightning attack is absorbed, self-speed increases by 10%. Currently adds 15%. His hand was covered in black armor. He clenched his fist and began absorbing power. System notice acquired Thunder Art Level 2, each stat plus 20. Removed all negative effects and fully healed wounds. The beast punch was blocked by that lotus. Itsuki had no time to toy with it. Enough warm-up, from now on I'll go all out. His stats refreshed. Attack 330 plus 20. Speed 330 plus 20. Defense 330 plus 20. Mana 330 plus 20. Total 1320 plus 80. Saori Fujiwara was stunned. He just got beaten to death but recovered completely in seconds. That recovery power surpasses even a healing master. After that crazy AoE move, just how many overpowered skills does he have? When the Pierce Step Sphere flew over its head, the system reminded, defeated Infernal Colossus level 15. Pierce Step Sphere flight speed increased 200%. When the next one was slain, the same notification repeated. System display successfully cleared Nightmare Stage 4. Duration 31 seconds. Defeat points 20,000. Watching their corpses fall behind Itsuki, he felt confident in his current strength. No matter how many Infernal Colossi appear, I'll still win. Itsuki charged into the Colossus sweep. System notice defeated Infernal Colossus level 15. Pierce Step Sphere flight speed increased 200%. The next Pierce Step Sphere flew over the Colossus. Pierce Step Sphere flight speed, 27 ms increase value, 2700%. The next one was pierced through the chest, successfully cleared Nightmare Stage 5. Duration 57 seconds. Defeat points 25,000. The following one was pierced from below upward, successfully cleared Nightmare Stage 6. Duration 1 minute 34 seconds. Defeat points 30,000. The scene was enough to scare those watching on screen. Seeing the pile of colossi stacked high, someone couldn't help exclaiming, "This place is ruined." I'm starting to wonder which is the real monster, Itsuki or the Infernal Colossi. Itsuki noticed, where's the next stage? Hey, aren't more Infernal Colossi supposed to appear? Saori Fujiwara still hadn't recovered. Unbelievable, I can't believe my eyes at what's happening. He pressed the red control button at his side, then spoke into the mic to announce, "Itsuki, it's over. You've defeated all the Infernal Colossi we had prepared." Staring at the pile of corpses heaped into a small mound, Saori Fujiwara repeated, "You've defeated all the Infernal Colossi we prepared." Itsuki couldn't believe it. Did I really clear them all? Isn't there supposed to be no limit to the difficulty? He stepped over the colossi corpses as he went. I don't remember how many I killed or how many points I earned. Since I reached the cap, the gap with Kazunari Satsumi might not be that large. Besides, I achieved another goal by increasing the Pierce Sphere's flight speed. System notice, you defeated 11 Infernal Colossi level 15. Pierce Sphere flight speed increased 1100%. Pierce Sphere flight speed, 38 ms increase value, 3800%. Itsuki compared, 38 ms is faster than an ordinary car. Suddenly strange currents of energy appeared behind him. Itsuki quickly glanced back on high alert. Seeing no danger, he exhaled in relief. I thought there was another one. Right, I totally forgot. Because I can't level up, the experience from the beasts killed here will turn into karma stones. Behind him lay a giant karma stone the size of a person. Saori Fujiwara was startled. That's a karma stone? Why did it appear in the testing area? If it's blue, it contains at least 10,000 experience points. Nento revealed, Itsuki can't absorb experience, so any experience drops here will become karma stones like that. Akira realized, I thought the fixed level was because he was hiding his stats, but it turns out he really can't level up. Saori Fujiwara understood. If Itsuki teams up with someone and enters a dungeon, that teammate could absorb all the experience. Thank goodness the kid is human. If he were a beast, I don't dare imagine it. He picked up the karma stone. It shrank into a palm-sized shape. Itsuki approached the gate. I've finished everything I needed to. Let's get out of here. The heavy gate slowly opened. Saori Fujiwara cried out joyfully, he's out. When Itsuki stepped out, the system displayed, Itsuki has completed preliminary round 2. Points earned 106,600. Duration 3 minutes 55 seconds. Rank 1. He walked up to him and offered, Itsuki, I've watched your performance. You truly have potential. Want to join me? I'll make sure to recommend an advisor fit for you. Itsuki declined without hesitation. I appreciate the offer, but I already have a master, so I don't need one. Saoryu Fujiwara asked skeptically. You don't understand, having a master, so what? No ordinary person can guide a young talent like you. Going with me would be much better. I have connections and resources. Heitan Akira reminded him. He already said he doesn't need it. If you push it, you'll be disliked. He stubbornly replied, do you think I'll give up that easily? Are you going to let someone ruin Itsuki's talent? Itsuki had an impression of him. Back then he handled Kinoshita, quote, as subordinates. Heitan Akira said casually, don't worry about that. I only dealt with a few rule breakers. Besides, he's Nento's disciple, so there's no reason to persuade him further. Is that so? Saoryu Fujiwara exclaimed. What did you say? Whose disciple? Itsuki politely told him, thank you for that earlier. He still couldn't believe his ears. Itsuki is Nento, quote, as disciple. Nento behind him confirmed instead. Yes, that's right. He went numb. It turned out the monster that suddenly appeared was Nento's disciple. Itsuki finally had time to greet Nento, master. He was very pleased with today's performance. Well done. I've observed your display closely. Are you injured anywhere? If so, I'll have Ajaha heal you. Ajaha grumpily blurted out, you even plan to challenge stage 7. Better not bring any wounds back here. Itsuki explained, not injured but nearly out of stamina. A short rest will fix it. Saoryu Fujiwara had steadied himself. If he's Nento's disciple, that makes sense. Another one of his disciples also wiped out all the calamity spirit beasts we prepared. Do you know who that is? Kazunari Satsumi also reached stage 6. Saoryu Fujiwara denied it. No, back then stage 4 was the highest, so afterward we raised it to stage 6. But if that's still not enough, we'll have to push it to stage 8. He calmly requested, just sit down and watch with the other candidates. Round 2 is only starting now. Inside the qualifiers, Rimuru was at a bottleneck with progress at 100%. He was shaking from exhaustion while fighting the Thunder Turtle. I can't lift my arm anymore. The Nightmare rank seems out of reach. System notice, Horino Rimuru completed challenge stage 2. Duration, 17 minutes 17 seconds. Points earned, 1600. On Seo's side, she was also drained, progress at 100%. She wearily lifted the water-encased Thunder Turtle. I don't have any high damage skills, so I'm just trying to suffocate it by sealing it in a watertight sphere. But this takes too long and my mana is nearly gone. The next difficulty is impossible. When she ran out of energy, system notice, Seo completed challenge stage 2. Duration, 19 minutes 1 second. Points earned, 1600. Itsuki was surprised. Rimuru and Seo gave up at the bottleneck. I thought they could keep going. Saoryu reminded him, don't assume everyone is as strong as you. Most candidates can't even clear normal rank. Those two defeated the Thunder Turtle so fast, they'll definitely be in the top 10. He wondered, they should have failed, so why haven't they exited yet? He answered, unless seriously injured or under special circumstances, you can't leave the test area. However, you're an exception. Heitan Akira watched the screen with interest. It seems another candidate has reached Nightmare rank. He predicted with his rare ritual device, Gakuge will probably take down at least one Infernal Colossus. Summoner Shin Akagami has also advanced this far, truly impressive skill. When Shin's Colossus was about to attack her, it suddenly froze. For a moment, Shin's cat pulled the remaining Colossus, redirecting it toward the one that was attacking her. They slaughtered each other. Itsuki asked suspiciously, can summons change form? Can Ajaha's bitch deep do that? Ajaha denied it. No, this is the first time I've seen one with shape-shifting ability. Summons come in many varieties, their powers are full of mysteries. Be especially careful if you encounter any summoners from now on. He thought of the Purple Hound. Up close the summon looks pretty strong. I've been ignoring the Purple Hound I snatched from Charles for so long. From now on I'll funnel all experience drops to it. He thought to himself, Seo and Rimuru have given up. There's no need to stay here, let's go. But Itsuki had to change his mind when he saw Iberia's battle was still not over. Looking at his mysterious armor, Itsuki was surprised. Iberia, what is that armor from your father? He thought to himself, this is the strongest combat ritual device the old man ever made for me. System display, Dragon Armor, combat ritual device, attack and speed plus 100. Ritual effect, after 1 minute equipped, attack and speed plus 20. Maximum cumulative duration 15 minutes. Iberia understood this device has a spirit intelligence and chooses its wielder. I had to get into a lot of trouble to obtain it. Attack and speed increase by 20 for each minute equipped, but if worn longer than 15 minutes, you'll suffer insane penalties. It must be dealt with within 15 minutes. A notification displayed. Stats increased, current, attack plus 120, speed plus 120. He guessed. The earlier notice about conquering the Nightmare rank must have pushed Itsuki to work harder so as not to hold him back. His victory empowered Iberia. He dashed at the Colossus and stamped its face with his boot. He was determined not to let Itsuki lose face. After all, we're pair E. He was outside watching and smiled, saying, "He's going all in, isn't he?" A mechanical announcement rang out. Round 2 is over. Saoryu Fujiwara declared only the top 10 scorers will advance to the national tournament finals. Additionally, the top 2 will receive special rewards at the finals. Gakuge collapsed to the ground to rest, supremely confident. Apart from Kana, no one has more points than me. That special reward is definitely mine. Saoryu Fujiwara reminded them, now we'll announce the top 10. The display board showed. Number 1, Itsuki with 3 minutes 55 seconds, total points over 100,000. Second, Kana with 23 minutes 43 seconds, nearly 17,000 points. Third, Gakuge with 24 minutes 15 seconds, total near 7,000 points. Fourth, Iberia with 27 minutes 59 seconds, total equal to Gakuge. Then came Shinakagami, Rimuru, and Seiyo. Others were astonished, over 100,000 points. Even that lantern guy only has about 60,000. With a score like that, he'll easily be national first, right? Each infernal colossus must be 5,000 points. How many did he kill to get 100,000 points? Gakuge was shocked reading the rankings. What? I'm third. Who is this Itsuki guy? Never heard of him. Kana exclaimed, Itsuki, I really want to duel him. Seiyo said sadly, the gap between me and Itsuki is so large. Maybe I'm not cut out for melee professions. Saoryu Fujiwara joyfully announced, the regional qualifiers are over. The national rankings are set. Itsuki leads in first place ahead of second by 65,000 points. Ajaha glanced at masked Nento with regret. I can't see his expression, but I can tell father must be very pleased. The new sun of humanity was shining ever brighter. Iberia was very happy to hear the news. Over 100,000 points, I knew Itsuki would top the chart. But I put on a performance worthy of pair E. Beside him lay the corpse of a colossus. Itsuki stepped forward to praise him. Yeah, you did great, you surprised me. Iberia's eyes started to go dizzy, but he still smiled and replied, right. At the arena, Saoryu Fujiwara officially announced, the preliminary rounds of the 21st Salvation Alliance National Tournament are concluded. Itsuki carried the fainted Iberia out of the qualifiers. Meanwhile, in a luxurious room at Southern Continent Army 1, an old man sat motionless with his eyes closed. Kaori asked displeased, we were dragged out here at dawn just to watch an old man meditate. The person beside her warned her to watch her words. He's the supreme commander of the Southern Continent. He can foresee the future. He's a prophet. The person they were waiting for was the Southern Continent's Supreme Commander, Balger. Kaori was puzzled. Then why is a barrier always raised before the announcement is made? If he can truly predict the future, tell us where the points will fall before it happens. He explained, Elder Balger can only foresee a small portion of the future, but he's still a figure of humanity's stature. The only one who can stand on par with the Northern Continent's Supreme Commander, Nento. Suddenly Balger opened his eyes wide, sweat pouring down his aged face like rain. He shouted, it's him, because his prophecy was 100% accurate. Balger collapsed, muttering, the Northern Continent. 2 disciples rushed over to support him. Elder Balger, are you all right? Balger croaked. The Northern Continent is in danger. He cried in terror. A massive assault of spirit beasts is about to land on the Northern Continent, including several above level 100. Night fell, and outside there was a patch of peaceful calm. You checked your stats. Finally, your total exceeded 1,500. Your profile updated. Itsuki, humanity rank unfixed. Class Annihilator. Talent Nirvana, special grade. Skills, Super Simulation Rank Z, Thunder Break, Thunder Restraint Tier 3 Level 2, Black Ice Shield Level 2, Lotus Fury Level 2, Piercing Orb Level 2, Mana Sense Level 1, Summon Devour Level 1. Attributes, Attack 330, Speed 380, boosted 35% by Thunder Restraint Tier 3, Defense 462, boosted 40% by Black Ice Shield and Mana 330 total 1502. Itsuki remembered he heard that each time you level up you get 50 attribute points. System reminder, level up, receive 50 attribute points. Decide how to allocate them. You calculated 1500 is probably around level 30 for a normal Awakener. Speed and defense can be increased indefinitely via skill innates. An update message appeared, speed plus 10%, defense plus 10%. Itsuki thought about mana. His mana also regenerates infinitely thanks to the mana sense innate, but attack is the only stat with no way to increase. There's simply no method. A voice called from behind, dinner's ready. You turned to look. Rimuru, wearing an apron, called to you, Itsuki, I cooked a lot of dishes you like. Seiyo stood beside him. You felt quietly happy. This is enough for now. Super Simulation might grant an advanced skill that raises attack. They gathered around a sumptuous meal, Nento seated at the head of the table. Itsuki sighed. It's been a long time since I ate a home-cooked meal from Rimuru. Itsuki glanced around. Where's Iberia? Still sleeping. Ageha reported, I've been treating him. All his wounds have disappeared, but he looks utterly exhausted, so he's still in a deep sleep. Rimuru added, still, I'm amazed. Nightmare rank that even Seo and I couldn't pass, yet someone rank like him conquered it. Seo huffed, he's exaggerating. Is my cooking so good it makes you vocalize your emotions? She scolded. A gloomy figure appeared behind him. Rimuru turned, is there something behind me? He saw the other man ravenous to the point of madness. Food, give me food. Rimuru fell back in his chair in fright. Seeing Iberia eat like a starving tiger, he put his hands on his hips and scolded. You gave me a start. Sneaking up like that gave me a heart attack. And why are you eating in someone else's seat? He finished a large bowl of rice, still scowling. Rimuru was startled a second time. What's wrong? Are you mad at me? He looked like a child, licking his lips happily and said, delicious. He breathed a sigh of relief. Back to normal, huh? You should be grateful to my cooking skills. Iberia smiled brightly and asked, did you cook this? Why don't you quit being an awakener and become a chef? You're better at cooking. Hearing that, Rimuru snapped, is that a compliment? Nento suddenly spoke, you two also want to become saviors, right? Then I want to ask you something. He posed the question to the two of them. What is the most terrifying thing? Rimuru rubbed his chin thoughtfully. The scariest thing is probably the opposite of what I expect. My dream is to become a savior, save up a lot of money, travel the world while I'm young, and enjoy delicious food. The opposite would be aging. Once you grow old, you won't have the strength to travel, and your sense of taste might deteriorate to the point you can no longer distinguish flavors. He shook his head vigorously, grimacing. Just thinking about it gives me the chills. Nento turned his attention to Seo. What about you? She recounted. Me, I was born into a family of doctors and raised in a hospital. In my memories, since I was little, I've seen many people go through illnesses, from minor to severe. Some patients died right in front of me. She continued, it became a trauma for me, so even a simple cold or fever makes me extremely afraid. Itsuki understood the reason, so that was why she ran off the other day. Just because I sneezed a little. He recalled her reaction that day and her fearful expression. Nento spoke. Awakened people live about twice as long as normal people and almost never get sick. You can say goodbye to the things you feared. Iberia panicked when he noticed Nento glancing at him. Me. He hesitated. What I feared most was failing to pass the preliminaries. Now I'm afraid I won't be able to stand by Itsuki's side anymore. Iberia asked curiously, Itsuki, what's the thing you fear the most? Itsuki replied, why are you suddenly asking me? Seo looked at him thinking, I'm curious whether he has any fears. From his side, someone urged, say it, you're not fearless, are you? Rimuru was curious. He couldn't imagine what Itsuki could possibly be afraid of. Itsuki opened up. After my parents died, I was truly worried about how I would go on living. Powerless, angry, sad, starving, my body was possessed by those negative emotions until Seo and Rimuru appeared before me. They came up to ask about the little boy Itsuki. Why are you sitting here crying alone? The sky is so beautiful, it's a shame to keep your head down like that. Seo sat down and asked, are you sick? Should we go to the hospital? Rimuru held out a lunchbox. Eat something and your worries will disappear. Itsuki said with emotion. The warmth I received from those two pulled me out of that negative world. After that, I met my master Ageha and also Iberia. Like gaining teammates, everyone present here looked at Itsuki kindly. He compared, or like my family used to be. This feeling of reassurance is something I haven't felt in a long time. Sometimes I wish this moment could last forever more than anything. I've always been afraid of having to live alone and isolated. Ageha blushed, thinking to herself, Itsuki's current atmosphere, it's calm and peaceful. It's completely different from the hair-raising feeling before. Iberia hugged him emotionally. Itsuki, I will never leave you. Itsuki denied, no, that's not what I meant. Nento explained, the reason I asked is to confirm that when you two become saviors and face real danger, you won't regret choosing this path. For a savior, regret is the one thing you must never allow to happen. Remember this well, an unregrettable death is the goal of every savior. They answered in unison, yes, we'll engrave that in our hearts. He stood up, left a line, then departed, then quickly finish your meal and go rest. Seo and Rimuru must return to North Zone B tomorrow. The next morning, they saw the two friends off. Iberia waved goodbye. Next time, treat me to one of your home-cooked meals. Rimuru agreed at once. Sure, leave it to me, just don't cause trouble for Itsuki. Seo waved farewell. See you at the national tournament then. Seeing him sobbing by the side, Itsuki asked curiously, since when did you and Rimuru become so close? Nento turned back and urged, let's head back too. He suddenly thought, oh right, I remembered there's something I wanted to ask Seo. I can probably ask during the national tournament. Seeing someone running up from afar, Itsuki was surprised. Ageha. Why does she look so rushed? Nento asked, what's going on? She panted, hurriedly reporting, there's a top-secret report from the southern continent. He had a bad feeling. What report? Ageha couldn't speak freely here. This top-secret information has a very high security level. It can only be disclosed to saviors above level 50 and continental commanders. Nento permitted, it's fine, just tell us. It's okay to inform these two as well. Continue. Ageha got straight to the point. A new prophecy was just issued by the southern continent's commander, Elder Balger. It seems a large-scale attack by the Calamity Spirit Beasts will occur on the northern continent within the next 3 days. Itsuki was shocked. Elder Balger, is that prophecy credible? According to Iberia, Elder Balger is the most renowned prophet across all 5 continents. His prophecies are almost certain to come true. Ageha suggested father should leave the northern continent quickly. He speculated, there must be some reason the Calamity Spirit Beasts would launch such a large-scale attack. Very likely their target this time is me, the supreme commander of the northern continent. So if I stay here, I'll certainly be an excellent decoy. Ageha disagreed. From the start you weren't a combat specialist. If you know you're the target, there's no reason to stay and risk it. For now, evacuate to the central continent. Itsuki agreed. I also agree with Ageha. If you're short-handed, I'll stay and fight. He refused to be persuaded. I've decided. No more discussion. Itsuki, I need you to do something else. You asked about another matter. What about protecting my master? Nothing is more important than that. Nento mentioned Iberia's father. Aiden is the finest armorer in all 5 continents. It would be terrible if anything happened to him. I want you and Iberia to take responsibility for protecting Aiden. I'll also dispatch Awakened from here to support you. Iberia was surprised. Mobilize special combat forces just because of my old man, he responded similarly. Is my master trying to get me off the battlefield? Seeing his children unhappy, Nento reminded Ageha, I also have 3 requests for you. He issued a series of orders. First, notify the residents of the northern continent about the upcoming attack and instruct Awakened under level 50 to evacuate civilians to safety. Next, inform all Awakened on the northern continent above level 50 and order them to prepare to counter the Calamity Spirit Beasts at any time. Finally, summon Heighten Akira here. In this sparsely populated North Sector 1, we need not worry about civilian casualties during combat. Here, we will confront them head-on. The next day, Ageha came to report progress. Father, I have arranged everything as you instructed. Heighten Akira should arrive soon. Nento felt uneasy. I'm sorry for the trouble. Ageha was sad and didn't feel like talking. He read her mood. Are you worried? Even with experienced guards around Aiden, in that case I'll just wipe out the small fry and lure the boss out. Ageha admitted, you're right father, you saw through everything. He revealed, there's a prophecy that a calamity beast of level 100 or higher will appear this time. Revealing all our trump cards will be unavoidable. The reason I specifically sent Itsuki there is that with Itsuki's abilities, if he participates in a fight against such a calamity spirit beast, she understood, fight in his own style, his power would be exposed to them and they would act to eliminate Itsuki at all costs. Ageha, I understand, so to prevent that from happening. Nento added, yes, but there's another reason. Looking at his battles so far, it seems Itsuki lacks offensive power. There's a rumor that Aiden possesses a device that increases attack power. If he can absorb that device, from attack to defense and even mana, Nento predicted a perfect Awakened possessing everything will be born. Day 1 of the prophecy, 8:00 p.m. across each district of the northern continent. The curtain rose on the attack as stone pillars rained down like rain. In North Zone B, Itsuki increased his running speed and asked Iberia, who was close behind, it's 8:00 p.m. already. How much farther to your house? He estimated. Probably about 100 km more. He urged, it wouldn't be surprising if a spirit beast attacked suddenly. We need to hurry to Iberia's father's place. He panicked and pointed to one direction. Itsuki looked. His steps halted. It was a black cloud covering the sky from which a torrent of fire fell. Iberia shouted, stone pillars, the attack has begun and pillars are falling right into the urban area. They could only stare as the stone pillars slammed into the high-rise buildings. Itsuki thought tensely. The report was just released, so civilians must still be evacuating. If spirit beasts strike at a time like this, the city will be in panic and heavy casualties are unavoidable. A spirit beast was approaching. Everyone run. Stone pillars, just as Elder Balger predicted. Damn, it's come too early. Iberia was anxious. Barrier zones are already forming. If we abandon the people here, there will be many casualties, but if we go help, we'll interfere with the mission. He reasoned Iberia must be exhausted from the long journey, but he hasn't once asked to rest. He must be very worried about his father. If I suggest saving civilians, he'll definitely refuse. Yet Iberia demanded, Itsuki, go assist. The spirit beasts inside the barrier are at least level 20. Without any high level awakened, many people will die. He agreed, understood, change of plan, will eliminate the spirit beasts inside the city first. In the city, the giant foot of a spirit beast stomped the ground with a thunderous boom. It was a flame herald level 21, its whole body blazing with fire. Yama across from it encouraged everyone, 3 level 15s and 1 level 16, it'll be tough. But against a level 20 spirit beast, we still have a chance to win. He had a C-rank skill, Stone Shield. Now Yama had to steady himself to command, don't break formation, I'll block its attack. As its fire assaulted them, he shouted, everyone find an opening and counterattack. One of its punches sent Yama flying backward. The impact cracked the wall behind him. Yama murmured, impossible. The team fell into despair. Even him, the one with the highest defense stat among us, was killed instantly, so we definitely don't stand a chance. Someone panicked, what should we do? Some had already fled, what do you mean what to do? Run, fighting that thing is suicide. A teammate shouted, hey, watch out. Namkai sneered coldly, you'd better look out for yourselves instead. Only now did he sense the imminent danger behind him. Namkai lunged toward it while pleading, please, I'll do anything, don't kill me. He had a C-rank skill, water cannon. Namkai looked at the crater before him and thought, when did that thing get behind me? That's why I blurted out those pathetic words. But it's over now. After all, I'm a water element mage, a natural enemy of calamity spirit beasts with the fire attribute. The others tiptoed forward to check. Did he really succeed? To be sure, I'll finish it off. Namkai stopped them, don't interfere. I'll defeat the spirit beast by myself. I have to be the one to finish it off. The spirit beast had resurrected, blazing heat radiating all over it. He turned to his teammates in panic and urged, it's revived, kill it now. Seeing the sea of fire bearing down, they felt their end had come. What is this enormous fire? We're done for. At the critical moment, Itsuki appeared and used the black ice shield to block the flames. Iberia stood behind him and reported, leave this spot to the 2E. Itsuki commanded Iberia, don't worry, I'll handle this one, evacuate the civilians. He smiled brightly and replied, understood. System display, black ice shield, defense plus 10% for blocking a B-rank fire elemental skill with the black ice shield. Those present murmured excitedly, blocking a giant fire that easily. Are those two saviors? Itsuki replied, we're not saviors yet, but one day I'll become a savior even stronger than Kazunari. Namkai sneered contemptuously. A savior stronger than Kazunari, what a brash kid. Iberia criticized, what the hell are you people doing letting a kid save us? He snapped back, no one's asking for help. I was going to take it down myself anyway. The person beside them was shocked. Not a savior. Can an ordinary awakened really face that spirit beast? Is the ice armor surrounding his body some kind of device? Itsuki thought to himself. It reminded him that his master had told him something before they left. Nento reminded him, the black orb you unleash is devastating but takes time to chant. Compared to truly powerful calamity spirit beasts, its projectile speed isn't exactly fast. If you miss with the first strike, they'll be on guard and it'll be even harder to hit thereafter. So try to avoid using that move in future battles. Keep it as a trump card for truly critical moments. Listen carefully, only use that black orb when you're confident you can finish the opponent. He assessed the situation. He couldn't use the piercing orb in front of a crowd. The group behind continued to gossip. The rescuer isn't awakened. His armor looks great. He's a high-level awakened. Itsuki charged in, preparing for close combat. If that's the case, I'll have to beat it with brute force. Lightning crackled around Itsuki Quota's fist. System update, activated Thunder Suppression 3. He teleported toward its head, sending the entire spirit beast flying backward. It crashed to the ground, struggling to rise. How could Itsuki give it a chance? His whole body swelled as the black ice shield enveloped him. He leapt down from above onto the spirit beast's head. The stomp made the ground quake, the shockwave spreading out. Witnesses questioned reality. The spirit beast is being completely pushed back. Wasn't it supposed to be very strong? Someone speculated. I saw that awaken's face. He looks at most 18. The spirit beast must have been badly injured beforehand. Someone broke into a cold sweat. Are you kidding me? A level 21 flame herald couldn't even fight back. Who the hell is this guy? Seeing no sign of Itsuki ahead, he wondered, where did that boy go? Someone behind recounted. Right after defeating the spirit beast, he went off somewhere with that blonde-haired boy. Namkai stepped forward to claim credit. That a level 0 like him could do that is because I wore the flame herald down to the limit. The other guy marveled. Even I, a level 15, couldn't follow that speed with my eyes or had the strength to knock the flame herald away barehanded. That level 0, he can be compared to even a level 30. Itsuki still wasn't satisfied with the display. Even against a spirit beast of that level, an instant kill was impossible. This was not right. I must find a way to raise my attack power at all costs. System update stats. Attack 330, speed 760 thanks to activating Thunder Suppression 3, defense 495 plus 50% from activating Black Ice Shield. Mana, recovers 10% mana upon detecting an enemy unit. Day 1, 10:30 p.m. Iberia ran quickly after Itsuki, excitedly exclaiming, "Amazing, Itsuki-san, your speed just now, I couldn't even track it with my eyes." Itsuki replied curtly, "Even if you're fast, it's meaningless without power." They stopped in a safe spot. Iberia panted and hesitated. "I never thought about that before." "If you want to increase your power, there's an effective way," Iberia said. Hearing that, Itsuki asked curiously, "An effective way?" Iberia declared confidently, "My old man's warehouse is full of devices. There must be some tools there that boost attack power. You're strong, Itsuki-san, and a disciple of Izumi Nento, so he'll surely be willing to give you one." Saying that, he couldn't help daydreaming, muttering with a lecherous smile, imagining Itsuki-san equipped with gear. Itsuki bristled and asked, "What's with that creepy smile? What the hell are you imagining?" Iberia promised eagerly, "Let's get out of here. Once we're home, I'll ask my old man to prepare a suitable device for you." Itsuki was slightly distracted, musing that he thought he'd been holding back his speed on the way here, but even so, with Iberia's pace, keeping up was probably all he could manage. With that thought, he suddenly went over and hoisted Iberia sideways. Iberia flinched in shock and cried, "Itsuki-san, what are you doing?" Itsuki replied calmly, "If you're tired, don't force yourself. At this rate, even if you run into a spirit beast, you won't have the strength to fight." Without further words, he held Iberia and leapt up. Iberia protested dazedly, "I'm not ready yet." He moved too fast. Itsuki didn't slow down, only said briefly, "We've delayed long enough, hang on." Prophecy Day 1, 11:05 p.m. A clear moon and cool breeze. Deep in the forest stood a wooden house. Before long, Itsuki and Iberia arrived. Iberia stretched and complained nonstop, "Finally here. I thought my arms were going to fall off." Itsuki examined the house for a moment, then asked Iberia, "Why do you live so deep in the forest? The city would be safer." He answered confidently, "My father says the city is too noisy to concentrate on crafting." "Don't be fooled by the shabby wooden exterior. The defense systems aren't ordinary. There are dozens of traps my old man set around the house," he said. Hearing that, Itsuki realized inwardly, "I see now," and understood why he'd sensed faint mana fluctuations. He silently activated his mana sensing. Iberia led the way and boasted, "Don't worry, if you follow me you won't trigger the traps, just stick close." Itsuki thought silently, "I don't need you, I can avoid them with mana sensing." As Iberia strolled ahead, Itsuki hesitated, about to warn him, "Hey, over there," but Iberia didn't hear. Inside, he was secretly gloating, finally getting to lead. Hidden beneath the leaves was a small switch. Iberia, not being cautious, accidentally stepped on it. Realizing he'd triggered a trap, he shouted in panic, "Oh no, I got too excited and forgot there are traps here." Itsuki came up in disbelief and asked, "Is this really your house?" The ground began to shake violently. Iberia cursed loudly, "Crap, this is the most annoying trap." At that moment, Itsuki also noticed the mana fluctuations were growing stronger. A humanoid device rose from the ground, an epic iron golem, attack 500, speed 300, defense 500, mana 200. Seeing it, Itsuki was stunned and involuntarily exclaimed, "He even has a humanoid device." At that moment, the iron golem threw a powerful punch toward Iberia, before Iberia could recover and counter. Itsuki quickly moved to shove him aside and faced the iron golem head-on. He forcefully threw a punch to block its blow. But he couldn't hold out long. He was knocked far away and had to grind against the ground to stay upright. He inwardly lamented that even a device could have higher attack power than him. Since it was made to protect Iberia's father, he couldn't destroy it with the piercing orb. This was troublesome. Itsuki tensely turned to ask Iberia, "Iberia, is there a way to stop it?" He quickly cooperated and answered, "Aim for the energy core on its chest. That's its power source. If you destroy that, it won't be able to move," Iberia said. Itsuki glanced at the iron golem and immediately spotted the core he mentioned. Wasting no time, Itsuki activated Thunder Suppression 3. His body was instantly veiled by flickering bolts of electricity. He said confidently, "If you know the weak point, this is easy. Even if I'm weaker in strength, I'm faster." With that, he suddenly unleashed a strong jolt of electricity at the iron golem. As it repeatedly brought its iron fist down to strike him, he easily dodged each blow, taking advantage of the golem's relentless, unguarded attacks. Itsuki nimbly ran to its rear to disrupt its reflexes, then seized the opportunity to snatch the core from its chest. The iron golem lost its power source and, as expected, fell motionless. Just as Itsuki breathed a sigh of relief and raised the core in his hand, asking Iberia, "That should do it, right?" A shadow appeared behind him, red eyes fixed on him, preparing to deliver a downward slash. Iberia immediately shouted to stop him. "Wait, Yusuke-san." Sensing something was wrong, Itsuki turned his head just as the sword was coming down. The man halted his swing at Iberia's cry just in time. Itsuki stared at the blade about to touch his face, silently bewildered, wondering when the man had arrived. Bokudo Yusuke then spoke properly, explaining, "Iberia, I thought some bandits were sneaking in." Itsuki kept staring at him, thinking, what the while I was being targeted, I didn't sense any mana fluctuation at all. Bokudo looked back and asked, "Who is this?" Seeing him sheath his sword in an instant surprised Itsuki further. He thought to himself, the sword vanished. Iberia then stepped forward to block Itsuki and smiling introduced him to Bokudo. "This is my friend, Tenma Itsuki. He's level 0 but very strong. We're a team called." Before Iberia could finish, Itsuki put a hand on his shoulder and cut to the important question. "More importantly, where's your father?" Hearing that, Iberia asked Bokudo, "Right, where's my old man?" Bokudo honestly replied, unaware someone was approaching, "The master is inside, but be careful." It seemed the man wasn't in a good mood. Aiden approached glowering, making no sound. Seeing him, Iberia immediately bragged, "Dad, listen, I've passed the preliminaries." He reminded him of their previous agreement. "I even cleared a nightmare trial and placed 4th regionally. As you promised, let me freely choose a device." But Aiden said nothing and instead slapped Iberia hard. He felt aggrieved, eyes watering, clutching his face and angrily asking, "Hey, why did you hit me, Dad?" Aiden, furious and red-faced with bulging veins, loudly demanded, "Hand over the dragon armor. You stole it, didn't you?" Iberia stubbornly shouted back, "So what? I only borrowed the epic device for a bit. Did you have to hit me for that?" Aiden remained enraged, pointing a warning finger. "If you wear the dragon armor too long, something irreversible will happen. If you use it again without permission, I won't hold back next time." Iberia angrily tossed the bag to the ground and snapped, "Fine, I get it. I'll never use your devices again," then walked away. While Itsuki was still dazedly watching Iberia leave, Aiden called to him, "Yes, I am Tenma Itsuki, pleased to meet you." Itsuki, startled, turned back and got straight to the point. A prophecy foretold a large-scale attack by calamity spirit beasts on the northern continent, so my master ordered me to escort Aiden-san. As he was about to continue, Aiden cut him off bluntly. "I've heard about that." There was a hint of contempt in Aiden's tone as he said bluntly to Itsuki, "For someone as strict and rare in taking disciples as he is, why would he accept a seemingly ordinary adolescent as a pupil?" But then he suddenly froze, eyes widening in shock as he shouted, "Wait, your rank fixed?" Aiden stared at Itsuki's ability readout in disbelief. Tenma Itsuki, human, fixed level 0, profession, exterminator, skills, hidden, stats, hidden. Aiden looked at Itsuki in astonishment and loudly asked, "Are you using a device to hide your stats?" "Not exactly," Itsuki replied. He pondered for a moment and said, "I see, no wonder Nento Izumi wanted to get that device." Aiden stepped closer to Itsuki. "Your master is very shrewd. He always expects something in return. He only told me to escort you. I hadn't heard anything about a reward." Itsuki was surprised when Aiden continued. "He contacted me and said that in exchange for you escorting me, I should give you a specific device. Your master said that it's fine, I'll protect you even without a device." But Aiden immediately stopped him and, curious, asked, "No, I have many, giving you one won't hurt. I'm just wondering why he insisted on choosing a defective one." Itsuki asked in surprise, "A defective one?" Aiden recalled when the device was created and grew excited. At first it was a masterpiece made to unlock a Wakeful's attack power to the absolute limit, the unique critical gem. Critical attack power doubles on a critical strike. Critical rate 99%. Unique effect. The user's attacks always trigger criticals. Aiden flinched as a crack suddenly appeared on the device. He took the device out and explained further. Its rank became undetermined and a mysterious effect was added. Faulty critical gem. Rank undetermined. Effect. Attack power is multiplied by 10 on a critical strike. Critical rate 0%, but it gains plus 1% each time an enemy with higher attack power than the user is defeated. Fault effect. The critical rate resets to 0 whenever the user levels up, so any built-up critical rate is wiped on level up. It's completely useless for a normal Wakeful, he continued. Exactly, that's why I refused when he asked for this junk, but looking at your stats, I understand now. Itsuki held the device in his hands. He stared intently at the item while Aiden went on, "You're quite special. I don't know how you grow stronger, but since you don't level up, this device suits you very well." Power from the device erupted around Itsuki so fiercely that he couldn't help but scream, veins bulging across his face. Because you keep defeating spirit beasts, your critical rate will gradually reach 100%, and in the future your attacks will be multiplied by 10. Apocalypse Iron Fist Equipment Critical Gem Critical Rate 0%. When the power subsided, Itsuki gradually returned to normal and pondered strategy. The critical rate only increases when I defeat opponents with higher attack stats. That's a bit tough. I'll think of a counter strategy after we get through this sweep. Faulty Critical Gem Rank Undetermined. Effect Attack Power times 10 on criticals. Critical rate 0%, gains plus 1% each time an enemy with higher attack than the user is defeated. Fault Effect Critical rate resets to 0 whenever the user levels up. Aiden looked at him seriously. It seems it's been properly attuned. It's really compatible with you. I've struggled a lot with low attack power. This will help a great deal. Thank you, Aiden. When he finished speaking, he turned and began to walk away, waving a hand. I make the devices, and everyone uses them to fight the Calamity Spirit Beasts. We're both working for humanity's survival, no need to thank me. Unless someone already knew my location, there's no way the beast would attack such an isolated spot by chance. For now, you should rest. But he hadn't taken many steps when a violent noise erupted behind Aiden, making him jump. A gigantic meteor plummeted straight down toward the forest where they were sheltering. It generated a tremendous shockwave that forced everyone to cover their faces and step back. Iberia immediately ran out, shouting in panic, "What is that? What's going on?" He went pale, unable to believe his eyes. A barrier. A layer of barrier had appeared before them. Why was there a barrier here? Aiden pondered. Only the supreme commanders of the 5 continents would know his location. Was a falling stone pillar here truly random? Or Bokudo immediately went on high alert, spreading his arms to protect everyone and stepping back. The spirit beasts are coming, they're heading this way. Itsuki stared at the barrier with cold eyes. He could sense something approaching at an astonishing speed. From afar, the pounding footsteps of spirit beasts grew louder, 6 of them. They charged with terrifying speed, no 8. As soon as they arrived, the beasts rushed in to attack. Venom Demon Horn 3088, Demon Speed Horn level 14, they're here. But in an instant, he parried a beast strike with a cold gaze. Itsuki immediately drove his blade through the beast's body. Blood sprayed everywhere, activating the Black Ice Talisman. The beast was felled at once, but the others continued to surge forward and attack. He nimbly dodged the beast's attacks. Against enemies of this level, no matter how many there were, he could wipe them out instantly with the Lotus Burst. On the other side, Bokudo remained focused, fighting non-stop. Yusuke could withstand the shock of the Lotus Burst, but Itsuki glanced at the wooden house behind them, worried Aiden and Iberia were hiding just inside. If he used the Lotus Burst carelessly, they could be affected by the blast. Then he accelerated like a lightning bolt, lunging straight through the group of beasts in front. In a moment, they were all defeated. Maybe I'm really suited to solo play after all. Suddenly, Itsuki looked deeper into the forest and immediately grew vigilant. Another mana fluctuation, and this one was stronger than the previous ones. Higher level spirit beasts were steadily approaching. Guardian Beast Sense 815, Demon Speed Horn level 24. A hellish scene opened, lava surged, monsters writhed amid the fiery abyss. A demon lord sat on high, his darkness and authority filling the space. We have teleported the vanguard, low-tier slave units to the human world. Which of the 8 demon lords should lead the main force? A cold voice echoed through the space. Thanks to the eye I left when I descended to the human realm last time, I have sensed the existence of someone important. Capture him. Another demon lord with a deformed face and 9 eyes. This one has 9 eyes on his head. Terrifying, one of the 8 great demon lords, Enma Rakuyama. Shall we assign the task to one of the 8 demon lords? The High Demon Lord coldly ordered, and Enma Raku immediately knelt to accept. A demon lord ranked being might even destroy the eye I left. I will entrust this to a demon general, so be it. He continued, his terrifying gaze sweeping around. I will give full command of the main force to Ensho Kuma, the Devourer Beast. A gigantic Devourer Beast appeared. They usually eat rocks, and it's been a long time since it tasted fresh human flesh. I suspect it's nearly starved. A shout made Itsuki startle. It was Iberia's voice. Had a spirit beast broken into the house? A monster lunged straight at him. Itsuki quickly put his hands up. The system appeared. Twin Horn Guardian Beast 815, Demon Horn Tribe level 24. He furrowed his brow and thought to himself that at this point he had no choice but to use that move. The demon swung at Itsuki. He quickly ducked and raised his hand, forming an energy orb while thinking that its attack power was probably higher than his. So if he defeated it, he could increase his critical rate. The system popped up again. Faulty Critical Gem, Rank Undetermined. Effect, Attack Power times 10 on a critical. Critical rate 0%, gains 1% each time the user defeats an enemy with higher attack power. Fault, critical rate resets to 0 whenever the user levels up. A streak of dark purple light shot into the sky, activating the sphere piercing core. System notification, critical rate plus 1%. Itsuki clenched his fist in thought. It really did increase, just as he thought. A monster slowly appeared behind him. A notification popped up, faulty critical gem and critical rate 1%. Itsuki shouted, "Yusuke, I'll take care of the beast that broke into the house, leave the rest to you," and he sliced fiercely at the monster as he spoke, "Leave it to me." Itsuki dashed straight toward the wooden house. He shoved the door hard to fling it open. Inside, Iberia was leaning against the wall, covered in wounds and gasping. "It's useless. Without the dragon armor, I can't win." A claw swung straight at him. Iberia muttered, "If it's come to this." The monster drove its claw toward him. Iberia screamed and cried out, "Itsuki, save me." But the one who appeared was Aiden. He drove his hammer into the monster's head. Iberia stared at him in bewilderment, thinking that the old man had a non-combat profession, yet he wasn't afraid of the beasts. Aiden slung the hammer over his shoulder and told the monster, "You're tough, aren't you?" The monster, enraged, spun and glared at Aiden. He stood calmly, waiting for the monster's attack. "I'll leave the rest to you." He called Tenma. At that moment, Itsuki appeared just before the monster's strike could hit Aiden. Itsuki grabbed the monster's wrist. The system appeared, activated Black Ice Strike. A long blade materialized from Itsuki's hand, and he quickly drove it through the monster's body. Itsuki stood up and said to Aiden, "Sorry I'm late. It took a bit to deal with the ones outside." He asked calmly, "How are things out there?" Itsuki looked up, sensing internally that there were no more mana fluctuations outside. Then he replied, "I think Yusuke has cleared out the spirit beasts." Aiden and Iberia stepped outside. Seeing the monsters strewn across the ground, he exclaimed in astonishment, "Did Yusuke really do all this alone?" Yusuke looked up, surveyed, and warned everyone not to be complacent. "Unless we destroy that barrier, spirit beasts will continue to spawn endlessly from within it, and over time they'll only grow stronger." He turned and told Itsuki, "I plan to destroy that barrier and sweep up as many spirit beasts along the way as possible. But if any get through, you'll die." Itsuki's face darkened as he snapped back angrily, "No, I'll be the one to go after the beasts inside the barrier. Yusuke, stay here to protect Aiden and Iberia." Aiden watched in silent amazement, that look not a trace of fear, only a burning desire to fight. He spoke up, "We'll assign the task of destroying the barrier to Tenma." Yusuke wondered, if that's a green barrier, the spirit beasts inside will be at least level 25. "Are you sure you can handle this?" Itsuki's whole body was wrapped in a pale white mana, he affirmed, "I'm sure." Then he dashed off, a flash of lightning and Itsuki's figure vanished. Itsuki thought, "Finally I can fight to my heart's content." Iberia stayed behind shouting, "If Itsuki goes, I'll go too." "Fine, Yusuke, watch over my old man," Aiden ordered coldly. "You don't need to come." He immediately objected, "Why, we're a team." Aiden explained, "Stop that team act, it's ridiculous. You and Tenma live in completely different worlds." Iberia yelled, "We've come so far together on this journey. What do you mean by different worlds?" Aiden replied loudly, "A team is meant to support each other and make up for each other's shortcomings." He declared sternly, "But what can you contribute? You're a burden at this rate." Aiden continued, causing Iberia to freeze in fear, "You'll get Tenma killed." He brushed past Iberia and said, "And of course I'm not just talking about you. Tenma is very special. No one of this generation can stand alongside him." He said coldly, "Have you seen the look in his eyes when facing spirit beasts? That look, it's filled with hatred." On Itsuki's side, the system appeared. Mana Sense detected 5 enemy units and restored 50% of the user's mana. Itsuki sneered inwardly, 5 spirit beasts, they must have just come out of the barrier. Thanks to that my mana is fully recovered. A monster charged out to block Itsuki Quota's path. He didn't flinch, charging forward he shouted, "Get out of my way." An explosion erupted, smoke and flames bursting forth. The system then announced, Lotus Burst activated, defeated 5 enemies with Lotus Burst, overall skill magnitude plus 5%, now plus 1106%, critical rate 1%, faulty critical gem critical rate 2%. Itsuki continued to cloak his body with mana, running while thinking, "The Twin Horn Guardian's defense is too high. It took 80% of my mana just to take it down with Lotus Burst, but I won't let any of them touch Iberia or the others." Iberia saw the explosion from afar. Yusuke quickly stood before him, blocking the shockwave and shouting in surprise, "Where did that explosion come from?" Iberia answered loudly, "That's Itsuki's skill. He must have encountered spirit beasts in the forest." Yusuke frowned thoughtfully. An explosion of that scale isn't something an ordinary level 0 could produce. Could Tenma be unable to level up because of a bad trait from his talent? On Itsuki's side, he stood before a blue-green barrier and thought, "So this is a green barrier. These spirit beasts are on a completely different level from what I've faced before. System notice, mana sense activated. Itsuki murmured, unexpectedly the mana sense is being blocked. I can't measure the number or strength of the spirit beasts inside. He recalled his master had said you could judge the beasts inside a barrier by its color. Gray barrier, beast level 125. Green barrier, beasts level 2650. Blue barrier, level 5175. Purple barrier, level 76 and up. Pink barrier, level 101 and above. Since it's green, the beasts are level 2650. Itsuki looked at the mark on his hand and murmured that if he killed them all, a ton of experience points would drop. He raised his hand, petals of light fell to the ground. The system appeared, summon familiar Corpse Hound. The black dog howled long, an info panel popped up. Corpse Hound, rank B, level 16, 0%. Skills, Death Aura rank C, detects all traces of mana in the area to locate and track sources. Corpse Yearning rank B, greatly reduces respawn time after a familiar dies. Attack 250, speed 250, defense 150, mana 150. Itsuki petted it and said, I'll give you all that experience. He continued forward with it, but don't you dare touch them until I give the order. He declared coldly, all the spirit beasts here are my prey. At a garden first prophecy day, 11:30 p.m., a girl announced, Father, the awakened guardian escort has arrived. The blue-haired man with the long scar on his face bowed and said, Lord Izumi, from this moment I, first-rank Savior Kei Kairajima, will serve as your guard. He was a level 63 wind elementalist, first-rank Savior Kei Kairajima. The man replied immediately, thank you for coming. The girl asked, besides him, 5 third-rank saviors and 3 second-rank saviors have arrived. Has Akira Height not arrived yet? He answered, I've assigned him to guard the surrounding area. The girl pushed up her glasses and said that when they talked on the phone 6 hours ago, he said he was on his way. But when she tried calling back 1 and 3 hours later, she couldn't reach him. She continued that huge stone slabs had fallen across the northern prefecture since 8 p.m., so he may have run into trouble en route. The man with the lantern on his head is Nento Izumi, he replied. A common spirit beast wouldn't threaten him. After all, he's one of the 6 pillars of the special rank savior squad. He said, try to contact him. Only special rank saviors can handle the spirit beasts appearing here. The girl answered immediately, understood. Kei suddenly spoke up, aren't you overrating the special rank saviors? No matter how strong Wajin-Tae and Akira Heighten are, they're still human. He arrogantly declared, I don't believe there's such a huge gap between them and first rank people like us. We might have some difficulties, but there's no way we can't defeat a spirit beast they can. Nento replied, confidence is good, but if you think you can stand on equal footing with a special rank. He continued that it seemed Kei had never fought a truly powerful spirit beast. Suddenly, a giant ball of fire appeared in the sky. Kei immediately drew his sword and shouted, a stone pillar, a spirit beast is coming. Nento rose calmly and said, finally it's here. The girl loudly said, useless, you can't compare to height. Kei arrogantly replied, if not even a special rank can do it, then it's not worth relying on. Don't worry, we'll clear them out. He frowned to himself, thinking now he'll prove that a first rank can be as strong as a special rank. On Itsuki's side, the green barrier glowed ever brighter. He entered with the Corpse Hound. Itsuki walked while surveying the surroundings. The scenery inside the barrier was much the same as outside. He looked into the distance, thinking that a certain aura here made him uneasy. System notice, mana sense activated. Itsuki pondered that he could sense mana fluctuations inside the barrier from here, but indeed he couldn't grasp the situation outside. It seemed the inside and outside of the barrier were separate spaces. The system reappeared. Mana sense detected 5 enemy units and restored 50% mana. Itsuki thought, okay, I've roughly located the 5 enemy units just detected. He ordered the Corpse Hound, wait here, if you see any spirit beast flee, you may eat it. It immediately sat down obediently. Itsuki praised, good. A notification popped up, Thunder Break activated, Thunder Shock I. He smirked and called out, time for me to act. At that moment 2 monsters came charging wildly. A bolt of blue lightning struck straight at them. Itsuki appeared and quickly annihilated the monsters. A notification appeared, Black Ice activated, Black Ice Wall. Another bolt of lightning pierced through another monster's body. The lightning continuously split the bodies of the monsters. Itsuki charged straight at the large monster, barring its claws. He jumped up, forming a dark purple-black orb in his hand. System notice, activated orb staff, piercing orb. The orb was immediately fired, flying straight through the monster's body. He landed, a notification appeared, critical rate plus 1%. Faulty critical gem, critical rate now 3%. Itsuki thought, my critical rate rose again, now 3%. Running toward the beam of light at the center, he mused that statistically there are about 3 critical hits per 100 attacks. Maybe I'll soon see my first critical. Even so, this is the first time I've seen a pillar like this. He calculated silently, if I break the stone pillar, the barrier will disappear, right? One strike should be enough. The system suddenly appeared, detected 1 enemy unit, restored 10% mana. Itsuki immediately froze, there's still one more. He stopped, a bolt of lightning instantly wrapped around him. Black tendrils lashed straight at Itsuki. They stabbed downward, he quickly tilted his body to dodge. Itsuki thought that if he hadn't detected the mana fluctuations and stayed on guard, he would have been pierced just now. He looked toward the distant light pillar and realized it had been hiding behind the stone pillar. A vague silhouette appeared. Itsuki assessed inwardly that it was a different kind of spirit beast from the earlier ones, outside the green barrier. Iberia stared in bewilderment. He still hadn't shaken the shock from the explosion. Yusuke urged, even if Tenma can't stop all the spirit beasts, it's dangerous outside, stay inside. He asked sadly, Yusuke, will I really get Itsuki killed one day? Yusuke immediately replied, you're exaggerating, Master said too much, don't worry so much. Iberia hesitated, then admitted, but thinking about it, I do seem to be a burden. He looked at the barrier and said, the spirit beasts inside a green barrier are level 2050. Are you confident you can defeat a level 26 spirit beast? Iberia bowed his head sadly and answered, I don't think so. Yusuke patted his shoulder and said, don't be too down, I'm not calling you weak. When I was your age, I didn't even have the courage to enter a green barrier and fight spirit beasts. Iberia exclaimed in surprise, even you, Yusuke. He explained that the difference between beasts in a dark barrier and a green barrier isn't just level. Iberia asked what else. Yusuke said that beasts inside a dark barrier lack intelligence. They are simply creatures repeating cycles of slaughter and endless destruction. He recalled a giant tiger and said they're strong, but if you plan, you have many ways to kill them. Inside a green barrier, however, there can exist spirit beasts with intelligence, like us humans. Inside the barrier, a monster slowly approached Itsuki and spoke coldly. Did I miss? It seemed to have a sensing skill. System, 4 Directions General 336, level 34. Yusuke said that among Tenma's generation, only a few young people could stand against beasts of that level. Itsuki muttered darkly, just as I thought, the beasts in this barrier are different from those I've faced. Yusuke explained that the reason you're Tenma's burden isn't because you haven't matured, it's simply that he's too strong. Itsuki said coldly, he saw through my skills in seconds, and what's more, it speaks human language. Finally, I meet you, the intelligent spirit beast I've heard about. The monster sneered, what nonsense are you babbling? Are you begging for mercy? It looked at Itsuki and commented, I thought you were strong, but you're only a level 0, a coward who trembles at the sight of me. He smiled and questioned, I'm just excited. I've wanted to ask your species something for a long time. Since you can speak, why not give me an answer? It stepped forward and replied, very well. If that's your final wish, I will grant it to you. Flames erupted from Itsuki's body. His eyes flashed crimson as he shouted, do you know what pain is? Hearing the declaration, the 4 Directions General sneered. A mere human dares to make me suffer, don't be arrogant. He continued boldly, inflicting pain is our exclusive prerogative. Then the 4 Directions General launched knife-sharp tentacles that swept through everything they touched. Meanwhile, Itsuki was trying to close the distance to it. Lightning fast, he struck a surprise blow that pushed the 4 Directions General back a short distance. Itsuki silently asked himself if it was down. No, its mana was surging even more strongly. He keenly noticed that its tentacles were also growing faster. However, Itsuki believed that when it came to speed, he still had the advantage. While he was distracted, it quietly extended a tentacle behind Itsuki to strike from ambush. Luckily, he dodged in time, cursing inwardly. Damn, my power is too weak, I couldn't even sever its head and my attacks hardly dealt any damage. The 4 Directions General was rather surprised. At this level you shouldn't be so fast, what is your true level? Still, it sneered, never mind, no matter how fast you are, to me you're just an insect. As it attacked, the 4 Directions General taunted continuously. Even if you hit me 100 times with full strength, it won't even scratch me, but if you get hit by one of my blows, you'll die. Contrary to its ease, Itsuki had to dodge the strikes. Tentacles attacked from multiple directions, even from behind. He blocked one blow only to be hit from the flank. Eventually, he couldn't hold on and was knocked down hard. Itsuki was pressed by a tentacle against the base of a tree. Despite that, he broke free and challenged, if you can do it, then try. The 4 Directions General immediately realized the state. It's merely a speed-increasing skill of yours, isn't it? Let's see how long your mana lasts. After observing, it judged inwardly that those tentacles weren't a skill, but part of its body. That's why super simulation wasn't activated. He sighed to himself. How many strikes was that just now? Was it the 18th or the 19th? It sneered. Useless. Itsuki's mana is now only 97 out of 330. Itsuki was in a desperate situation. He'd used skills continuously and was nearly out of mana. His stamina was drained, and if this continued his speed would drop, so he'd have to pour everything into attack. So he calculated to increase his attack frequency. If he could land even one critical hit, he'd win. He then used a faulty critical gem of undefined rank, effect attack power multiplied by 10 on a critical hit, critical rate 0%. It would add 1% when defeating an enemy with higher attack power than the user. Error effect, critical rate resets to 0 whenever the user levels up. He told himself to attack more. To trigger a critical, he only needed to keep swinging his fists. Itsuki then tried to exploit an opening to strike the Four Directions General directly. It immediately replied by driving a tentacle into his abdomen. Meanwhile, the Four Directions General mocked, rushing at me non-stop like that, what a fool. It taunted further, well, weren't you planning to make me suffer? Seeing Itsuki still moving, the Four Directions General praised, you're alive, your defense seems rather high. It seemed to be the trap he set when he spoke. Finally, it's here. At that moment, the system displayed a notification from the faulty critical gem. Your next attack will be a critical hit. Sure enough, Itsuki's punch had a completely different destructive force. A horrible scream tore from its throat. A single blow sent the Four Directions General flying. It couldn't believe it. What just happened? How did you suddenly hit so hard? He was equally surprised. It was stronger than he expected. Not only that, after the critical hit, a surge of emotions rose from deep within his chest. Satisfaction, focus, contentment. He'd never felt like this before. Also now, although blood flowed from his stomach, he felt no pain at all. Moreover, Itsuki felt truly comfortable. Only then did he ask the Four Directions General, did you feel pain from that blow? It couldn't accept it. What's wrong with this one? Aren't humans inferior and fragile? Clearly it's above level 40, displaying fake stats is cheating. Hey, what are you doing? This time Itsuki taunted, beasts have always had no intelligence, so even when they die they rarely scream. He cracked a strange smile. He was sure that a scream from a beast that can feel pain would be delightfully satisfying. The Four Directions General screamed in panic, impossible, are you trying to crush my head? You're not human. As soon as it was dealt with, the critical rate immediately increased by 1%. Itsuki exhaled with relief, finally done. The faulty critical gem's critical rate had risen to 4%. Suddenly he felt strange. With the danger past, that special sensation faded, and the pain from his wound began to overwhelm him. At the same time, the barrier became transparent, meaning there were no spirit beasts left inside. Itsuki thought to himself that if he broke this, only the stone pillar would remain. He then decisively threw a punch softer than he'd expected. After a while, Itsuki grew fatigued and sat down heavily. He told himself that before returning, he needed to check one thing. Next, Itsuki murmured a summon, Zu. Instantly, as soon as he finished speaking, a beast appeared. Show yourself. Itsuki gaped in amazement. You've grown bigger than before, haven't you? He was even more surprised and Itsuki's inner self was shaken. You've leveled up 3 ranks and gained 150 points. Details, Death Hound rank B, level 19, 14.8%. Skill Death Chi rank C, detects all traces of magic in the area, pinpoints and traces their origins. Death's Desire rank B, significantly shortens revival cooldown after Spirit Awakening Deathmatch. Stats, attack 250, speed 250, defense 150, mana 150, points 150, unallocated. He brightened considerably, so when it levels up, your body grows too. I'm not imagining things, that means. Itsuki quietly guessed that if it gained dozens more levels, how large would it become? He looked forward to it. Day 1, 10:30 p.m. Iberia hurried after Itsuki, excitedly exclaiming, amazing, Itsuki-san, that speed my eyes couldn't even follow. Itsuki tersely replied, even speed is meaningless without strength. They stopped at a safe spot. Iberia, panting, hesitantly said, I've never thought about that before. If you want to raise your power, there's an effective way, Itsuki said. Hearing that, Iberia asked curiously, an effective way? Iberia declared confidently, my old man's warehouse is full of devices. There must be some gear that boosts attack power. Itsuki-san is strong and is Izumi Nento's disciple, so he'd probably be willing to give you one. He couldn't help daydreaming, murmuring with a perverse smile, just imagine Itsuki-san equipped with one. Itsuki shivered and asked, what's with that creepy smile? What the hell are you imagining? Iberia promisingly said, let's get out of here once we're home. I'll ask the old man to prepare a suitable device for you. Itsuki, slightly distracted, pondered. He'd thought he'd been holding back his speed on the way here, but even so, keeping up with Iberia's pace was probably all the guy could manage. With that thought, he suddenly lifted Iberia sideways. Iberia startled and shouted, Itsuki-san, what are you doing? Itsuki calmly said. If you're tired, don't force yourself. At this rate, if you run into a spirit beast, you won't have the strength to fight. Without further words, he hoisted Iberia and leaped. Iberia groaned in a daze. I'm not ready yet. He moved too fast. Itsuki didn't slow down, merely said briefly, we've delayed long enough, hang on. Prophecy Day 1, 11:05 p.m. Clear moon and cool breeze. Deep in the forest stands a wooden house. Before long, Itsuki and Iberia arrived. Iberia flexed and complained nonstop. Finally here, I thought my arms were going to fall off. Itsuki surveyed the house, then asked Iberia, why do you live so deep in the woods? It'd be safer in the city. He replied confidently, my old man said the city is too noisy to focus on crafting. Don't be fooled by this shabby wooden house, its defenses aren't trivial. My old man set dozens of traps around it. Hearing that, Itsuki realized inwardly, no wonder I sensed faint mana tremors. Then he quietly activated his mana sense. Iberia led the way, loudly assuring him, don't worry, if you follow me you won't trigger the traps, just stick close. Itsuki thought silently, I don't need you, I can avoid them with mana sense. As Iberia strolled ahead, Itsuki wanted to warn him, hey, over there, but Iberia didn't hear. Inside, he was preening like a peacock, thinking, I'm finally leading the way. Hidden beneath the leaves was a small switch. Unaware, Iberia accidentally stepped on it. Realizing he'd triggered a trap, he panicked. Oh no, I got too excited and forgot there are traps here. Itsuki, incredulous, asked, is this really your house? The ground began to shake violently. Iberia cursed, crap, this is the worst kind of trap. At the same time, Itsuki noticed the mana tremors growing stronger. A humanoid device rose from the earth, an epic iron golem, attack 500, speed 300, defense 500, mana 200. Seeing it, Itsuki exclaimed in astonishment, he even has a humanoid device. The iron golem threw a powerful punch at Iberia, before Iberia could react and counter. Itsuki quickly stepped forward, pushing him aside to confront the iron golem head-on. He forcefully threw a punch to block its blow. But he couldn't hold out long, he was knocked far away and Itsuki had to scrape along the ground to stay upright. He couldn't help but reflect, even a device can have higher attack power than me. Since it's a device meant to protect Iberia's father, I can't destroy it with a pierce kick. This is troublesome. Tense, Itsuki immediately turned to ask Iberia, is there any way to stop it? He quickly replied in coordination, aim for the crystal on its chest. That's its power source, if you destroy that, it won't be able to move. Hearing this, Itsuki looked toward the iron golem and immediately spotted the crystal he mentioned. Wasting no time, Itsuki activated Thunder Shock III. His body was instantly wrapped in flickering bolts of electricity. He said confidently, if you know the weak point, this is easy. Even if I'm weaker, I'm faster. With that, he suddenly unleashed a powerful stream of electricity at the iron golem. As it repeatedly brought its iron hand down to strike him, he easily dodged each blow, while the iron golem kept attacking relentlessly without any defense. Itsuki nimbly ran to its back to disrupt its reflexes, then seized the opportunity to remove the crystal on its chest. With its power source gone, the iron golem fell motionless, exactly as theory predicted. As Itsuki breathed a sigh of relief and held the crystal up, asking Iberia, that should do it, right? A shadow appeared behind him, eyes blazing red, preparing to slash down with a sword. Iberia immediately shouted to stop him. Stop, Yusuke-san. Sensing something was wrong, Itsuki turned his head just as the sword came down. The man heard Iberia's shout and quickly stopped in time. Itsuki stared at the sword that had nearly struck his face, inwardly unsettled, wondering when the man had arrived. Bokuto Yusuke now spoke properly to explain, Iberia, I thought some bandits were sneaking in. Itsuki kept staring at him, thinking, what though when he aimed at me I didn't sense any mana tremor. Bokuto looked back at him and asked, who are you? Seeing him sheath his sword in an instant, Itsuki was even more surprised, thinking the sword disappeared. Iberia then stepped in front of Itsuki and smiling introduced him to Bokuto. This is my friend, Tenma Itsuki. He's rank 0 but very strong, we're a team named. Before Iberia finished, Itsuki lightly placed a hand on his shoulder and cut to the important question. More importantly, where's your father? Hearing that, Iberia asked Bokuto, right, where's my old man? Bokuto answered frankly, unaware someone was approaching. The owner is behind you, but be careful. It seemed the man wasn't in a good mood. Aiden approached grim-faced without making a sound. Seeing him, Iberia immediately boasted, Dad, listen, I passed the preliminaries. He then reminded him of their earlier deal. I even cleared the nightmare level and ranked 4th in the region. As you promised, let me choose a device. But Aiden said nothing and slapped Iberia hard. He was furious, eyes watering, clutching his face and sulking. Hey, why did you hit me, Dad? Aiden, red with anger and veins bulging on his forehead, shouted, Hand over the dragon armor. Did you steal it? Iberia stubbornly yelled back, so what? I only borrowed the epic device for a bit. Did you have to hit me? Aiden remained furious and pointed at him, warning, if you wear the dragon armor too long, something irreparable will happen. If you use it again without permission, I won't go easy on you next time. Iberia angrily threw the bag to the ground, snapping, fine, I get it. I'll never use your devices again, then stormed off. While Itsuki was still dazed watching Iberia leave, Aiden called to him. Yes, I am Tenma Itsuki, pleased to meet you. Itsuki startled and turned back, getting straight to the point. A prophecy predicted a large-scale attack by disaster spirit beasts in the northern continent, so my master ordered me to escort Aiden-san. As he tried to continue, Aiden cut him off abruptly. I've heard about that. There was a hint of contempt in Aiden's tone as he bluntly faced Itsuki. Why would a strict, rarely receptive master take on a seemingly ordinary teenager as a disciple? But then he suddenly froze, eyes wide in shock, shouting, wait. His eyes scanned the level fixed. He stared at Itsuki's stats in disbelief. Tenma Itsuki human, fixed rank 0, occupation, exterminator, skills, hidden, stats, hidden. Aiden looked at Itsuki in astonishment and asked loudly, are you using a device to hide your stats? Not exactly, Itsuki replied. He pondered, then said, I see, no wonder Nento Izumi wanted that device. Aiden stepped closer to Itsuki. Your master is very calculating, he always expects something in return. He only told me to escort you, I hadn't heard anything about a reward. Itsuki was surprised when Aiden continued. He contacted me and said that in exchange for escorting me, I must give you a specific device. Your master said that, Itsuki asked. That's fine, even without a device, I'll still protect you, he added. But Aiden immediately stopped him and asked curiously, no, I have plenty, giving you one is no problem, I'm just curious why he insisted on that junk. Itsuki, surprised, asked, junk? Aiden recalled the device's creation, excited. Originally, it was a masterpiece designed to unlock a warrior's attack power to the absolute limit, the unique crit gem. Critical hits doubled attack power on crits, crit rate 99%, its effect. The user's attacks always produced critical hits. Aiden was startled when the device suddenly developed a crack. An unexpected fissure appeared. He took the device out and explained further. Its rank became undefined and a mysterious effect was added, the faulty crit gem. Rank undefined. Effect, critical hit attack power is multiplied by 10, crit rate 0%. It gains plus 1% crit rate each time you defeat an enemy with higher attack power than the user. Vault effect, crit rate resets to 0 whenever the user levels up, so any built-up crit rate is lost on level up. It's completely useless for an ordinary awakener. Exactly, that's why I refused when he offered this junk. But looking at your stats, I understand why now. Itsuki held the device in his hand. He stared intently at the item as Aiden continued, you're quite special. I don't know how you get stronger, but since you don't level up, this device suits you well. Power from the device erupted around Itsuki. The surge was overwhelming and he screamed, veins bulging across his face. Because you keep defeating spirit beasts, your crit rate will gradually reach 100% and then your attacks will be multiplied by 10 in the future. Desolating Iron Fist equipped critical gem crit rate 0%. When the power subsided, Itsuki returned to normal and pondered strategy. The crit rate only increases when I defeat enemies with higher attack stats. That's tricky. I'll devise a counterplan after we finish this sweep. Faulty crit gem, rank undefined, effect, critical hit attack power x10, crit rate 0%, plus 1% per defeat of an enemy with higher attack, resets to 0 on level up. Aiden looked at him seriously. It seems it's been properly attuned. It really suits you. I've had trouble with low attack power. This helps a lot. Thank you, Aiden. Finished speaking, he turned and walked away, waving his hand. I craft devices and people use them to fight the disaster spirit beasts. We're both working for humanity's survival. No need to thank me unless someone somehow knew my location in advance. There's no way the beasts would attack such a remote place. For now, you should rest. But before he had gone many steps, a violent noise rang out behind Aiden, making him jolt. A massive meteor hurtled straight down into the forest where they were sheltering. It created a tremendous pressure wave, forcing everyone to cover their faces and step back. Iberia immediately ran out, yelling in panic, "What is that? What's happening?" He went pale, unable to believe his eyes. A barrier. A layer of barrier appeared before them. Why is there a barrier here? Aiden pondered. Only the commanders of the 5 continents knew his location. Was the meteor falling here random, or? Bokudo immediately heightened his guard, spreading his arms to shield everyone and stepping back. The spirit beasts are coming, they're heading this way. Itsuki stared at the barrier with cold eyes. He could sense something approaching at an astonishing speed. From afar came the rapid thudding of spirit beast footsteps, 6 of them. They charged at terrifying speed, no 8. As soon as they arrived, the beasts surged forward to attack. Demon Singlehorn, 3088, Demon Horn Speed, level 14, they're here. But in an instant, he parried the beast's strike with a cold gaze. Itsuki immediately drove his blade through the beast. Blood splattered as he activated Black Ice Wall. The beast collapsed at once, but the others kept rushing in to attack. He nimbly dodged the beast's attacks. Against enemies of this level, no matter how many there are, he could wipe them out instantly with Lien Hoa Bao. On the other side, Bokudo continued fighting the swarm relentlessly. Yusuke could withstand the shock from Lien Hoa Bao, but Itsuki glanced at the wooden house behind them, worried. Aiden and Iberia are hiding just inside. If I use Lien Hoa Bao carelessly, they could be affected by the blast. Then he accelerated like a lightning bolt, dashing straight through the beasts ahead. In a moment, they were all defeated. Maybe I'm really cut out for solo play. Suddenly, Itsuki looked deeper into the forest and became instantly alert. There was another mana fluctuation, and this one was stronger than the previous ones. Higher level beasts were approaching. Twin Horn Guardian Beast 815, Demon Horn Speed rank 24. A hellish scene unfolded. Lava roiling, monsters writhing amid a blazing abyss. The Demon Lord sat aloft, his darkness and authority filled the space. We have teleported the Vanguard, the low-tier slave hordes, into the human realm. Which of the 8 Demon Lords should lead the main force? A cold voice echoed through the space. Thanks to the eye I left when I descended to the human realm before, I sensed the presence of someone important. Capture him. Another Demon Lord with a deformed face and 9 eyes. This one has 9 eyes on its head. Terrifying. One of the 8 great Demon Lords, Enma Yama. Shall we entrust it to one of the 8 Demon Lords? The Demon Lord on high coldly ordered. Enma immediately knelt to accept the command. A Demon Lord level being might destroy the eye I left. I'll assign a Demon General. Understood. Then he continued, his terrifying gaze sweeping across the area. And I will give full command of the main force to Enshokuma, the Devourer Beast. The gigantic Devourer Beast appeared. They feed on stone and haven't tasted living flesh in a long time. I'm sure it's starving. A shout rang out, startling Itsuki. That was Iberia's voice. Has a beast broken into the house? A monster lunged straight at him. Itsuki quickly raised both hands before him. The system appeared. Twin Horn Guardian Beast 815, Demon Horn Race Level 24. He frowned tightly, thinking to himself that if it had come to this, he had to use that move. The demon swung at Itsuki. He quickly ducked and, raising his hand to form a sphere of energy, thought that its attack power was probably higher than his, so defeating it would raise his crit rate. The system reappeared. Faulty Crit Gem, rank undefined. Effect, critical hit attack power x10, crit rate 0%, plus 1% crit rate each time an enemy with higher attack power than the user is defeated. Fault, crit rate resets to 0 whenever the user levels up. A streak of black-purple light shot straight into the sky, activating the orb, piercing through the sphere. System notice, crit rate plus 1%. Itsuki clenched his fist in thought. It had really increased, just as he expected. A monster slowly appeared behind him. A notification popped up. Faulty Crit Gem crit rate, 1%. Itsuki shouted, Yusuke, I'll take care of the beast that broke into the house, leave the rest to you, as he slashed forcefully at the monster. Leave it to me. Itsuki dashed straight toward the wooden house. He pushed the door hard to fling it open. Inside, Iberia was leaning against the wall, covered in wounds and gasping. It's useless. Without dragon armor, I can't win. A claw lashed straight toward him. Iberia muttered, if it's come to this. The monster drove its claw at him. Iberia cried out, Itsuki, save me. But it was Aiden who appeared, swinging his hammer down onto the monster's head. Iberia stared in bewilderment. This old man is a non-combat profession, yet he's not afraid of spirit beasts. Aiden shrugged his hammer onto his shoulder and said to the monster, you're a tough one. The monster turned angrily to face Aiden. He stood calmly, waiting for the monster's attack. I'll leave the rest to you. He called Tenma. At that moment, Itsuki appeared just before the monster's strike could hit Aiden. Itsuki grabbed the monster's wrist. The system appeared. Activate Black Ice Strike. A long blade materialized from Itsuki's hand, and he quickly drove it through the monster's body. Itsuki stood and said to Aiden, sorry I'm late, took a while to deal with the ones outside. He calmly asked, how are things out there? Itsuki looked up and silently sensed no mana fluctuations outside anymore, then replied, I think Yusuke has cleared the spirit beasts. Aiden and Iberia stepped outside. Seeing the monsters strewn across the ground, he exclaimed in amazement, Yusuke did all of this by himself. Yusuke looked up to survey and warned everyone not to be complacent. Unless we destroy that barrier, the spirit beasts will continue to spawn infinitely from within, and over time they'll only grow stronger. He turned and told Itsuki, I plan to destroy that barrier and clear as many spirit beasts along the way as possible, but if one slips through, you'll die. Itsuki scowled and snapped back angrily, no, I will enter the barrier and fight the spirit beasts inside. Yusuke, stay here to protect Aiden and Iberia. Aiden watched in silent surprise. That look, there was no fear at all, only a burning desire to fight. He said, we'll assign the barrier destruction task to Tenma. Yusuke questioned, if it's a continental barrier, the beasts inside will be at least level 25. Are you sure you can handle this? Itsuki was wrapped in a faint white mana and replied firmly, I'm sure. Then he bolted away, a flash of lightning, and Itsuki*'s figure vanished. Itsuki thought, finally I can fight to my heart's content. Iberia stayed behind, shouting that if Itsuki goes, he'll go too. All right, Yusuke, watch over my old man, Aiden ordered coldly. You don't need to come. He immediately objected, why, we're a team. Aiden replied, stop with this team nonsense, it's ridiculous. You and Tenma live in completely different worlds. Iberia shouted, haven't we come so far together? What do you mean different worlds? Aiden fired back loudly. A team is meant to support one another and make up for each other's weaknesses. He declared sternly, but what can you really contribute? You're a burden at this rate. Aiden continued, causing Iberia to freeze in alarm. You'll get Tenma killed. He brushed past Iberia and said, and of course I'm not just talking about you, Tenma is exceptional. No one of this generation can stand beside him. He said coldly, have you seen the look in his eyes when he faces spirit beasts? That gaze, it's filled with hatred. On Itsuki*'s side, the system appeared. Mana Sense detected 5 enemy units, restore 50% of the user's mana. Itsuki sneered inwardly, 5 beasts probably just spawned from the barrier. Thanks to that, his mana is fully recovered. A monster lunged out to block Itsuki**s path. Unfazed, he charged forward shouting, get out of my way. An explosion erupted, smoke and flames billowing. The system announced, Lian Hoabao activated, defeated 5 enemies with Lian Hoabao, overall skill scale plus 5%, now plus 1106%, crit rate 1%, faulty crit gem crit rate 2%. Itsuki continued to envelop his body with mana as he ran, thinking that the Twin Horn Guardian's defense was too high, taking 80% of his mana just to kill it with Lian Hoabao. But he wouldn't let any of them touch Iberia or the others. Iberia saw the explosion in the distance. Yusuke quickly stood before him, blocking the shockwave and exclaiming in surprise, where did that explosion come from? Iberia replied loudly, that's Itsuki's skill, he must have encountered spirit beasts in the forest. Yusuke frowned thoughtfully, an explosion of that scale isn't something a mere level 0 beginner can cast. Could Tenma's inability to level up be due to a detrimental effect from his talent? At Itsuki's side, he stood before a blue barrier and thought, so this is a green, continental barrier. These beasts are at a completely different level from those I've faced. System notice, Mana Sense activated. Itsuki muttered that the Mana Sense was blocked. He couldn't measure the number or strength of the beasts inside. He recalled, his master said you can infer the beasts inside a barrier by its color. Faint barrier, beasts level 125. Green barrier, beasts level 2650. Blue barrier, level 5175. Purple barrier, level 76+. Pink barrier, level 101+. Since it's green, the beasts are level 2650. Itsuki looked at the mark on his hand and murmured that if he killed them all, they'd drop a ton of experience. He raised his hand, petals of light fell to the ground. The system displayed, Summon Spirit Death Hound. The black dog howled a long note. An info panel appeared, Death Hound rank B, level 16, 0%. Skills, Death Chi rank C, detects any mana traces in the area to locate and track the source. Death Desire rank B, greatly reduces respawn time after spirit death. Stats, ATK 250, SPD 250, Def 150, Mana 150. Itsuki petted it and said, I'll give you all that experience. He moved on inside with it but warned, don't you dare touch them until I order otherwise. He declared coldly, all the spirit beasts here are my prey. In a garden, day 1 of the prophecy, 11:30 p.m., a girl announced, Father, the escort for the false awakening has arrived. The blue-haired man with a long scar on his face bowed and said, Lord Izumi, from this moment, I, first-rank Savior K. Kairajima, will serve as your guard. He is a level 63 elemental master, first-rank Savior K. Kairajima. The man immediately replied, thank you for coming. The girl asked, besides him, 5 third-rank saviors and 3 second-rank saviors have arrived. Has Akira Height not shown up yet? He answered, I've assigned him to guard the surrounding area. The girl pushed the display and said that when we spoke on the phone 6 hours ago, he said he was on his way. However, when I tried calling again 1 and 3 hours later, I couldn't reach him. She continued that giant stone slabs have been falling across the northern province since 8 p.m. tonight. He might have run into trouble en route. The man with the lantern on his head was Nento Izumi, he replied. A normal spirit beast wouldn't be able to threaten him. After all, he's one of the 6 pillars of the special rank savior team. He told her to try to contact him. Only special rank saviors can stand against the spirit beasts appearing here. The girl replied at once, understood. Kay suddenly spoke up, aren't you overrating special rank saviors? No matter how strong Wajin-tae and Akira Heighten are, they're still human. He proclaimed arrogantly, I don't believe there's such a huge gap between them and first rank people like us. We might have some difficulty, but there's no way we can't defeat a spirit beast they could. Nento said, confidence is good, but if you think you can stand on equal footing with a special rank. He continued that it seemed Kay had never fought a truly powerful spirit beast. Suddenly, a giant ball of fire appeared in the sky. Kay immediately grabbed his sword and shouted, it's a pillar beast, one's coming. Nento rose calmly and said, finally it arrives. The girl shouted, it's useless, you can't compare to Heighten. Kay answered arrogantly, if not even a special rank can handle it, then they're not worth relying on. Don't worry, we will wipe them out. He frowned and thought to himself that now he'd prove a first rank can be as strong as a special rank. At Itsuki's side, the green barrier glowed ever brighter. He entered with the death hound, Itsuki observed as he went. The scenery inside the barrier wasn't much different from outside. He looked into the distance and thought that there was an aura here that made him uneasy. System notice, mana sense activated. Itsuki pondered that he could sense mana fluctuations inside the barrier from here, but as expected, he couldn't grasp the situation outside. It seemed the inside and outside of the barrier were separate spaces. The system appeared again. Mana sense detected 5 enemy units, restore 50% mana. Itsuki thought, alright, I've roughly located the 5 detected enemy units. He ordered the death hound, wait here, if you see any spirit beast run away, you may eat it. It immediately sat down obediently. Itsuki praised, good boy. The system displayed. Lightning burst activated. Thunder shock I. He smirked and shouted that he should get moving. At that moment 2 monsters came rushing wildly toward them. A bolt of blue lightning struck straight at them. Itsuki appeared and quickly wiped out the monsters. A notification popped up. Black Pierce activated. Black Ice Pierce. Another bolt of lightning pierced through another monster's body. The lightning continuously tore the monsters' bodies apart. Itsuki charged straight at the large monster, barring its claws. He leaped high and formed a black-purple sphere in his hand. System notice, activate orb, piercing sphere. The sphere was immediately fired and flew straight through the monster's body. He landed, a notification appeared. Crit rate plus 1%, crit gem damaged, crit rate 3%. Itsuki thought, my crit rates increased again to 3%. He ran straight toward the pillar of light at the center, musing that statistically about 3 critical hits occur per 100 strikes. He might witness his first crit soon, even though this was his first time seeing a pillar beast like this. He calculated silently that if he broke the pillar, the barrier would vanish. 1 strike should do it. The system suddenly appeared, detected 1 enemy unit, restore 10% mana. Itsuki immediately froze, there was still 1 more. He halted and a surge of lightning immediately wrapped around him. Black tentacles lashed straight toward Itsuki. They thrust downward, he quickly tilted his body to dodge. Itsuki thought that if he hadn't detected the mana fluctuation and stayed alert, he would have been impaled just now. He looked toward the distant pillar of light and realized it had been hiding behind the pillar beast all along. A shadowy figure emerged. Itsuki assessed silently that it was a different kind of spirit beast from the earlier ones, outside the green barrier. Iberia stared in blank astonishment. He hadn't yet recovered from the shock of the explosion. Yusuk urged him that even if Tenma couldn't stop all the spirit beasts, it was dangerous outside and he should wait inside. He asked sadly, Yusuk, will I really be the one to get Itsuki killed someday? Yusuk replied at once that the master was exaggerating, so don't worry too much. Iberia hesitated but then admitted to himself that he did seem like a burden. He looked toward the barrier and said the beasts inside a green barrier range from level 20 to 50. Are you confident you could beat a level 26 spirit beast? Iberia bowed his head sadly and answered, I don't think so. Yusuk patted his shoulder and said not to be too sad. He wasn't calling him weak. At Yusuk's age, he didn't even have the courage to enter a green barrier and fight spirit beasts. Iberia exclaimed in surprise, even you. Yusuk explained that the difference between beasts in a dark barrier and those in a green barrier wasn't only their level. Iberia asked what else, and Yusuk said that beasts inside a dark barrier lack intelligence. They're simply creatures trapped in an endless loop of slaughter and destruction. He recalled a giant tiger and said that while those are strong, you can plan and find many ways to kill them. but inside a green barrier, intelligent spirit beasts can exist, much like humans. Inside the barrier, a monster slowly approached Itsuki and coldly said that it had missed. Apparently, he had a sensing-type skill. The system appeared, 4 Directions General 336, level 34. Yusuke said over here that among the young generation with Tenma, only a few could face beasts of that level. Itsuki muttered darkly that as he thought, the beasts in this barrier were different from those he'd faced before. Yusuke explained that the reason your Tenma's burden isn't that you haven't matured, it's simply that he's too strong. Itsuki said coldly that the creature saw through his skills in seconds and moreover spoke human language, so finally he'd found an intelligent spirit beast he'd heard about. The monster sneered, "What nonsense are you babbling? Are you begging for mercy?" It looked at Itsuki and remarked that it had thought he was powerful, but he turned out to be only a level 0, a coward who trembled at the sight of it. He smiled and challenged, saying he was simply excited and had wanted to ask their species something for a long time. Since it could speak, why not answer him? It stepped forward and replied, "Fine, if that's your last wish, it would grant it." Flames burst from Itsuki's body. His eyes flashed crimson as he shouted, "Do you know pain?" Hearing the declaration of war, the 4 Directions General sneered. "A mere ordinary human dares to try to make me feel pain? Don't be arrogant." He declared forcefully that causing pain is our exclusive privilege. Then the 4 Directions General launched razor-sharp tentacles that swept over everything they touched. Meanwhile, Itsuki was trying to close the distance toward him. Like lightning, he struck a surprise blow that pushed the 4 Directions General back a bit. Itsuki wondered to himself if it had fallen. No, its mana was surging even stronger. He keenly noticed that its tentacles had also become faster. However, Itsuki believed that when it came to speed, he still had the advantage. Taking advantage of a momentary lapse, it quietly thrust a tentacle behind Itsuki to strike him from stealth. Fortunately, he dodged in time, cursing inwardly, "Damn, my strength is too weak. I couldn't even slice off its head and my attacks barely dealt any damage." The 4 Directions General was rather surprised. "At this level you shouldn't be this fast. What is your true level?" Even so, he remained contemptuous. "Whatever, no matter how fast you are, to me you're still just an insect." As it attacked, it taunted continuously. "Even if you hit me 100 times with all your strength, it wouldn't even itch, but if you take one blow from me, you will die." Contrasting its ease, Itsuki was forced to dodge the assault. Tentacles attacked from multiple directions, even from behind. He would block one strike only to be hit from the flank. Eventually, he couldn't hold out and was knocked down painfully. Itsuki was pressed hard against the tree trunk by a tentacle. Even so, he freed himself and challenged it. "If you can do it, then try." The 4 Directions General immediately realized that that state was just a speed boost skill of his right. "Let's see how long before your mana runs out." After observing, Itsuki assessed inwardly that those tentacles weren't a skill but part of its body, which explained why super simulation hadn't activated. He mentally groaned. How many strikes had that been? Strike 18 or 19? It sneered, "Useless." Now Itsuki's mana is only 97 out of 330. Itsuki was in a precarious situation. He'd been using skills continuously. His mana was nearly depleted and his stamina worn down. If this continued, his speed would drop, so he'd focus everything into offense. So he calculated inwardly to increase his attack frequency. Just one critical hit would win it. Immediately, Itsuki used Faulty Crit Gem, Undefined Rank, Effect, Attack Power multiplied by 10 on a critical hit. Crit rate 0%, will gain 1% when defeating an enemy with higher attack power than the user. Error Effect. Crit rate resets to 0 whenever the user levels up. He told himself to attack more, keep throwing punches until he lands a critical hit. Then Itsuki tried to exploit an opening to strike directly at the 4 Directions General's body. It immediately countered, with a tentacle plunged into his abdomen. At the same time, the 4 Directions General sneered that continuously charging at it like this was really foolish. It taunted further, "What's the matter? Weren't you going to make me feel pain?" Seeing Itsuki still moving, the 4 Directions General praised him. "Still alive? It seems your defense stat is quite high." It seemed that was the trap he'd set. Finally it came. At that moment, the system alerted. Notification from Faulty Crit Gem, your next attack will be a critical hit. Sure enough, Itsuki's punch struck with a completely different destructive force. A horrific scream tore from its mouth. A single punch sent the 4 Directions General flying. It couldn't believe it. "What just happened? How did you suddenly punch so hard?" He was equally surprised. It was stronger than he expected. Not only that, after the crit, a flood of emotions surged from deep within his chest. Satisfaction, focus, contentment. He'd never felt like this before. Also now, although blood was flowing from his abdomen, he felt no pain at all. Moreover, Itsuki even felt truly comfortable. Only then did he ask the 4 Directions General if it felt pain from that blow. It couldn't accept it. "What's wrong with this one? Aren't humans supposed to be inferior, fragile creatures? Obviously, it's above level 40. Faking stats is cheating. Hey, what are you doing? This time, Itsuki taunted. Spirit beasts have never had any intelligence, so even when they die, they rarely scream. He smiled grotesquely, thinking that a scream from a beast that can feel pain would surely be delightful to hear. The Four Directions general screamed in panic. Impossible, are you trying to crush my head? You are not human. Right after he dealt with it, the crit rate immediately increased by 1%. Itsuki breathed a sigh of relief, finally done. The faulty crit gem's crit rate had risen to 4%. Suddenly he felt odd. With the danger past, that special sensation began to fade and the pain from his wound started to take over. At the same time, the barrier turned transparent, meaning no spirit beasts remained inside. Itsuki thought to himself that if he smashed this, only the pillar would be left. He then decisively threw a punch softer than he expected. After a while, Itsuki began to feel tired and sat down. He told himself that before returning he needed to check something. Then Itsuki muttered a summoning, T-letter 1 EED. Immediately a beast appeared as soon as he finished speaking, appear. Itsuki gaped in astonishment. You've grown bigger than before, haven't you? He was even more surprised and Itsuki's mind shook. You've leveled up 3 ranks and gained 150 points. Details, Deathhound B rank level 19, 14.8%. Skill, Death Chi C rank detects all traces of magic in the area, locates and traces their source. Death's Desire B rank significantly shortens revival time after the spirit awakens in death battle. Attack 250, speed 250, defense 150, mana 150, points 150 unallocated. His mood brightened noticeably, so when you level up your body grows too. I'm not imagining things then. Itsuki guessed inwardly that if it gained dozens more levels, how big would it become? He looked forward to it.